down at his current appearance, but he didn't think there was anything wrong with him not wearing any clothes. Is it a problem if I don't wear clothes in front of my wife? Seeing that Liu Yina no longer replied to him, and Yi Chen did not have the habit of peeping at others taking a bath, he quickly jumped back on the bed and closed his eyes to rest. I guess she had been holding it in for too long, and she was indeed a bit too rough last night. Fortunately, Liu Yina could still hold on. After a while, Liu Yina also came out of the bathroom. She came out wrapped in a bathrobe and holding a quilt. Seeing that Yi Chen seemed to be resting with his eyes closed, she quickly jumped onto the bed. "It's my turn to wash. Honey, how about I call home and tell them we shouldn't go home this morning? You can have a good sleep here and go back in the afternoon. Otherwise, you won't be able to rest well if you're breastfeeding." Liu Yina thought about it and realized that if she went back, she would have to feed the baby every 3 or 4 hours, which would make it difficult for her to sleep well. "But I'm a little hungry now." Yi Chen smiled and said, "You can order food from the hotel. If you don't like the food in the hotel, you can probably order takeout." Liu Yina, "Okay then, let the hotel send up some breakfast. I'm starving and don't even want to move." Yi Chen, "Okay. I'll ask the hotel staff to deliver breakfast first and then call my family." Liu Yina nodded, "Then I'll take a nap first, I'm too sleepy." Yi Chen covered her with the quilt, with a smile on his face. "Eat well, sleep well, and recover, hee. I have to say, Yi Chen is really a beast." After Yi Chen finished calling the front desk, he called his mother again. On the other end of the phone, his mother scolded Yi Chen. "Good boy, can't you be more restrained? What if you make Nana sick from exhaustion?" Yi Chen felt a little aggrieved. I have been holding back your son for more than a year. Now I am tired, so I want to let her sleep for a while before going back." "Mother Yi, well, it's good for you to know your limits." Mother Yi didn't know what to say. After all, this was a matter between Yi Chen and his wife, and she was just giving a reminder. After hanging up the phone, Yi Chen glanced at Liu Yina, who was already asleep, turned around and walked into the bathroom. "Not long after I came out of the bathroom, breakfast was served." Yi Chen pushed the breakfast in and woke Liu Yina up. "Wife, get up and have breakfast and then go to sleep after eating." Yi Chen woke her up because he heard her say she was hungry. Otherwise, what would he do if she was really starving? Liu Yina sat up, drank a bowl of porridge in a daze, and then fell asleep. Fortunately, she had expressed her milk while taking a bath. Otherwise, she would have been swollen and painful. Yi Chen also got into Liu Yina's bed. Liu Yina was shocked. "What are you doing? I'm so tired." Yi Chen said pitifully, "I feel cold when I sleep without a blanket." Liu Yina glanced at him and warned him, "Don't mess around." Yi Chen then smiled, "Okay, wife." One of them was wearing a bathrobe and the other was naked, and they slept in each other's arms. Not long after, Liu Yina suddenly let out a cry in her sleep, which scared her so much that she shivered. "No way, I'm thinking about interacting with Yi Chen, even when I'm sleeping." But after waking up, I suddenly found something was wrong. Yi Chen, who was sleeping with her in his arms, was now touching her. "No wonder. Husband, how could you do this?" Liu Yina was also a little angry. Yi Chen kissed her neck. "It's been almost 4 hours now I see you." Only then did Liu Yina realize that her milk was starting to swell again. She pushed Yi Chen away and went into the bathroom to express her milk. When he came back, Yi Chen seemed to have fallen asleep, but to Liu Yina, he was a time bomb that could explode at any time. But that was the fact. While Yi Chen was playing the victim and saying that he hadn't touched her for more than a year, Liu Yina softened her heart and was seduced by Yi Chen into having a fierce battle with him. Afterwards, the two had another meal in the hotel. While Yi Chen was getting his lunch, the two delivery staff were talking as they walked. "Hey, did you know that there was a 3-way fight in our draft room last night?" "I know, but what's inside is hard to describe in words." "I heard that a woman ran away early." "Hey, can we get the hotel's surveillance camera and watch an adult battle?" "I don't know, ask the security guard." Yi Chen just snorted coldly and closed the door. Chapter 105, This Road is a Bit Sour. After Yi Chen and Liu Yina had lunch, they went back to sleep. Liu Yina slept until about 3 in the afternoon before she felt a little better. Liu Yina couldn't help but blame Yi Chen for not having self-control. If he went home, it would be so embarrassing. However, Yi Chen said that they had not fought for a long time and needed more practice so that they could live in harmony in the future. Liu Yina also listened to it. After all, they are husband and wife and will spend the rest of their lives together, so these things are unavoidable. Liu Yina had no choice but to pout and snort, then ignored Yi Chen. Before leaving, the two had a big fight. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the two drove back home. Liu Yina's legs could not walk well, but she had to hold on. Yi Chen also noticed Liu Yin's embarrassment. Fortunately, Yi's mother and the others were taking a nap with the children, so there were not many people around. Yi Chen hugged Liu Yin and walked into the house quietly. He saw Aunt Zhang at the corner. Aunt Zhang looked at Yi Chen and shook her head. Perhaps the story between Yi Chen and the other person had already spread throughout the family. Liu Yin blushed with shame on the spot and buried her head in Yi Chen's arms, unable to lift it up again. Yi Chen was fine. Aunt Zhang was also an experienced person, so she would naturally understand, but her little wife blushed too easily. But it doesn't matter. I can just tease her when I have nothing to do, haha. As soon as she returned to the room, Liu Yin quickly changed back into her casual clothes, hung up the dress worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and locked the jewelry worth 1 billion yuan in the safe. It is already 4:30 in the afternoon, and the weather is exceptionally sunny today. The aunties washed the baby's thick clothes and hung them out to dry in the sun, when suddenly Father Liu's voice came from the kitchen. Mr. and Mrs. Liu also came this time and bought a lot of food for the family. It's just that Liu's father said that he had something to tell Liu Yin and Yi Chen, so now Liu's father is cooking a big meal. After changing her clothes, Liu Yin did not go to sleep, but went downstairs to see her parents. At this time, the laughter of Mr. Liu and Mrs. Liu could be heard from the kitchen. Liu Yin walked into the kitchen and saw her father holding a spatula and talking to her mother. Liu Yin smiled and said to her parents, "Dad, Mom, what are you so happy about?" Mother Liu said to Liu Yin, "Your father said that he is planning to move the headquarters from his hometown to Xiangcheng, and the preparations are almost complete." Father Liu was also very excited. "I want my daughter to hold a wedding banquet in our own restaurant, and then invite all the relatives from her hometown to come here. I'm researching new dishes right now, hoping they'll be useful when you get married." Father Liu exhaled heavily. "Let me tell you, I've set my eyes on number 23 Balin Street, Dongping District. I've asked a survey company to investigate. The traffic there is very good, but there is someone competing with us now. They are a local restaurant. I'm also worried that the landlord won't rent it to us." Liu Yin said, "Dad, just take care of it, then you won't have to run back and forth." Mother Liu also said, "Yes, I am also planning to retire early this year. Although the pension is much less, I am not short of money now. The most important thing is my 3 little grandchildren. I really can't bear to leave them for a day. Now the children are growing up day by day. I just tease them and they will laugh and talk to you. Oh, the holidays are coming soon. After the holidays, I can take care of my 3 little grandchildren every day. Liu Yin, it's better to retire early. Otherwise, when Dad comes, you will still be at home and it will be unsafe. Then I can live with my parents." Mother Liu also sighed. "Yes, it's also because my in-laws don't despise me and Yi Chen is so capable." Liu Yin quickly stopped Liu's father. "Dad, let me do it." "You," Father Liu glanced at Liu Yin. "I remember that you didn't like to go into the kitchen before. Why are you so active now?" Liu Yin also blushed. "Isn't she married now? She has a husband. My family is in the catering business. If I can't even cook, wouldn't I become a joke among others?" Father Liu was powerless to refute. "Haha, that's right. To capture a man's heart, you have to capture his stomach. Come on, let me teach you my Liu family's cooking secret recipe." Liu Yin really took it and tried hard to stir the spoon, but the force was not enough and it almost fell. Mother Liu quickly stopped her. "It's better not to shake such a heavy pot, just fry it. Your father is a rough man, this won't be a problem for him, but as for you, forget it." Liu Yin also smiled. Okay, Mother." Mother Liu then smiled and said, "Actually, women should have their own careers and not rely on men for everything. Look at Mom. Although your dad is a businessman, Mom is still a teacher now. Summer vacation is coming soon. Let's see if we can hold the banquet during the summer vacation. It's okay even if we don't hold it in our own restaurant. Your dad is just saying it casually. Once the wedding is done, everything will be settled. It's time for you to go back and finish your unfinished studies. Then Dad's restaurant may be turned into a hotel. We are already looking for investors. Dad is thinking about whether Yi Chen can buy shares. The hotel was originally meant to be left to you and Yi Chen, so he wants to talk to Yi Chen later. I'll talk to you here first." Liu Yin nodded. "I see Yi Chen also wants to have the wedding first, and then we go to school together." Mother Liu also nodded and said, "Well, it's time to talk to the in-laws about the wedding, and I don't know if your father's plan to open a hotel will work. I have to talk to Yi Chen about this, otherwise just open a restaurant." Liu Yin, "I don't know either, but if you say that the funds are insufficient, Yi Chen will definitely have money to give you." Mother Liu nodded. "I also know that Yi Chen is very capable, so let's talk to him later." Father Liu also chimed in. Hey, from now on it will be your world as young people. We are all old. Liu Yina gave her father a naughty look. Dad, what are you talking about? Look, Dad, am I cooking it right? It should be almost done right. Father Liu did not continue the previous topic. Cook it for a little longer, 1 minute, no more, no less. Liu Yina laughed. You want me to do 60 flips? Father Liu laughed and said, it's okay for you to understand it this way. Okay. In fact, Liu Yina really didn't want to stand for another minute. She had been holding on for a long time. Oh, her feet were so sore. Chapter 106, discussing important life events. While Liu Yina was learning how to cook from her father, Yi Chen was pulled aside by his mother for questioning. Yi Chen, didn't I tell you to be more restrained? Look at the way Nana walks today. Don't you know how to feel sorry for your wife? Yi Chen also pretended to be innocent. Mom, how could that be? Look, it's fine now, it's just been more than a year. Hee hee. Mother Yi rolled her eyes at him and said, don't do this again, otherwise you will be in trouble. Yi Chen also chuckled twice. Mother Yi thought about it and said to Yi Chen, let's ignore your father for now and see whether he wants to come back here or sell his company shares to live in retirement. Yi Chen nodded, okay then. Yi Chen did not tell them about his building. After all, he could not afford to buy this building now. In a few days, my bank account will receive the rent for the first half of the year, which will be more than 300 million yuan. At that time, if his father wants to go out and work on his own, that will be no problem. After chatting with Yi's mother for a while, Yi Chen went downstairs because his father-in-law and mother-in-law had arrived. After going downstairs, I heard Liu Yina chatting happily with her parents in the kitchen. When Mama Liu and Papa Liu saw Yi Chen coming, they immediately smiled and said to Yi Chen, come and try this. This is the dish Nana made, see if it tastes good. Yi Chen immediately walked over with a smile. Really? Then I really have to taste it. I walked over, picked up the chopsticks that Liu's mother handed over, picked up a piece of meat and tasted it. I couldn't help but praise it. It's delicious. The meat is not dry at all, and it is very tender and soft. As soon as I bite it, I feel like the whole meat is about to burst with juice. It makes people want to eat more. Anyway, I am at a loss for words. In one word, it is just too delicious. At this time, Yi's mother also came. This is made by Nana, then I want to try it too. Mother Yi quickly picked up a piece with chopsticks and immediately praised. It's really delicious. Mother Liu praised without hesitation. This is a new dish that Nana's father created after studying the Liu family recipes. It is naturally delicious. Seeing everyone praising the delicious food she cooked, Liu Yina blushed. Mother Yi said at this time, in-laws, when Zhengsun, Yi Chen's father, comes back, we will have a family meeting and talk about the two children, okay? Mother Liu also replied, okay, I also have something to tell you, let's talk after dinner. When Yi Chen and Liu Yina heard that they were going to talk about their own affairs, they looked a little excited. After all, both of them are only sons and daughters, and their wedding is also taken very seriously by the adults of both families. So they are very happy to get the blessings of their parents. This dinner was prepared by Liu's parents, but Liu Yina was driven out of the kitchen and asked to take care of the children. Mother Yi also came to help them and chatted with them for a while. It was exactly 7 o'clock when Mr. Yi got home. The feast prepared by Chef Liu Dad is almost done and ready to be served. The family had a simple meal happily. The 3 children did not sleep after eating their fill. They asked the nanny to carry them down and put them in the stroller so that they could watch everyone eat. The 3 children are all babbling, and they are just short of learning to speak. After dinner, everyone gathered in the living room, and the nanny cut some fruit for everyone and placed it on the coffee table. The family was also chatting, and then they got to the point. Mother Yi said first, my dear relatives, Nana is now out of confinement. As for the wedding, let's discuss what to do. Mother Liu said, I was thinking of bringing this up with you too. After all, the marriage of 2 children is a big deal. We just want to see what the 2 in-laws are going to do, and what are they going to do with the 2 children. Although we have discussed the betrothal gifts and other matters before, it would be better to discuss them again now. Before, because I didn't know about Yi Chen's situation, the betrothal gift I gave was also the usual betrothal gift here. Now I think it's better for Yi Chen to decide the amount of the betrothal gift himself. Yi Chen and Liu Yina looked at each other's parents, then looked at each other and smiled. Yi Chen said, I just don't know what your requests are, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Let's finish your requests first. Mother Liu also laughed. As for us, it's actually nothing. You know Liu Yina is our only daughter. My husband and I definitely don't want to be separated from our child. We just want to live with Nana after we get married. Of course, we don't have any mandatory requirements. If you really don't want to live together, that's fine. We can buy a house nearby. Mother Yi said quickly, "My dear relatives, you are being too polite. Our Yi Chen will definitely not let you two live alone. Besides, it will be convenient for you two to live with us. It will be convenient for them to take care of you and be filial to you." Father Yi said, "Yes, it's okay for us. It will be more lively when there are more people. In the future, the children will be loved by many people." Mother Liu smiled and said, "That's good. Yi Chen is a good child. First of all, he was taught by his in-laws, so I have retired early. I will help Nana take care of the children, which will also make it convenient for her to do what she likes." Yi Chen also said quickly, "Maybe Nana didn't tell you and Dad. I bought a villa for Nana before. It's in Villa number 6 in Yulong Bay. It's 1,000 square meters in total, 5 times bigger than here. I thought we would move there when we get married, so it would be convenient for us to get married." Mother Liu and Father Liu were both shocked. "What? A 1,000 square meter villa? When did you buy it? Did you buy it for Nana?" Yi Chen said, "Well, it's written in her name. Even if you move in the future, you will live in Nana's house. And it's big enough for 3 generations of us to live together." Mother Liu was also very excited. "Oh, how can this be possible? Since we can live together, we don't have any other requirements." Father Liu said at this time, "But our Liu family's cooking skills have to be inherited by someone, so I don't want Nana to become a housewife. I have planned to open a restaurant of our Liu family in Xiangcheng. Originally, I was planning to talk to you about opening a hotel, but because it takes too long to open a hotel, I can't wait. So I'll use our Liu family's century-old brand, the traditional name, Liu Fujai, to open a store. Yi Chen, what do you think?" Father Liu planned to let Yi Chen and Liu Yina run the business together, and then he could stay at home and take care of his grandson with peace of mind. After all, Yi Chen doesn't have anything practical to do now, and he doesn't need to worry about those shares and so on. Just let the couple run their Liu family's century-old brand well. After all, Liu Yina is his only daughter. If he doesn't pass on his career to his daughter, he doesn't know to whom he will pass it on. Even if Yi Chen doesn't want to do it together, Liu Yina can do it. Run the Liu family's old brand well. Chapter 107, Talking About Marriage. Yi Chen felt that he now had the advanced cooking skills rewarded by the system. So if he wanted to learn cooking, it would be easy for him. So I said, "Don't worry, Nana can do whatever she wants in the future. If she doesn't have enough money, she can tell me and I will fully support her. I can also work hard with her." Father Liu said excitedly, Okay, that's good." In fact, the couple had already anticipated the result. After all, the two in-laws were so good, so Yi Chen was naturally not bad either. Mother Liu is still immersed in the fact that Liu Yina got Yi Chen's 1,000 square meter villa. Before this, Yi Chen gave each of the 2 old guys 10 million yuan, which was enough for their retirement. However, they now have 3 little grandchildren. No matter what, they should work harder and pass on the old brand so that the 3 little grandchildren can live a carefree life. Even if they don't study well in the future, they can still run the restaurant together and survive. After all, if the previous generation doesn't work hard, the next generation will have to suffer. And if there is no inheritance, the future generations will not have a good life. Maybe they are thinking too far ahead, but their life experience tells them that their thinking is correct. Mother Liu also said excitedly, "Yi Chen, this marriage, what are you going to do?" She has nothing to say now. Even the wedding room has been prepared, and she also thought about their 2 elders moving in with them. What else can they say? With a son-in-law like this, they really can't find any fault with him. Even if the 2 young people quarrel in the future, it will be because their daughter is ignorant. Yi Chen also smiled. "I still have to see what Nana wants to do. Nana, what are you going to do about our wedding?" Liu Yina also smiled. "I just want to wear a wedding dress and swear in front of you and me. I don't have any special requirements for anything else." Mother Yi and Father Yi asked, "Are there any requirements for the betrothal gifts and the banquet?" Father Liu suddenly said, "I have an old mother in my hometown. She is old and it is inconvenient for her to take a car, so I was thinking about whether I could bring the 3 little grandchildren back to let her see them. I can also invite relatives and friends to have a meal and celebrate with them." Father Yi thought for a moment and said, "My dear relatives, your place is only a few hours' drive from us. Why don't you set up 100 or so banquets at the bride's house and invite all the relatives to celebrate? This way, your place will also be lively and festive." Yi's mother also said, "Yes, if it takes 5 hours to go back and forth, then we can get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to prepare to leave. If we arrive at your house, it will be 10 o'clock at the latest. Then we will spend an hour to grab the bride, and everyone will go in to have tea or something. At 11 o'clock, we will go to the hotel to wait for you. After dinner, we can leave for home around 2 o'clock. Take Nana home, stay for a while, and then go to the hotel. Father Liu disagreed. That's too rushed. I think it would be better if I invite relatives to dinner one day when I'm free, so that the old man can have some fun. We can have a big wedding banquet at the man's house. On the day of the wedding banquet, we can invite a few of our relatives to come, but we won't invite the old man. Because if time is too tight, many things won't be done, and I don't want my daughter's wedding to have any regrets. Father Yi nodded and said, well, what the in-laws said makes sense. Let's do as they say. When the little ones are 100 days old, we'll take them to visit relatives at their mother's place, and then come back here to set up the wedding banquet. Mother Liu said, well, that's best, don't rush, it's too tiring. Mother Yi, yes, then let's do it. What about the in-laws' proposal for the bride price? Mother Liu said, as for the betrothal gift, you can give as much as you like. We don't have any big requirements, just give as you see fit. As for the dowry, we can buy Nana a car or a house, and see which one she wants. Father Liu interjected, or a store would be fine. Maybe because he thought that the Yi family had everything. He didn't care much about RVs. Mother Liu glared at him and said, of course we want the store. After all, this is for Nana. Father Liu quickly responded, yes, yes, this is necessary and cannot be considered a dowry. Mother Liu then asked, Yi Chen, has the villa been renovated? Have you bought all the appliances? If it hasn't been renovated, we will pay for it. Yi Chen said quickly, Mom, don't worry, it's all settled. I'll take you to see where you want to live and then buy whatever you need. Mother Liu nodded, that's good, that's good. Turning to look at Liu Yina, Nana, what do you want? Liu Yina looked at everyone and said helplessly, it seems I don't lack anything. She really couldn't think of what she wanted. As for money, she had it, and Yi Chen also gave her pocket money every month, ranging from 1 million to 10 million. She didn't go out shopping or anything, so how could she spend so much money? Yi Chen's family has bought a house, and it is in her name. The car is also in her name. The money she has now is enough to buy a big house in Xiangcheng in full. She is not short of money, and she really can't think of anything else. Yi Chen said, I have a suggestion. When Nana bought a car before, she only chose a car worth hundreds of thousands. She probably didn't want to spend her husband's money. Mother Liu said, then let's just give them a car and everyone doesn't have to worry about it so much. Liu Yina immediately refuted Yi Chen. What? A car worth hundreds of thousands is already pretty good. It's good for me to drive it. In fact, Yi Chen would let Liu Yina drive his car worth more than 3 million yuan. But there is no chance yet. Yi Chen said, that's right, I'm just giving you a suggestion. After all, buying a house would be a huge expense for Liu's parents who also run a restaurant. But if they bought a car, the 20 million yuan that he had given them before would be enough to buy a good car. That's why Yi Chen asked Liu's parents to buy a good car for Liu Yina. Father Liu said, Nana, stop being so petty, I'll buy you a car. By then you and your spouse will be one and the same. It doesn't matter who drives it, right? Liu Yina also pouted, okay. She felt that it didn't matter. A car was just a means of transportation. There was no need to buy one worth over 1 million. A car worth a few 100,000 would be good enough. Yi Chen felt that if no one could come up with a good solution, then he would be the only one who could offer suggestions. After all, when buying a car before, Liu Yina chose one worth hundreds of thousands. A good car must be included in the dowry for the marriage, and her parents will definitely not treat their daughter badly. Chapter 108, Inheritance. Let's talk about the dowry first. Now it's time to talk about the bride price. Yi Chen also knew that his father-in-law and mother-in-law would definitely not ask him for money. So he understood that if he didn't take the initiative to say how much, they probably wouldn't ask. So when they finished discussing the dowry, Yi Chen took the initiative to say, as for the betrothal gift, I will give you 5,200,314 yuan, 5,201,314 yuan. Do you think this is enough? Mother Liu smiled and said, that's no problem. After all, the money is just a token of goodwill, and young people just love this kind of romance. Moreover, for Yi Chen, who could give them 20 million at one time as pocket money, these several million were considered too little. Maybe they didn't want others to say that they were selling their daughter, but even if it was more than 5 million, it was already very high compared to the bride price there. Therefore, Mother Liu did not object to Yi Chen's offer of a betrothal gift of more than 5 million yuan. Then it's settled. Everything about the wedding banquet will be handled by our man's side, including inviting relatives and friends to dinner at the hostess's house. All of that will be handled by our man's side, Father Yi said immediately. Mother Liu and Father Liu nodded. Yes, okay. The whole family has agreed that the bride's family will give a car as a dowry, and the groom's family will give a betrothal gift of more than 5.2 million yuan, which will also cover all the money for the wedding banquet and even the money for buying hardware. As for hardware, the family will go buy it when we have time. In fact, Mother Yi had already bought the dragon and phoenix bracelets. She probably bought more than 20 pairs, which cost her more than 1 million yuan. She just hadn't told Yi Chen and Liu Yina yet. She only has one son, so how could her son's marriage not involve some bloodshed? However, ever since Father Yi's business was affected, her money has shrunk by half. If Yi Chen hadn't given her 10 million, she would not have had the confidence to buy a gold dragon and phoenix bracelet worth more than 1 million at once. The marriages of the two children are almost ready. When the time comes, we will go to the girl's side first to visit the elderly, and then hold a grand banquet in the local area to celebrate the occasion. Everyone chatted for a while, and Father Liu suddenly asked Yi Chen, I just told you that I want to open a branch here. I have also inspected the shops here. I have my eyes on the shop at number 23 Balan Street, Dongping District. There is a two-story store there. The first floor is 200 square meters, and the second floor is nearly 1,500 square meters. It's pretty good, and the rent is also suitable. But now Dad has run into a problem. A local restaurant owner also wants to rent this store. I'm worried that I, a foreigner, won't be able to compete with a local, so I wanted to ask you if you know the landlord. That way it would be easier to negotiate. However, when Yi Chen heard about Dongping District Expo Street, he suddenly remembered something. Isn't Dongping District the next street? Although it is very close to this district, it is separated by an 8-block avenue and is another district. It is a little old, but it is also the former city center and old town. While at the charity dinner, Yi Chen overheard the two men at the corner talking about the expropriation of Expo Street in Dongping District, and they estimated that there would be a result within 10 to 20 days. If my father-in-law and mother-in-law buy that place now, not only will they have no money to pay for compensation, but they may also lose hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in renovation funds. You mean from Expo Street in Dongping District? Who are the catering people you're competing with? Yi Chen also thought that only by knowing both himself and the enemy could he prescribe the right medicine. After all, there are only a few people in Xiangcheng who have the money to rent such a large store in such a prosperous place. Among them is Guo Ming's family. Guo Ming is a person who likes to show off. Everyone in the school knows what his family does and that he has some money. But Guo Ming's restaurant is more like a nouveau riche, a newly emerged restaurant. Therefore, it is understandable that Mr. Liu feels that he will not be able to compete. Father Liu thought for a moment and said, It's a local restaurant called Hanlin Restaurant. What Hanlin Restaurant? Yi Chen couldn't help but be shocked. It turned out to be the restaurant opened by Guo Ming's family. This fragrant city is really small. Yi Chen hasn't found a chance to take revenge on Guo Ming and Li Avi. If anyone dares to attack Liu Yina, Yi Chen really wants to tear them apart with his own hands. Father Liu was so surprised to see Yi Chen and couldn't help asking, Why do you know this Hanlin restaurant? Yi Chen chuckled. Not really an acquaintance, it's just a classmate's business, but it's pretty big. Father Liu also sighed. Then are we no longer able to compete with others? Yi Chen asked, Dad, didn't you say that someone had done an investigation? Don't you know that the place is going to be demolished? Father Liu also replied, Yes, they said that the demolition has been going on for more than 10 years, but it has not been done. Many people think that it cannot be demolished, so I am interested in the traffic there. What? Is there a problem? Yi Chen didn't dare tell him what he heard at the charity dinner. What the two men said at the dinner was 99.9% likely to be true. So Yi Chen also came up with a plan at this time. Turning to persuade Liu's father, I also heard that the place is going to be demolished, so I asked this question. How about I go there with you tomorrow to have a look? I can give you some suggestions. Also, my friend has a place for rent in this area, which is the Huachang building. He owns the whole building. I can take you there to have a look. You can make a comparison. With a comparison, you naturally have more choices. Father Liu nodded and said, That's true, let's do as you wish. Let's go tomorrow morning. I want to finalize this matter as soon as possible. I'm having a headache thinking about choosing a location. Yi Chen said, Okay, I'll call my friend in a minute and make an appointment to talk to him tomorrow. Father Liu said, Okay. Mother Yi also teased, Chen, I didn't expect that you know a landlord in Xiangcheng. You actually have such a big building for rent. Yi Chen was a little embarrassed. It's just some friends who do business. The store before? Ah, it's the June 1st baby selection store, and I don't know how we got to know each other. It's nothing. I have dealt with him before, so it's easy to talk if I should. Father Liu said, See, this is what it means to rely on friends when you are away from home. It is easier to get things done with more friends. Well done, Yi Chen. Yi Chen also chuckled twice. He didn't dare tell everyone that the owner of this building is me, your son. Chapter 109, Reap What You Sow. The most important thing now is to find out what happened that night. Only then can he take revenge. So after chatting with his family, he called his roommate Li Lijai, who was the gossip recycling station in the dormitory. I often participate in school activities, get to know a lot of people, make a lot of friends, and have a very large network. So if you want to know what's going on at school, just ask him directly. Yi Chen called Li Lijai and asked, How is Mr. Li doing recently? Li Lijai smiled and said, Of course I'm not living as comfortably as you. You already have a wife and a child. When are you going to invite everyone out for a meal? Didn't you have a full-month banquet for your child? Yi Chen said, I haven't done this yet. Yi Chen was also reminded by his words. His child was 1 month old, but there was no full-month banquet. His father-in-law and mother-in-law did not mention it. His parents were probably grandparents for the first time and did not think of it. He and Liu Yina were new parents, so they really missed it. No, I'll talk about this in the family group later. Li Lijai smiled. You are so rich, you even saved money on the full moon banquet. Yi Chen said, The main reason is that I didn't think about having a full moon banquet. I'm also a new father. Thank you for reminding me. Li Lijai laughed. Okay, I know what kind of person you are. We are all preparing to graduate, and you are taking a leave of absence to stay at home and take care of the kids. You are calling me, don't you want to ask for something? Yi Chen asked quickly. I can't say I'm taking care of you, it's like this. I want to know how Guo Ming is doing recently. Li Lijai couldn't help but wonder. What's going on? Are you looking at the pot while eating from the bowl? Doesn't everyone in the school know that your ex-girlfriend is Guo Ming's girlfriend? Indeed, with Li Avi and Guo Ming's outspoken personalities, they would definitely not hide anything and would definitely show their affection openly. Yi Chen said coldly, Because they messed with me. It's okay to mess with me, but the key is that they messed with my wife. I can't stand this. Li Lijai finally understood that he was a crazy wife-protecting man. All right, you are so protective of your wife. What could have made you so angry? Tell me. Yi Chen, it's a long story, but I'm not going to tell you. Now I just want you to tell me how they are doing recently. Li Lijai said, On the surface, it's nothing. It's just that we are preparing to graduate recently. After the exam, something happened. It was on the 28th or 29th, I think. I'm not sure anyway. It was at the end of June. Guo Ming and Li Awei seem to have broken up. There's also a banned video about Li Awei, Guo Ming, and Li Awei's best friend circulating online. Do you want to see it? Oh my God, it's really amazing. Although the entire clip is only a few hours long, I guess there's more before and after it. A lot of it has been edited. It's the kind that makes you want to do it, tusk. Yi Chen also snorted coldly. It was only thanks to him that he locked the door that you could see such a wonderful scene. But Li Lijai continued. Alas, it's a pity that the lights were not on and only a few candles were lit, so I couldn't see the faces clearly. I really wanted to turn on the lights for them and take a high-definition, uncensored video. Li Lijai was savoring it as he said, I'll send it to you later to see if you can tell it's Li Awei. Yi Chen quickly refused. No, I don't want to see this disgusting woman. I want to ask you, is Guo Ming's family planning to open a branch? Yi Chen doesn't have time to care about these disgusting people. Li Lijai thought for a moment and said, Let me think about it. When I was chatting with someone before, I seem to have heard that his family wanted to open a large branch store. But Guo Ming said in school that his family would give him a store to manage as soon as he graduated. Their restaurant seems to be called Hanlin Restaurant, and this restaurant is also their largest branch in Xiangcheng. They are planning to invest several million. When Guo Ming said that, the classmates around him were envious. Besides, he chose that store himself, but he hasn't rented it yet, and I don't know what happened. The traffic there is really good, and it's very close to schools and hospitals. If he really takes over, he will definitely make a lot of money. Yi Chen asked, Is that all, nothing else? Li Lijai, what do you want to know? My classmates are very anxious now. After all, they will be unemployed as soon as they graduate, unlike you who have a little money in your family. Yi Chen said, Mr. Li, your family is richer than mine. Why don't you talk about yourself? Li Lijai laughed and said, Stop talking nonsense. There's still your full moon banquet and wedding. Didn't you say before that you'd have a banquet after the baby is born? Well, I really have to say that you're really capable. You hooked up with the school beauty and she even gave birth to several children for you. Oh my God, everyone in the school, including me, is jealous of you. Li Lijai is also a smart man. Every time he talks about himself, he will change the subject. Yi Chen also knows that he is a low-key person, so he just goes along with what he says. Yi Chen, the wedding is coming soon. If the children want to have a banquet, it will be before the wedding. You can just wait for the banquet. Li Lijai laughed. I can give you a suggestion. Nowadays, many people hold their weddings after giving birth. Sometimes they also hold the baby's full moon banquet or 100-day celebration at the same time. Why don't you do the same? I tell you that my suggestion is absolutely good. It also saves you from having to hold the wedding twice. Yi Chen thought about it and felt that this was a good suggestion. After all, the bride's relatives would be present at the wedding, and everyone could have fun at that time. However, if they wanted to hold the wedding together, the child could only be held for 100 days. Yi Chen immediately said, "Yes, that's a good suggestion, thank you, Mr. Li." Li Lijai, "Hey, we are all brothers, don't talk about this." Yi Chen and Li Lijai chatted on the phone for several minutes before hanging up. Through Li Lijai's narration, Yi Chen learned a lot about what happened in the school. What Yi Chen didn't expect was that the clip of Li Avi and the other two was actually uploaded to the internet. However, this is the retribution that the wicked deserve. This is called reaping what one sows. However, when Yi Chen learned that the branch on Expo Street in Dongping District was opened by the Guo family for Guo Ming, Yi Chen couldn't help but sneer. Want to open a branch? Then I'll make you bleed. Chapter 110, How to Get Married Without Taking Wedding Photos. Yi Chen was planning in his mind. Although the demolition of Expo Street in Dongping District had not been confirmed, judging from the tone of the two men, it was almost certain. So how could he make sure that Guo Ming suffered the greatest loss this time? Suddenly, Yi Chen had an idea and thought of a brilliant idea. My father-in-law should know the landlord's contact information. I will ask him for the landlord's phone number and then. When Yi Chen thought about this, he made up his mind. So I took out my cell phone and clicked into the family group. Yi Chen, by the way, it seems that our 3 children haven't had a full moon banquet yet. I just discovered this problem when I was chatting with a friend. We may all be so excited about the 3 children that we actually forgot about it. Liu Yina, I just chatted with Yingying, and she also asked me when the baby's full moon banquet would be held, but I forgot. Mother Yi, oh, look at my memory. How could I forget such an important thing? Father Yi, hurry up and do it. Mother Liu, my dear, I forgot too. Father Liu, when is the best time to do it? Let's discuss it. I don't have much experience. Don't say that Mr. Liu has no experience. Among the people present, is there anyone who has experience? This is their first time. Yi Chen said, how about this? Why don't we just hold a 100-day celebration for Xiaobo? It's been more than 40 days since the full moon. Why not just hold it together with our wedding? Mother Yi, I just asked a master to calculate it. It's June now, so there are not many good days. No one wants to have a wedding in the summer. The earliest good day will be September. Yi Chen, isn't that perfect? In September, the 3 babies will be 3 months old. We can take them to their mother's place to recognize their relatives and treat everyone to a meal. Then we can have the wedding when we come back. It will be almost 100 days. The timing is just right. Mother Yi, what you just said seems to be about the same. Let me see which day is better to set. I was just talking to that master. I'll tell you later. Mother Liu and Father Liu, okay. Yi Chen and Liu Yina, yeah. Turning around, Yi Chen remembered that he would take Father Liu to see the store tomorrow. So I called the property manager of Huacheng Building. The property manager Liu Quanzhang's phone rang only once before it connected. Hello, Mr. Yi, what can I do for you? Yi Chen said, tomorrow I will bring someone to look at the store. You can rent it to him at the lowest rent on the grounds of urgency. Property manager Liu Quanzhang immediately understood that this must be a relationship between the owner and the relative. As expected, Yi Chen's next sentence was, he is my father-in-law, you know what to do, right? Property manager Liu Quanzhang understood instantly. Yes, Mr. Yi, I know what to do. Yi Chen, okay. I'll drive over around 10:30 tomorrow and you can take us to have a look. Property manager Liu Quanzhang, okay, Mr. Yi. Originally, he didn't have to do such a small task as escorting guests. But now that his rice boss has asked him to do it himself, he has no reason to refuse Yi Chen. So the two of them set a time to check out the venue, and Yi Chen hung up the phone directly. So Yi Chen sent another WeChat message to his father-in-law. Dad, tomorrow morning at 9:30, let's go to Balan Street in Dongping District to take a look at the place you want to rent, and then you can ask the landlord to come out and tell him that we are sincere about renting it. Then I will take you to Huachang building to have a look. There are more than 2,000 square meters of space available for rent there. I have already told my friend, and someone will take us to see the venue tomorrow. Father Liu was still awake at this time. Oh, that's good, but I don't understand why we have to talk to the landlord tomorrow and look at other venues. Yi Chen smiled and replied, whether the negotiation can be successful is another question. I believe you also want to see another good place, which will definitely satisfy you. Father Liu, that's fine, I'll listen to you. So the two of them made an appointment to meet the landlord at the venue to discuss at 9:30, and then go to Huachang building at around 10:30 to take a look. At this time, after Yi Chen finished everything, he went back to see his three little naughty kids. He has been very busy these days, and has no time to interact with his little babies. In the baby's room, Yi's mother and two aunts were each holding a baby in their arms. Yi Chen walked over and held his little lover in his arms. Little darling, do you miss your daddy? Yi Chen hugged the little darling and gently supported her head. A baby who is over 1 month old cannot lift his head yet, and the bones all over his body are soft, so you need to be extra careful when holding him, especially the key parts such as the lumbar spine and cervical spine, which must be protected well. The little one pouted in anger, and his face turned red, with tears in his eyes as if he was saying, "Damn, Dad, you haven't hugged me all day. Humph, I don't want to pay attention to you." Yi Chen also hurriedly coaxed her. "Dad didn't ignore you on purpose. Dad was busy with something. Don't be angry, Dad will be distressed." The little darling knew when to stop. Although he pouted, there was already a smile in his eyes, and the tears were no longer welling up in his eyes. Yi Chen also coaxed Xiaoguigui with kind words, and then continued to hold the other two babies. These two babies were fine and were not as angry as Xiaoguigui. At this time, Yi Chen's system rang. Host holds the baby for 20 minutes. The system rewards the host with a universal card. Yi Chen couldn't help but wonder, "System, what is the universal card?" Reporting to the host, how to use the universal card. Anything can be exchanged for it, no matter if it is a company, as long as it is something the host wants. It can be exchanged with the universal card. But the condition here is that it is something related to the baby. Yi Chen couldn't help but nodded. Oh, so that's how it is. Yi Chen really couldn't think of what he wanted that was related to the baby. So I put the universal card aside and use it later when I remember it. Mother Yi took the child and said to Yi Chen, "It's good for you to spend more time with the child. How can the child be without the company of his father?" Yi Chen nodded and said, "Okay, Mom, I understand. I will accompany the child every day in the future." Mother Yi said, "I was talking to the master about the date for you and Nana's wedding banquet. You and Nana should take wedding photos first, right? How can you get married without taking wedding photos?" Chapter 111, Unable to Control Impulse. Yi Chen was reminded by what his mother said. Yes, he and Liu Yina have been married for more than a year, but not only did they not hold a full-month banquet for their child, they didn't even have a wedding, and the worst part is, they don't even have wedding photos. Now he felt that he owed Liu Yina even more. Liu Yina got the marriage certificate with me and married me, but I didn't even give her a proper ceremony. This is really wrong. Mom, thank you for reminding me, otherwise I would really have forgotten it, Yi Chen said thankfully. It's a little late, but it's not too late now. Mother Yi also patted Yi Chen on the head. You stinky boy. After Yi Chen finished talking with his mother, he quickly returned to his room. At this time, Liu Yina was taking a shower. Listening to the rustling sound of water coming from the shower room, Yi Chen smiled. He knocked on the door and said, "Wife, can I come in?" Liu Yina suddenly paused, almost frightened. "No, don't come in, I'll be fine soon." It didn't scare her. The first time she saw Yi Chen, she squeezed her legs together. I'm almost shaking all over. After all, she had been tortured enough today. At night, she just wanted to have a good rest and really didn't want to come again. But it's obvious that Yi Chen doesn't think so. I don't know why, but now when I look at Liu Yina, Yi Chen has an uncontrollable urge and always wants to do something. Yi Chen had no choice but to say with little interest, "Okay then." But when Liu Yina heard Yi Chen's lost tone, she felt a little empty in her heart. She also knew that Yi Chen had been restraining himself during the 10 months of her pregnancy and the time when she gave birth, and he did not go out and have affairs like other men. So now that she thought about it, it was easy to understand why Yi Chen had such a crazy reaction. After all, there are very few men who can really resist doing that for a year, and they have never even done it themselves. Liu Yina thought about it and felt that Yi Chen was quite pitiful, but she was really tired. After taking a shower, I saw Yi Chen sitting there pitifully, and I felt a little uncomfortable. "Honey, I'm done washing, it's your turn." Liu Yina called Yi Chen softly. Yi Chen looked up at her. "Well, okay." Then he went in to take a shower. Yi Chen was actually quite tired. After all, it was a crazy night. But he really found it difficult to control his impulses. This damn impulse. While taking a shower, my mind kept recalling the past, and the urge came back again. I might as well change the bath water to cold water and wake myself up. When the cold water splashed into his body, Yi Chen slowly calmed down. But this is like a bomb. It can be ignited at any time. After coming back from taking a shower, Yi Chen saw Liu Yina already sleeping on the bed. He also knew that he had been really crazy today, so he didn't plan to do anything else. He lay down beside Liu Yina, lying on his back with his eyes closed and resting. Although I just took a cold shower, and that impulse has been almost washed away. However, when lying next to Liu Yina, smelling the quilt filled with her body fragrance, feeling the milky scent emanating from her body, and the soft and warm temperature coming from her body, the impulse burst out again. I felt as hot as a boiled shrimp. It is really too hard to bear. How can a lion who has just started to eat meat bear not to eat meat? Liu Yina also made a pleasant moan in her sleep. After hearing this, Yi Chen's breathing became heavier. So they started to take action. Liu Yina was probably too tired. She just felt something was poking her in a half-asleep, half-dream state. She didn't know whether she had experienced too much during the day and could no longer tell whether it was a dream or reality. 3 hours later, when she was about to get up to feed her baby, she discovered that Yi Chen had attacked her from behind again. Only then did I realize that I was not dreaming. It was real. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen, who was sleeping, and felt angry and amused. I quickly went to the bathroom and took a quick shower before going to look for the baby. The next morning, Yi Chen woke up at around 8 o'clock. Men are particularly impulsive in the morning, so he used the same trick on Liu Yina again. But of course, he remembered to take safety measures. However, Liu Yina was awake that morning because she had just finished feeding her baby and had just laid down. She might have disturbed Yi Chen when she lay down, but she kept pretending to be asleep. If she wakes up, she will probably have to make some pancakes. She really didn't want to move. Yi Chen finished everything. It was almost 9 o'clock, so he quickly got up, brushed his teeth, and washed his face. He has an appointment with his father-in-law today, so he is going to have a tough battle. When he went downstairs, Father Liu was already eating breakfast. It seemed that he had gotten up at about the same time as Yi Chen. Yi Chen also had breakfast together, and then drove his own car with his father-in-law to number 23 Balin Street, Dongping District, to meet the landlord. When we arrived, the landlord hadn't shown up yet. After waiting in the car for about 15 minutes, the landlord finally showed up. Father Liu introduced Yi Chen to the landlord and said, "Hello, landlord, this is my son-in-law, Yi Chen." He turned to Yi Chen and said, "This is the landlord, Mr. Hong." "Hello, Mr. Yi." "Hello, Mr. Hong." The landlord, Mr. Hong, said, "I won't say anything else. If you are sincere, 200,000 a month is a must. If it's not suitable, there are still many people who want to rent my place. You'd better hurry up. If I wait one more day, I will charge one less day's rent." Yi Chen just smiled and said, "Are you talking about someone from Hanlin Restaurant?" The landlord, Mr. Hong, said, "Since you already know, I will tell you the truth. Hanlin Restaurant also wants to rent the place, and they are offering 210,000 a month. This is what the boss's second son talked to me about, but he can't make the decision yet. He has to go back and discuss it with his family. If you don't sign the contract today, I will wait for him. He said he would give me a reply today." Yi Chen smiled and moved closer to the landlord, Mr. Hong, and handed the message on his phone to him and said, "Take a good look at this. How much do you think you can rent this place for?" Chapter 112, Even Brothers Have Fights. At this moment, Guo Ming happened to bring his father and brother to see the venue, and happened to see Yi Chen and others there. But the person hasn't arrived yet, but the voice has sounded. "Mr. Hong, what a coincidence. This is..." Guo Ming walked over and asked directly. Of course he knew Yi Chen, but he didn't know what Yi Chen wanted to do. Yi Chen's hand holding the phone paused, then he put it back. The landlord, Mr. Hong, immediately said, "These two are here to check out the store." Now Guo Ming finally understood that he was here to steal his store. He said to his father and brother, "Dad, brother, you saw it too. I told you it's very popular here. People are rushing to visit the store." After saying that, Guo Ming immediately took a step forward and said to Yi Chen, "Yi Chen, what do you want to do after you take over the store?" Guo Ming, he is not afraid, so Yi Chen straightened his waist. "Naturally, it is the same as what you want to do." Guo Ming also saw the middle-aged man next to Yi Chen at this time. "Oh, have you found a sponsor for yourself? I know your family is not in the catering business, right?" At this time, Father Liu stood up and said, "Yi Chen is my son-in-law." Guo Ming also saw clearly that the middle-aged man turned out to be Liu Yina's father. But even if he is Liu Yina's father, if he wants to snatch the store from me, he will not show mercy. So he pulled his father and eldest brother aside and said, "Dad, brother, you have seen it too. We have to hurry up. Otherwise, if they really snatch it away, what will I do? The location here is so good. I will graduate soon. Besides, if I invest here, I will definitely make money. Dad, don't worry. I will never let you down. The most important thing is that he has been bragging to others, so he must open the store as soon as possible. Otherwise, if his classmates find out, it will be so embarrassing." Guo Hanlin nodded. "I hope you won't let me down. I have estimated a budget of 10 million for this store. If you can earn 5 million a year, you can join our company's internal management." Although Hanlin Restaurant is owned by the Guo family, the Guo family also sought financing. The Guo family is the largest shareholder, and there are also shares of other people. If Guo Ming wants to enter the company's management, he must naturally pass the shareholders' meeting. Therefore, opening a store is no problem. But if you want to enter the company, you still need to be capable, just like his eldest son. He treats his eldest son and youngest son Guo Ming the same way, hoping that they both will excel. Guo Ming was also full of expectations, and once again assured his father and brother, "Dad, don't worry, I will definitely not let you down. This time I will definitely do my best." He also firmly believed that in the old city area, all supporting facilities were mature, and the population was dense, so the flow of people would definitely not be a problem. Therefore, he must take over this store. He continued, "Dad, if the monthly rent is around 250,000, that should be okay, right?" At this time, Guo Ming's eldest brother also spoke up to help him. "Dad, we have already found relevant people and conducted investigations. They said that our site selection and operation plan are good and there will be no problem." Guo Hanlin glanced around, then looked at Guo Ming and nodded, agreeing. After Guo Ming got a response from his father, he quickly ran back to Yi Chen and the others. Through Guo Ming's figure, Yi Chen saw Guo Ming's elder brother with an almost undetectable sly smile on his face. If you don't look closely, you probably won't be able to see it. There's something wrong with this brother Guo Ming. Could it be that? After thinking about it, Yi Chen also thought of the skill of recognizing people with a discerning eye that he had set up in the system. "I have never used this skill before, so I don't know how to use it. Master, just tell that person to use the skill of knowing people with wisdom." Yi Chen also suddenly realized, "Oh, so that's how it is. It's really good to have this skill. You should be able to tell whether someone is a good guy or a bad guy, right?" So he stared at brother Guo Ming and silently said in his heart, "Activate the skill of knowing people with wisdom eyes. System, the skill of knowing people is now enabled. Please wait." After about 2 seconds, the system gave an answer. "This person is treacherous and cunning, scheming and good at scheming. You should not make close friends with him." Yi Chen pondered carefully in his heart, "Good at strategy." When I thought about the sly smile he had just shown me and the words Guo Ming and the others had just said, Yi Chen couldn't help but think a little more. Could it be that? This situation was set up by Guo Ming's elder brother, even his own brother. Yi Chen thought so. In fact, it is not impossible. In wealthy families, even brothers often fight openly and secretly for the family property and the company. And I just heard that if Guo Ming does a good job this time, he may be able to enter the company's management level. At that time, if Guo Ming is really allowed to join the company, it will damage the interests of brother Guo Ming. Instead of letting Guo Ming join the company, it is better to directly portray him as a playboy and a fool, so that everyone in the company will stand on his side. Then brother Guo Ming can firmly hold the entire company in his hands. By then, everyone in the company will have to listen to you. Guo Ming's elder brother is really scheming. He even schemed against his own younger brother. However, this is someone else's family affair after all, so he can't interfere. He. Originally, he just wanted to let the landlord Mr. Hong know that the property was going to be demolished, and then have them sign the contract as soon as possible, and then prevent him from opening a branch. However, the development of the matter made Yi Chen ready to watch the show. Now it seems that I really did something unnecessary. In that case, I don't mind giving you a hand. Yi Chen also shook his head. This Guo Ming is really pitiful. I wonder how unhappy he would be if he found out that the store was going to be demolished after he just finished decorating it. He probably wanted to die. As for the incident of the banned film, did your family members know about it? If Guo Ming's family really knew about the ugly things he did outside, plus this branch store incident, he would probably have no status in the Guo family, right? This time, let's see how you die. If you hadn't provoked me, I would probably tell you the truth out of friendship as a classmate. But now there is no way. Chapter 113, Signing a Contract. Guo Ming ran to the landlord, Mr. Hong, and immediately promised generously. Mr. Hong, you know our Hanlin restaurant. With our strength and financial resources, we will never be like some unknown small shops that only operate for a few months or a year or two. So you can rest assured about the lease period. I can give you $220,000 a month. You can sign the contract today. When Mr. Liu heard this, he was immediately upset. His Liu Fujai had a history of nearly 100 years, but now in the mouth of this stinky boy, it has become a nameless shop. He was so angry that his face turned red. Yi Chen pulled Father Liu over and whispered, "Dad, don't worry." Father Liu had no choice but to slowly exhale and calm himself down. The landlord, Mr. Hong, also laughed in his heart. Naturally, he would rent the house to whoever paid more. I saw the landlord, Mr. Hong, remained silent. Guo Ming turned his head and glanced at Yi Chen and the others, and immediately said loudly, "I will give you $250,000 a month, and I don't need you to waive rent during the renovation period." Hearing this, the landlord, Mr. Hong, immediately said, "Okay, I'll rent it to you, and I'll go back to sign the contract in a while." The landlord also knows that considering his current location, a rent of $250,000 is already a lot. Guo Ming smiled triumphantly at Yi Chen and the other man, with an attitude of a winner. Yi Chen glanced at him and smiled without saying anything more and said to the landlord, "Mr. Hong, since you have found a tenant, we will not disturb you anymore and will leave first." The landlord, Mr. Hong, smiled politely at Yi Chen and the others. "Mr. Yi, Mr. Liu, I'm really sorry this time." Yi Chen said, "It's okay, the one with the highest bid wins. We are all doing business, so we naturally understand these principles." After saying that, Yi Chen left with Father Liu. At this time, Father Liu was still sighing in his heart and muttering quietly, "Oh, with such a great location, it will definitely make money once it opens for business. What a pity." Yi Chen didn't say anything. He just took Liu's father into the car and drove to Huachang Building to look at the stores. It was just past 10 o'clock, earlier than expected. When Yi Chen and others arrived, Liu Quanzhang, the manager of Huachang Building, was already waiting at the gate of the building, accompanied by a male and a female assistant. Manager Liu Quanzhang: "Hello, Mr. Yi. I am the property manager of the building, Liu Quanzhang. You can call me Xiao Liu." Then he pointed at Liu's father and asked, "What is this gentleman's name?" Yi Chen said, "This is my father-in-law. His surname is Liu." Liu Quanzhang immediately said, "Hello, Mr. Liu." He quickly stepped forward and shook hands with Yi Chen and Liu's father. Male assistant: "Hello, Mr. Yi. Hello, Mr. Liu." Female assistant: "Hello, Mr. Yi. Hello, Mr. Liu." The two assistants also greeted Yi Chen. Yi Chen said calmly, "Hello, take us to see the store first." Before Mr. Liu could say anything, Liu Quanzhang said flatteringly, "Yes, yes, Mr. Yi." He immediately walked in front to lead the way, while a male and a female assistant followed behind Yi Chen and Liu's father. Father Liu pulled Yi Chen's sleeve and said, "Yi Chen, why do I feel that this property manager seems to be very afraid of you and respects you very much, as if you are his boss?" Yi Chen quickly lied. "Ah, the owner of this building is my friend, so he naturally wouldn't dare to treat me badly. If I tell my friend about it, he'll lose his job." Liu Quanzhang, who was walking in front, couldn't help but tremble when he heard Yi Chen's words. "You are the boss, and you have the final say." Father Liu also nodded. "Yes, that's the truth." After walking for a few minutes, we arrived in front of a store on the right side of the building. Liu Quanzhang looked up at the store of more than 1,000 square meters, then turned to Yi Chen and Liu's father and said, "Mr. Yi, Mr. Liu, look, this is a two-story store. The upper one is bigger, about 1,500 square meters, and the lower one is also a little over 1,000 square meters. The flow of people here is very large. There are 1,000 or 2,000 staff members in the entire building alone. I wonder what Mr. Liu wants to do." Father Liu quickly said, "I'm mainly in the catering business. From what you said, this place is really good." Father Liu quickly pulled Yi Chen and whispered, "Yi Chen, the location here is so good and it's so big, the rent must be at least 500,000 or 600,000 a month, right? This is several times better than the one I just saw. This is the new district of Xiangcheng. Most of the commercial centers are concentrated here, and there are several more real estate projects here. It will become more prosperous in the future. Mr. Liu was also worried about whether his restaurant, a foreign brand, could take root and survive here. If he signs a rental contract, it will definitely be for at least 3 years, and he also has his own concerns. Liu Quan was watching Yi Chen and the other person talking quietly, and he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Just the day before yesterday, someone from Hanlin Restaurant called him and asked him if he wanted to rent the place. The rent had already been given to him at 700,000 a month. If Yi Chen hadn't instructed him before, he would have actually rented out the store. At this time, Yi Chen gave Liu Quanzhang a look, and Liu Quanzhang immediately understood. He took a step forward and walked up to Liu's father. "Mr. Liu, you can see that our store is so big that many people think the rent here is high, which is the fact. So many people don't dare to ask easily. Our store has been idle for several months, so we, the owner, also want to prevent others from seeing that it is vacant. So we have already said that it can be rented out for around 200,000 yuan. When Mr. Liu heard this, his eyes lit up. OMG! Such a prosperous building, such a large store, only costs 200,000. This is pie in the sky. Seeing that his father didn't say anything, Liu Quanzhang made up his mind. The minimum is 150,000. If you think about it, we sign the contract today. Father Liu immediately interrupted Liu Quanzhang's words. Nonsense, he would have signed for 200,000, not to mention 150,000. Liu Quanzhang glanced at Yi Chen, and seeing that Yi Chen had no objection, he continued. First of all, I have to make it clear here that our contract is for a minimum of 5 years. Father Liu also smiled and said, "Okay, no problem. The store business is done, and it only makes 150,000 yuan a month. How much is it in a year? Even if it means making a loss, he can afford it." Yi Chen coughed softly and said, "Then let's go to the office to sign the contract." Father Liu smiled happily. Okay. Sign the contract quickly, otherwise it will be bad if someone intercepts it like just now." Half an hour later, Mr. Liu held the signed contract and smiled from ear to ear. "Yi Chen, you did a great job on this. This location is much better than the one I chose. Oh, my worries are gone. Now I just need to find a decoration company to do the decoration. And most importantly, they are also giving us 3 months of free rent so we can do the renovations." Wow, that's great. Seeing that his father-in-law was so satisfied, Yi Chen was also very satisfied. Guo Ming also quickly signed a 3-year contract. The first time Guo Ming got the contract, he was so happy that he almost flew away. He had no idea that there was a huge conspiracy waiting for him. Chapter 114, Know Yourself and Know Your Enemy. After all this was done, Yi Chen suggested going to Hanlin Restaurant to taste the food, see how they cook the dishes, and see the level of service and so on. Father Liu also agreed with Yi Chen's suggestion. So the two of them called home and told their families that they would not be going home for lunch. Yi Chen took Liu's father to the nearest Hanlin Restaurant. As soon as we arrived at the door of Hanlin Restaurant, the waiter came to greet us warmly, and the service attitude seemed good. As soon as I walked in, I felt that the decoration inside was very modern, and the design gave people a relatively novel feeling. Although it is lunchtime, the empty seats here are almost full. When Yi Chen and his friends arrived, there happened to be one table that was empty, and it was next to the toilet. Although there was a cubicle blocking it, the experience was still not very good. On the other hand, at Huacheng, all toilets in the building are in the same location, so there will not be a situation where guests have to eat next to the toilet. So the experience immediately declined. Of course, it could also be that I arrived late, and the seat I sat in was not very good. Seeing that there were no seats left, Yi Chen and Mr. Liu had no choice but to sit down reluctantly. Their purpose this time was to try the special dishes here. As the saying goes, only when you know yourself and your enemy can you win every battle. Yi Chen quickly picked up the menu and started ordering all the signature dishes here. The waiter looked at Yi Chen and Liu's father and was a little confused, so he asked, "Excuse me, you two ordered so much, can you finish it?" Yi Chen said calmly, "My father-in-law is not a local, and this time he came here just to try the local food of Xiangcheng." The waiter finally understood. "Oh, so that's how it is. It's just that there are more customers now, and the kitchen is busier, so some dishes may take a little longer to wait." Yi Chen also nodded and looked at the menu. "Then make us a cup of health tea first." The waiter nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. There are actually health-preserving teas to drink here, including those that replenish qi and blood, remove dampness, etc. This is pretty good." "Dad, shall we have some dehumidifying tea?" Yi Chen asked Father Liu. Father Liu nodded. "Well, okay." Yi Chen also remembered that he needed to prepare a nutritious meal for Liu Yina. When he thought of this, Yi Chen silently circled this matter in his mind and decided to study it carefully after he finished his meal and went home. Yi Chen was drinking tea with Liu's father while waiting for the food to be served. At this moment, a male voice came from the other side of the partition. "Mr. Guo, you are not really planning to let Guo Ming join the company, are you? Although he doesn't seem to be very capable, you should understand what your father means. It seems that he wants to train him vigorously. If your father really discovers his potential, then you." At this time, another male voice interrupted the man's words. "How do you think I got to this position? I'll give him the chance to get inside the company." The voice sounds so familiar. It is Guo Ming's elder brother, Guo Su. Guo Su sneered and continued, "I have received inside information. That area will be demolished in less than a month. I accidentally let him know the location. I dug a hole randomly, but I didn't expect him to actually jump in. As long as he can't achieve results this time, I won't let him have the chance to achieve results in the future." After saying that, he snorted again. The other man immediately understood. "Mr. Guo, that's a great idea. Walls have ears, so let's not talk about it." Guo Su looked around vigilantly and led his men up another staircase. Yi Chen looked at Guo Su's back and couldn't help but shake his head. He really didn't expect that the truth of the matter was the same as he thought. Father Liu had just heard those words, and he patted his chest and said, "Oh my God! Fortunately, I didn't sign that, otherwise I really wouldn't even have a place to cry." Yi Chen smiled and said, "This is called a blessing in disguise." Father Liu exhaled, "Yeah, that's true. If it weren't for you, I might have fought with him for it. I'm really surprised that the place I rent is so good now." Dad Liu was extremely grateful. Just as Mr. Liu was getting scared, the dishes from Hanlin Restaurant arrived one after another. Yi Chen and Liu's father both tasted them one by one, and they both felt that the taste was acceptable but not amazing. Although there is a Chinese menu, the main food here is Western food. Mr. Liu didn't feel much about the food. After all, he was cooking Chinese food, and these Western dishes were also popular among young people. However, he had thought about one thing, so he said to Yi Chen, "Yi Chen, our family mainly cooks Chinese food, and the people here are relatively young. Do you think we should hire some Western chefs?" Yi Chen also thought about it and said, "Chinese food has its own characteristics. Since we are mainly engaged in Chinese food, we should focus on developing Chinese food as the main line, and Western food can also be secondary. After all, a restaurant can also provide different people with multiple choices." Father Liu also nodded. Their family also needed to keep up with the changes of the times, and it would not be a bad idea to add some appropriate elements. However, as for how to operate it, we need to make a good plan. Father Liu nodded and taught Yi Chen how to run a restaurant. Time passed quickly, and the two of them drank tea, ate some food, and chatted until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was time to go home. Father Liu was also thinking about his 3 little grandchildren at home. Yi Chen was also thinking that by helping Liu's father settle the store business this time, he could live here with peace of mind and wouldn't have to travel back and forth so frequently. This way my wife doesn't have to worry so much. After Yi Chen paid the bill, he drove back to see his wife and children. Now my child is changing every day, and it feels like a long time has passed since I last saw him. I came out in a hurry today and didn't even have time to take a look at the baby. Chapter 115. My dog is more valuable than your child. Yi Chen brought Liu's father back home quickly and packed some snacks and desserts for the family. Yi Chen rushed back to the room immediately, and seeing that Liu Yina was sleeping, he stepped out and went to the next room to see the child. The children had just finished their feeding and were playing. Mother Yi and Mother Liu were each holding a little baby, while Aunt Zhang was holding Dabao. The 3 little ones were babbling with the adults. At this time, Father Liu had also come up and said to Mother Liu, "Give me the child. I bought afternoon tea for everyone. In-laws and Aunt Zhang, put the child down and eat first. I'll save some for the aunts later." Mother Liu said, "Well, burp him first. He just finished eating a few minutes ago." Mother Yi also smiled and handed the little boy to Yi Chen's arms. Yi Chen took the little cutie over. The little cutie was laughing so happily that his eyes were almost invisible. Mother Yi and Mother Liu also looked at the two of them with a smile and slowly left the room. Aunt Zhang said, "I'd better stay here for a while before going to eat. You 2 grown men are so careless." Yi Chen and Liu's father also laughed. When Dabo and Erbao saw that Yi Chen held Ziraguagui and not them, they both babbled and wanted Yi Chen to hold them. Father Liu smiled. "Do you feel uncomfortable being held by Grandpa, Or do you feel Grandpa is a stranger to you? Don't worry, Grandpa will be able to see you every day soon. Seeing Erbo in his arms smile, he said happily, Erbo, you are also very happy now that you know, right? Ha ha. You can see that Dad Liu is really happy. So that night, he cooked a big meal for everyone to celebrate today's happy event. For this purpose, Yi Chen opened a bottle of 1982 Lafite to celebrate for everyone, but everyone just drank a small glass. Such expensive red wine is meant to be appreciated slowly, not to be drunk in one gulp. Liu Yina naturally can't drink alcohol. After the meal, the three little ones were full and woke up. So the whole family planned to take a walk in the community to get rid of the smell of alcohol. After putting the three little ones in the cart and pushing them out to the gate of the villa, Yi Chen had never really walked around the villa since he moved in. He took this opportunity to relax. Not long after they walked, two dogs suddenly jumped out from a corner and pounced directly on the stroller of Zaya Agueguay and Dabo. Everyone was shocked by these two big dogs without leashes. Yi Chen acted quickly and ran up to kick the two big dogs away. The two big dogs were kicked by Yi Chen, and they rolled on the ground for a few rounds and then quacked. The three little babies were frightened by the sudden appearance of the big dog and started crying loudly. The family members quickly hugged the three babies in the stroller and comforted them. Mother Yi even shouted at him loudly while comforting him. Whose animal is this without a leash? It's really scary. Before Yi's mother finished her words, a couple suddenly walked out from the corner and said arrogantly, We raised him. We didn't scare you to death, old man. What's wrong? Is there a problem? Seeing the newcomer start cursing as soon as they met, Yi's mother was furious. Your dog, right? Now we advocate civilized dog raising. Why isn't your dog on a leash? The sound of several people arguing quickly attracted the attention of the surrounding residents, and they all stopped to watch the fun. The heavily made-up woman snorted coldly. Why should I put a leash on my dog? Why should I put a leash on my dog when I'm walking it in front of my own house? Mother Liu also said to the woman in a slightly calmer tone, Just now your two dogs almost pounced on our child. If there were children in the community, they would probably be pounced on or even bitten by your dogs. Moreover, your two dogs are large dogs. If a child is really bitten by your dogs, it would be too dangerous. The man said disdainfully, My dog is much more valuable than your child. The man shouted at the same time, You kicked my dog and we haven't settled the score with you yet. At this moment, the system rang. Congratulations, host. You have triggered a special reward for protecting the child. The system rewards you with 51% of the shares of Bayadeli Security Company. From now on, you are the first shareholder of Bayadeli Security Company. The host is detected to be in danger. The system can help you activate the emergency call device of Bayadeli Security Company. The security personnel of Bayadeli Security Company will rush to the scene within 5 minutes. Do you want to activate it? Yi Chen looked at the two people and thought, although they are a little arrogant, they won't cause any danger to me, right? I couldn't help but wonder, how did the system detect that I was in danger? After taking a look at the two big dogs baring their teeth at them, he couldn't help but realize that they were two unleashed dogs. No, there should be 4 dogs, and 2 of them could talk. Yi Chen answered without hesitation. Please start it immediately. The system has received the command and has now been activated for you. In 5 minutes, security personnel will resolve the issue for the host. Yi Chen also breathed a sigh of relief. Look at this man. He is so arrogant and says his dog is more valuable. This time, Mother Liu and Mother Yi couldn't hold back any longer. They started scolding the man and woman on the spot. What did you say? You said your dog is more precious than my child. Where do you have the nerve? Now it's your dog that scared our child. How dare you say such things? Are you still human? However, because they had a baby in their arms, Mother Yi and the others didn't dare to speak too loudly. The couple on the other side thought that Yi Chen and his friends were easy to bully and started arguing with Yi's mother and the others. What's wrong with dogs? Dogs are also children. Dogs are also furry children. Yes, my dog is our baby. He is a member of our family. What's wrong? Is there any problem? Our own child is taking a walk in front of our house. Why tie him with a leash? Are you crazy? The woman's face was full of disdain. At this time, people around were also talking about it. This couple is famous for being wild in our neighborhood. Yeah, this family probably won't be able to get away with it under their mouths. That's right, their dog often knocks down children and adults in the neighborhood. Fortunately, no one was bitten. Their 3 children were born not long ago. If they had knocked down a car, it would have been very dangerous. That's right, we usually only dare to pass by here when we see that their door is not open. Otherwise, we would be bitten by these 2 dogs. After hearing the discussions among the neighbors, Yi Chen's family also found out who the couple were. Just as Mother Yi was still thinking about what to say, a series of orderly footsteps suddenly came from behind everyone. Chapter 116, If you have any trouble, ask the police. Suddenly, there were bursts of very neat and loud footsteps behind me. Everyone looked back. All I saw were a dozen tall and strong men in black suits rushing towards this side quickly, and behind them were a few policemen. When a dozen men in black suits rushed up, the first thing they did was to surround Yi Chen's family. Mother Yi, Mother Liu, Father Yi, Liu Yina, and the others, as well as everyone around them, looked at these people in confusion. Only Yi Chen looked calm, as if he had expected it. Don't worry, this is my new security guard, who is responsible for protecting the safety of my family, Yi Chen said lightly. Now everyone breathed a sigh of relief, because they were so scared that they thought it was the people called by the couple. The three children were still crying loudly. Liu Yina and the others quickly tried to comfort the children and didn't care about anything else. The couple was questioned by 5 policemen who rushed over. We received a report from the public that a vicious dog had injured someone here. Is this your dog? The taller police captain who was in the lead asked seriously. The couple was not afraid of the man in the black suit and the policeman who suddenly appeared. It's our dog, so what? How could it hurt anyone? We were just taking a walk in front of our house. When did it hurt anyone? The captain's face remained serious. In Xiancheng, dogs must be tied to a leash once they are out in public. Don't you know this common sense? Also, does your dog have a license? At this time, a neighbor who was watching the fun came over with his mobile phone. Uncle Police, I have recorded a video here about what just happened. Maybe it can help you. The captain immediately said, Then please play this video. The neighbor who was watching the fun immediately released the video he had just taken. In this video, the entire process of Yi Chen's family quarreling with the dog couple was recorded until the police arrived. Although there was no footage of Yi Chen bravely kicking the dog away, the neighbors around him came forward and said that they could testify for Yi Chen that it was the dog couple's dog that pounced on the child's stroller first. Faced with so many accusations from the public, the captain said indifferently to the arrogant couple, In the video, I saw you insulting the elderly. Do you know what crime you have committed? For insults and harassment, the victim can call the police for help, and the police will criticize and educate the offender and impose administrative penalties. Detention of up to 5 days or a fine of up to 500 yuan. In serious cases, detention of more than 5 days but less than 10 days, and a fine of up to 500 yuan may be imposed. And I just saw that the two of you were in a very bad situation. Also, your dog is not on a leash. Also, may I ask if your dog has a dog license? The dog couple seem to have not yet realized their mistake. What does it have to do with you whether the dog has a license or not? According to the Xiancheng dog management regulations, your behavior of walking your dog without a leash has violated Article 23, Paragraph 1, Item 2 of these regulations. In addition to verbal warnings, dog owners who take their dogs out without a leash will be fined between RMB 500 and RMB 2,000. If the circumstances are more serious, your dog-keeping license may be revoked. In addition, if you do not have a dog and a legal dog-keeping license, your 2 dogs will be confiscated as stray dogs. But this couple still goes their own way. Upon seeing this, the captain immediately winked at several team members behind him. 4 policemen quickly stepped forward and tried to hold the 2 men down, but their 2 vicious dogs kept barking at them. The men protecting Yi Chen quickly took out something like an anti-wolf electric shock device from their pockets, rushed towards the 2 big dogs and hit them. The 2 big dogs fell to the ground instantly, unable to move, and fainted. After stunning the dog, the men retreated and handed the scene over to the police. The captain still had a serious look on his face as he ordered his subordinates. Hurry up and bring the relevant personnel back to the station and add another charge of obstructing law enforcement to them. Also, bring their dogs back and check to see if they have obtained the dog licenses. But the couple still refused to give in and continued to struggle with the police, shouting, Do you know who I am? Who told you to touch me? I'm telling you, you're in trouble. The captain snorted coldly. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is that you are really in trouble now. He is the most impartial, fair, strict, and power-fearing captain in Xiancheng. All the criminal suspects are in his hands, but none of them is merciful. This couple is really unlucky today. At this time, 2 police cars drove over quickly, and the police rescue team arrived. 5 or 6 people rushed out of the law enforcement vehicle. Captain, we are late. Captain, go ahead, take them all back. The two big dogs and the dog couple were dragged and crawled into the police car by the police, and each of them was given a pair of silver bracelets. The dog couple who were dragged into the police car were also sitting dejectedly, while their furry children were placed in the pickup truck. Maybe the battery is too full. The two dogs haven't woken up yet. When everyone saw this situation, they couldn't help but feel very happy. This abominable couple was finally dealt with. After the captain had settled everything, he walked up to Yi Chen's family and said, "I'm so sorry for causing so much trouble to your family." At this time, Yi Chen's 3 children had been comforted and fell asleep in the arms of their family. Yi Chen stood up and said, "We have to thank the police comrades for showing up in time and taking care of this pair of evil guys." The neighbors all came out to thank the police captain, who smiled and said to everyone, "If you encounter difficulties in the future, remember to find us police officers. We still have things to deal with, so please go away first." It was not until they saw the captain's car driving away that the people around dispersed. Yi Chen also asked his family to take the babies home first. At this time, the captain of the security team sent by Bayadeli Security Company stood up and said to Yi Chen very respectfully, "Mr. Yi Chen, I'm sorry to scare you. I am the captain of the security team sent by Bayadeli Security Company. My last name is Wang Lin. From now on, I will be fully responsible for the safety of Mr. Yi's family." Yi Chen smiled calmly and said, "Very good, but I have to go home now. You should go back first." Captain Wang Lin bowed and said, "Yes, Mr. Yi Chen, the company has sent my contact information to your mobile phone. If you have any questions, you can contact me at any time." Chapter 117, This Reward is Awesome. Yi Chen still hasn't figured out what the Bayadeli Security Company rewarded by the system is used for. Therefore, he must first figure out what this company does and why it can get to him in such a short time. And all this happened so suddenly that Yi Chen was caught off guard. What he needed to do now was to find out the nature of the Bayadeli Security Company. So, in order to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, he asked his family and Captain Wang Lin to withdraw first. Is Bayadeli Security Company just a security company? Yi Chen found a bench on the roadside and sat down. Faced with a company name he had never heard of before, Yi Chen had no choice but to take out his mobile phone and open Baidu. When Yi Chen saw the content on the phone, he was so shocked that he suddenly jumped up from the bench. The above introduction to Bayadeli Security Company is also very detailed. Bayadeli is a large security, escort, and transportation company that integrates high technology and military management. The business of portable security is spread all over the world, and we have a presence in even remote countries. Therefore, Bayadeli Security Company also has a global information network, and current political affairs at home and abroad will be included in the information network as soon as possible. Therefore, Bayadeli also has the most complete investigation mechanism, and the state has also given a certain degree of support. Bayadeli also has many privileges in the country, so it can also investigate some information that other companies cannot investigate. The registered capital of Bayadeli Security Company is about 100 billion. Back home, the headquarters has more than 1,000 police elites who have retired from special forces, and all of these people have survived being shot at. In other words, Bayadeli Security Company dares to take orders that other security companies dare not take. Whether at home or abroad, as long as there is Bayadeli, even if you are a professional killer, you have to see if you have the ability to compete with Bayadeli. What Yi Chen values most is that the Bayadeli Security Company survives under the protection of the state and with the special rights granted by the state. This point has already created a world of difference between it and ordinary security companies. In addition, the most important thing is that not everyone with money can buy shares in this company. If you want to own shares in Bayadeli Security Company, then you must have a powerful system like Yi Chen. However, these news on Baidu really shocked Yi Chen. This Bayadeli Security Company is the most significant reward Yi Chen has ever received in such a long time. Yi Chen also believed that with the strength of Bayadeli Security Company, the information on Baidu was only one-sided news, and the strength within the company would definitely surprise everyone present. Today, Yi Chen has become the largest shareholder of Bayadeli Security Company. This identity is not just because of how rich he is, but this new identity represents that Yi Chen has a very unusual status in Xiangcheng, as well as in China and abroad. Compared with other wealthy people, Yi Chen's status is much higher. After all, everyone has money, but identity and social status cannot be bought with money. Just like now, Yi Chen owns a building worth tens of billions, or even tens of billions of shares. But he is just a nobody in Cheng or China. I never thought that just because I kicked those two vicious dogs, I could get such a powerful company. Brother system, I can still kick a few more times. However, what makes Yi Chen happy is that his family is protected by the Bayadeli Security Company and will definitely not be harmed by other people. And just now, because of the two big dogs, the system's special task was accidentally triggered. But as a father, Yi Chen had the responsibility to protect his family. Thinking of this, Yi Chen also called Wang Lin, the security captain assigned to him by Bayadeli Security Company. "Hello, Mr. Yi Chen, what can I do for you?" Yi Chen was also straightforward. "Are you protecting me and my family 24 hours a day?" Wang Lin, "Yes, Mr. Yi Chen, but we will be in the dark and will not disturb you and your family." Yi Chen, "Well, that's good." "It's nothing." Yi Chen just wanted to confirm it because he was really excited now. Wang Lin continued, "If Mr. Yi Chen encounters something that cannot be solved or wants to investigate someone, etc., you can call me and I will help you deal with it." Yi Chen couldn't help but be surprised, but in front of Wang Lin, he couldn't show too much surprise in his tone. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Okay." After hanging up the phone, Yi Chen was so happy that he couldn't describe it. After calming down outside, he slowly walked back home. Seeing Yi Chen coming back, Yi Ma and the others quickly surrounded him. Yi Chen also asked with concern, "Mom, Dad, Nana, are the three little ones okay? Are they not scared?" Mother Liu replied, "The eldest is better, but the little one was frightened. Girls are still a little timid, so we need to comfort them carefully. Now the aunties are taking the babies to sleep, so I don't think there will be any major problems." Liu Yina also stepped forward, gently took Yi Chen's hand, and pulled him to sit on the sofa on the side. Everyone also sat in a circle around Yi Chen. "Mother," Yi asked, "who were those people in black suits just now?" I was so busy taking care of the baby, just now, that I didn't have time to ask Yi Chen for clarification. Yi Chen smiled and said to Yi's mother, "That was the order I placed with the security company. This security company is pretty good. They arrived in a few minutes. They are quite efficient." Mother Yi finally understood. "Oh, so that's how it is. I didn't have time to ask you in detail just now. Why did you suddenly invite these people here?" Yi Chen, "Mom, you know there are bad people in today's society. We have 3 children with us. When they grow up, if we go to a park or a crowded public place, it would be better to hire a bodyguard or something to watch over us." Mother Yi seemed to have listened and nodded. "That's true. It would be dangerous if children ran around in the future." As soon as Yi Chen turned on his phone, the owner's group became lively. Mother Yi stared at Yi Chen's phone and said, "What's the matter? Why does it look like they are discussing what we just did?" Yi Chen, "Yes, everyone has sent the video they just took to the owner group." Mother Yi also quickly took out her mobile phone and started looking. Suddenly, Mr. Wang, the owner of room 708, building 14, came out and said something. Chapter 118, A True Man Loves His Wife and Children. At this time, Mr. Wang, the owner of room 708, building 14, came out and said something. My cousin is the captain's subordinate. I can ask him if the case has been solved." The group became even more lively now, with everyone urging him to ask. "What, your cousin is a policeman? Ask him to go check on the couple." "Yeah, this couple is really too arrogant. I've disliked them for a long time. What I hate most is that they keep their dogs without leashes. I am most afraid of dogs, especially large dogs like this." "What kind of dog is that? It looks pretty fierce to me." What? The tone of the group suddenly changed, and people started studying dogs. Yi Chen put his phone down, planning to wait and see what was going on. The most important thing now was to see his 3 little babies. When I got upstairs, Liu Yina was holding Xiaoguai and stroking him gently as he fell asleep. Yi Chen smiled tenderly at her, and Liu Yina also smiled at him. Yi Chen reached out and took the little darling from Liu Yina's hand and said softly, "You go and have a rest. Leave this to your husband." Liu Yina said softly, "Okay, Xiaoguai will suddenly wake up when she is sleeping. If she is startled, quickly grab her hand, otherwise she will be scared." Yi Chen smiled and said, "I know, honey, take a shower and have a rest." Liu Yina nodded and tiptoed out of the baby's room. Yi Chen also looked at his little darling with a distressed look on his face. "Don't be afraid, little darling, Daddy is here. Daddy kicked the big dog away. Don't be afraid. Bad guys will be punished. Don't be afraid, little darling. Daddy is here." Yi Chen said gently, holding the little darling in his arms and comforting him. Beep, the system is ringing. Congratulations to the host for completing the task of caring for the baby. The system rewards you 1 million. The phone vibrates, a message comes, and the money arrives. Yi Chen's mood didn't fluctuate much towards these things. As a father, he truly loves his children and will not intentionally contact them just because he can get rewards from the system. Yi Chen truly loves his children. He is not like other men who don't care about anything and just lie there playing with his cell phone. Love is mutual. Only a real man loves his wife and children. About half an hour later, Mother Liu came upstairs to replace Yi Chen. They both whispered in silence, and Mother Liu reached out her hand to take the child tacitly. And he said softly, "Chen, you have been busy all day today. Go and have a rest. Leave this to us. Young people have things to do, and this is all they can do to help." Yi Chen nodded and went back to his room. But he still had an important thing to do tonight, which was to spend some time designing nutritious meals for Liu Yina to help her recuperate. When I returned to the room, Liu Yina had already fallen asleep. Yi Chen moved gently and slowly closed the door. After taking a shower, I walked into the cloakroom, quietly closed the door, and used the gentle breeze to dry my hair. Sitting at the desk, Yi Chen took out his mobile phone and saw that it was already 10:30 in the evening. When I opened WeChat, I saw that there were more than 1,000 chat records in the owners' group. Yi Chen also opened it and took a look, and found that everyone was still talking about the dog couple. After the incident, the group owner kicked the couple out of the group immediately. This information is accompanied by pictures, and some of them are official news released by the police. At present, Liu Maoyang and Li Maomei have been sentenced to 5 days of administrative detention by Xiangcheng police for openly insulting others. Because the dogs they brought were not tied with leashes as required, and the dog-keeping licenses were not obtained as required, the dogs have been detained and fined 200 yuan in accordance with the law. Here is a reminder that openly insulting others is illegal, and the general public must strictly abide by the bottom line of the law and social morality. At the same time, pets should be kept in a proper way and comply with relevant regulations. When seeing this, Yi Chen also felt very happy. Looking at their photos in the police station, it seems that they have been educated clearly by the police. With such an arrogant and domineering attitude, he deserves a good education. After reading it, Yi Chen was in a very good mood. After putting his mobile phone aside, he took the notebook beside him, and based on his cooking knowledge, he tailored a nutritious meal for Liu Yina. After about 40 minutes, Yi Chen had already created a perfect nutritious meal. In addition to soups that nourish the body, there are also plans that will neither increase fat nor reduce fat, and there is also a plan to reduce fat slowly. Because he was afraid that his wife was too thin, the fat reduction plan he made for her was relatively slow. Once he found that her figure had almost recovered, he had to change it. Yi Chen looked at the plans that filled several pages with his own ideas, and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. "It's finally done. I'll show it to my aunt tomorrow morning." The instructions on how to cook it were clearly written above, so he didn't have to worry about these issues. Yi Chen stretched, lay back on the bed gently, glanced at Liu Yina's gentle face, smiled, then put his hand gently on her waist, closed his eyes, and prepared to sleep. The next morning, when Father Liu saw Yi Chen coming downstairs, he pulled Yi Chen and said, "Yi Chen, now that the store has been rented, I have to decorate it quickly." He wanted to open the store quickly as he didn't want to be in such a mess again. He had already trained a group of people to take over in his hometown. Now his main focus was on Xiangcheng. He would go wherever his daughter was, even if he had to close all the stores in his hometown. Yi Chen also knew that Father Liu was anxious, so he said, "Don't worry, my classmate is in the decoration business. He should be able to solve this problem." Father Liu was immediately relieved. "Okay, call your classmates right away. As you know, Nana's mother will complete the retirement procedures in a dozen days. My hometown has also settled the matter. Now there is only this matter left to do. This shop is not only mine, but also what I leave for Nana." Originally, he was thinking that after Liu Yina graduated from university, she would go back to her hometown to find a boyfriend and then stay there. However, all this was just his idea. Now he has made up his mind to develop in Xiangcheng. He wants to be his daughter's strongest support. Yi Chen smiled and said, Okay, I'll call my friend in a minute. Don't worry, I will definitely help you get this done." Picking up the phone, Yi Chen called his roommate Chen Xiaoan in front of Liu's father. Chapter 119, Preparing for Renovation. Yi Chen picked up his phone and prepared to call his college roommate, Mr. and Chen Xiaoan. That guy's family ran a decoration company in Xiangcheng, and they only had a small store. Not long after the call was made, Chen Xiaoan answered the call. Hey, Mr. Yi, what's up? You don't have to be with your wife and children, but you still have time to call me. Yi Chen also laughed. Can't I chat with you if I have nothing to do? Chen Zion, you are such a rare guest. You haven't said anything in the group for the past few months, but now you've called me. Do you think there's something fishy going on? Yi Chen coughed twice and admitted that he had been busy taking care of his wife and children for the past few months and really had no time to take care of other things. He quickly changed the subject. Did you get your diploma? Are you worrying about others here? Chen Zion, you can get the certificate after you take the exam. Everyone is very busy now. With my grades, I can definitely get it. At that time, there was a book called English Level 4 Pass in front of Chen Zion, but it had not been opened yet. Yi Chen smiled teasingly. Come on, haven't you always wanted to go home and inherit the family business? I really have something I want to ask you. Chen Zion, the word inheriting the family business doesn't apply to me, but have you returned home to inherit the family business? Do you have any plans to make a fortune that you can help me with? Yi Chen smiled and said, It's not my business, it's my wife's business. My father-in-law wants to open a restaurant in Xiangcheng. He found a store yesterday which is over at Huacheng building. Now all that's left is the decoration. Isn't your family in the decoration business? See if you can take it over. Chen Zion stood up directly from the chair. What? Renovation of a restaurant? Answer it, why don't you answer it? I answered it on behalf of my dad. Yi Chen smiled and said, Don't agree so quickly. Our restaurant has more than 2,000 square meters. Are you sure you can take it? Chen Zion was so shocked. He originally thought that this restaurant was only 300 or 400 square meters, but unexpectedly, it was more than 2,000 square meters. Oh my God, you are so lucky. You married a beautiful, rich woman. Although your family is rich, but with Liu Yina's family, you too won't have to struggle for the rest of your life. Chen Zion's tone was full of envy. Yi Chen just laughed. As the saying goes, starting a business is hard and keeping it is even harder. Now we have a restaurant, but the management method and so on, neither Liu Yina nor I know how to run it, so it's really hard to keep the family business. Chen Zion felt that Yi Chen was thinking too much. Don't think so far ahead. If the property they leave behind is enough for you to live on for several lifetimes. Yi Chen just smiled and shook his head and asked, Let's not talk about these, you should ask your family first. If there is any good news, I will think of you first. Chen Zion exhaled. Okay, then I'll call my dad first. Although his family is in the decoration business, he still has to ask his father about this project. If there is a project going on now, there will definitely be no one to do Yi Chen's order. Yi Chen, okay, I'll wait for your call. After the two hung up the phone, Yi Chen turned to Liu's father and said, Dad, my friend will let me know later. Father Liu nodded. Okay, let's have breakfast first. A few minutes later, Chen Zion called. Chen Zion asked excitedly, My dad's engineering team has no work recently, and he said you can take it. Do you want to go out for dinner or something and chat? Yi Chen said, No, just go directly to your company. Father Liu said, Yes, we'll discuss the details when we meet. So the two parties agreed to meet at Chen Zion's father's company at 10:30 in the morning. Yi Chen first gave the nutritious meal he had prepared last night to Aunt Zhang, and personally made the first nutritious meal for Liu Yina. When we finished, it was already 10 o'clock. When we brought it to the room, Liu Yina had just gotten up. Yi Chen put the nutritious meal aside and said to Liu Yina, From now on, your daily meals will be carefully designed by your husband for you, and the portions will be sufficient to make sure you are full. You won't get fat even if you eat a lot. Just eat with confidence. At this moment, the system rang. Beep, the host cares about his wife, and is rewarded with 100,000 yuan. Yi Chen was already accustomed to this, and didn't even look at his phone. Liu Yina also smiled happily. Thank you, husband. Hurry up and eat. I'm going to take Dad to check out the restaurant's decoration issues today, Yi Chen said. Well, you go first, I will eat, Liu Yina urged. After Yi Chen left, Liu Yina was delighted when she saw the nutritious meal that Yi Chen had personally prepared for her. Yi Chen drove Liu's father to Chen Zion's family's decoration company, Yixing Decoration. When Chen Zion was waiting for Yi Chen at the door, a Mercedes-Benz AMG GT suddenly drove in front of the door. I was shocked at that time, and when he saw that the person who got off the car was Yi Chen, his eyes almost popped out. Chen Zion immediately rushed to Yi Chen's side, and then looked at Yi Chen's car again and again. Oh my God, you really made a fortune. Seeing that Yi Chen was driving such a nice car as the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT, he was so envious. Yi Chen also smiled. This is Ine's father, his surname is Liu. Then he said to Mr. Liu, "This is my classmate, Chen Zion." Chen Zion immediately regained his serious demeanor. "Hey, Mr. Liu, hello." Father Liu smiled and said, "Hello, classmate Chen Zion." Chen Zion quickly led the way for them. "Let's go up first. My dad just took the workers to work. I think he will be back soon. It's the first time for the workers to go there. They don't know the way, so we just lead them." Naturally, Chen Zion did not dare to neglect Yi Chen and the others. He quickly took them to the tea room, poured the tea that had been brewed in advance again, and poured a cup for Yi Chen and Liu's father, respectively. Chen Zion also chatted with Yi Chen and Liu's father about family matters. About 10 minutes later, Chen Zion's father, Chen Yixing, came back. The first thing he did when he came back was to keep apologizing. "I'm so sorry. I kept you waiting for so long. Those two workers didn't know the way, so I drove them there." Father Liu quickly said, "It's okay. Your son has received us. Let's sit down and talk slowly." Chen Zion quickly poured a cup of tea for his father. Chen Yixing quickly introduced himself to everyone. "I am Chen Zion's father, Chen Yixing, and I am also the owner of this store. Zion has also talked to me. I guess you are Zion's classmate, Yi Chen, and this is Mr. Liu." Yi Chen, "Yes, hello." Father Liu, "Hello, hello." After both parties have introduced themselves, it's time to get down to business. Chapter 120, Having a Child Brings About a Bond. Chen Yixing said very sincerely, "Yi Chen, you and uncle have met several times, and you have been to my house several times. I am very grateful that you believe in me. Thank you so much." Yi Chen said, "It's nothing. If there is a good thing, you will definitely think of your own people first, right? Now my wife's father wants to open a restaurant here, so I will help him. I don't know how to do it specifically." Father Liu also pulled out a stack of documents from his bag, which contained some photos. "These are some of the very distinctive decorations of our restaurant. We have kept them. Other details are all in these documents. You still have to go to the site to survey and measure the specific dimensions. I also trust Yi Chen and you, so I gave this project to you, and it must be completed within 2 months. Do you think it's okay?" Chen Zion also looked at his father expectantly. Chen Yixing immediately said, "That's not a problem. My store hasn't had many orders recently. If I accept your order, my entire team will only work on this order. I guarantee that it will be completed within 2 months." "Then what is the cost of this renovation?" Yi Chen asked tentatively. Chen Yixing, "Generally, for renovations, a deposit is paid first, and then the balance is paid after the work is completed." Yi Chen asked, "How much is the deposit you are giving?" Chen Yixing thought for a moment and said, "Your land of more than 2,000 square meters, the renovation cost should be more than 1 million yuan, conservatively estimated." Yi Chen immediately said, "Okay, I'll give you a 1 million advance and I'll give you the rest when the time comes." Chen Yixing quickly said, "Okay, sign the contract today and start working tomorrow." Father Liu nodded, then signed the contract. The two parties quickly reached an agreement and signed the contract. Yi Chen paid the 1 million deposit directly. Mr. Liu wanted to pay it himself, but in the end he couldn't stand Yi Chen. Father Liu asked Chen Yixing, "Can I go to the construction site every day to check it out? Will this not interfere with your work?" Chen Yixing waved his hands quickly. "No, no, feel free to come. We welcome you to supervise us." Father Liu said, "That's good." In the end, Chen Zion and Chen Yixing together escorted Yi Chen and Liu's father out of the store. The decoration project has finally come to an end, and all we need to do now is to supervise its implementation well. The follow-up matters are really busy. There is an opening ceremony and how to run a restaurant. There are a lot of things to learn. How could Yi Chen let his wife's father be so upset? Now that his focus is back in Cheng, it's good. At first, my idea of using job hunting to trigger special tasks was really naive. But now everything that happened is really unexpected. However, it is really great for Yi Chen that he can now be rich and stay with his wife and children, and stay with his family. Running my father-in-law's restaurant can also be considered a career. Next, he is going to challenge it. Learn from your father-in-law how to run a restaurant. If you join in, Liu Yina won't have to work so hard in the future. After Yi Chen and Liu's father finished their business, they drove back home. When I got home, my family was already preparing lunch. Father Liu went straight to the bedroom, planning to change into comfortable casual clothes before playing with the child. Mother Yi and Mother Liu were both in the baby's room playing with their 3 little grandchildren. Liu Yina was already busy in the kitchen at this time. She was making lunch for Yi Chen. Yi Chen also saw Liu Yina and suddenly smiled mischievously. He walked quietly behind Liu Yina and leaned close to her ear. Liu Yina noticed something strange and quickly turned her head towards the direction of the noise, just in time to kiss Yi Chen on the lips. Yi Chen called out softly, "Hey, if you want to kiss your husband, just say it." Then he pecked Liu Yina lightly on the face. Liu Yina blushed and whispered, "You didn't even call me when I came back." Having tasted the sweetness, Yi Chen laughed. "I saw you cooking so seriously, so I didn't want to disturb you." Liu Yina pushed Yi Chen with her elbow, sweet mouth and slippery tongue. Yi Chen also smiled and said, "You are my wife. If I don't speak sweetly to you, who else can I speak sweetly to?" Looking at the delicious food Liu Yina was making, Yi Chen couldn't help but ask, "Wife, what are you cooking? It smells so good, my stomach is growling." Liu Yina smiled and said, "This is just a home-cooked dish, pork ribs in black bean sauce." Yi Chen praised, "It smells so good, it must be delicious." Liu Yina said proudly, "That's a must." Yi Chen also praised, "Wow, my wife is so virtuous." He then took the opportunity to kiss Liu Yina on the face. Liu Yina said to him coquettishly, "In public. By the way, how did things go with Dad today?" Yi Chen immediately said, "Don't worry, my wife, everything is done." Liu Yina suddenly changed her tone and asked seriously, "Husband, if my father's restaurant opens successfully in Xiangcheng, then I may take over his restaurant. At that time, are you willing to help me?" Yi Chen also answered very seriously, "Wife, from now on your affairs are your husband's affairs, so you can rest assured and leave it to me. If you don't like being in the restaurant, your husband will take your place and help you manage the restaurant, so you don't have to worry about this problem." After hearing Yi Chen's affirmative answer, Liu Yina felt much better. "Hubby, thank you. I am the only daughter of my parents, so they have high expectations of me. I'm also worried that I will not do well and make them sad. Now that you encourage and help me, I am really happy and relieved. Thank you, husband." "Silly girl, never say thank you to your husband again." Yi Chen hugged Liu Yina from behind. Liu Yina struggled slightly. "What are you doing? It would be so embarrassing if someone saw us." Yi Chen didn't want to let go of Liu Yina. "No one is here now. Everyone is upstairs looking after the children." Liu Yina quickly broke free from Yi Chen. "Aunt Zhang will be coming down soon, let go." Yi Chen also felt aggrieved. "I now feel that it is not good for a group of people to live together. There is no world for two of us at all." Liu Yina glared at Yi Chen and picked up the dishes. "There's nothing we can do about it. Let's quickly call our parents down to eat." In fact, Liu Yina also thought so in her heart. They got married and had children directly without any dating, so she hoped to have some personal space and more time to be alone to enhance their relationship. But now the two of them have not gone through the stage of love, and they live together as a whole family. They dare not be too intimate in their chats and actions. They only have their private space in the room, which is indeed quite aggrieved. However, they have no choice now, because with 3 babies they have formed a bond. Chapter 121, Hurry up and give me a grandson. After dinner, Mother Yi called everyone together for a small family meeting. "I asked Master to give Yi Chen and Nana a date. It's set on August 25th. There are still about 2 months from now it should be ready. Does anyone have any objection?" Everyone agreed without objection and raised their hands in approval. After the wedding, Yi Chen and Liu Yina had to go back to school, but fortunately the second semester of their senior year was not busy, so as long as they passed the exams, there would generally be no problem. "Then when are we going to Nana's house and take the child back to meet his parents? The child is not even 2 months old yet." Father Yi thought about it and finally said it. Mother Yi took out her phone and checked the time. "Then let's do it around August 15th. The baby will be almost 3 months old by then, so it should be fine." Yi Chen also nodded. "This is also possible." Mother Yi looked at everyone and said slowly, "When the time comes, our family will go to Nana's house to propose marriage. I have also prepared gifts and will invite a few relatives to go together. Do you think this is okay?" Father Liu said at this time, "My mother's birthday is on August 18th. I originally wanted to take Yi Chen and Nana back with me. Since my in-laws decided to go back on August 15th, I think we should be able to celebrate my mother's birthday there before going back." Mother Yi was also very surprised. "Oh, I didn't know either. If that's the case, then let's set this day. Let's hold Yi Chen and Nana's engagement party at the woman's house, and then hold the wedding at the man's house. That's good too. When the time comes, I'll have to ask some people from my parents' side to come, so that it will be more lively. As for the woman's side, I'll have to trouble my in-laws to make the arrangements." Mother Liu was also very happy. "Don't worry, we will take care of it. Just come and we will make all the arrangements for you." Mother Yi, Father Yi, and Yi Chen all nodded. Although Liu Yina gave birth to a child for their family, they still had to follow the proper etiquette for the wedding. They couldn't let people think that they got married without even having a wedding, as this would make others look down on Liu Yina. In their Yi family, such a thing would never be allowed to happen. If they were to do something, they would do it in a big way and do it beautifully. We need to let others know that the daughter-in-law of the Yi family is their golden nugget. She is very precious. Yi Chen's mother has been busy with these matters these days, and has also talked with relatives from the Yi family and her mother's family. Several uncles from the Yi family have come, and several uncles and aunts from her mother's family have also said they would come, and they all have cars. We originally wanted to take the train, but because the child is young, if he cries on the train, it would probably cause unnecessary trouble. So we had a family meeting and decided to drive. From Xiangcheng to Yuncheng, if there is no traffic jam, it will take no more than 3 hours if you drive slowly, and 2.5 hours if you drive fast. So it is not too far, and it is also more convenient if you have a RV at home. And just like that, the marriage was settled. Dad Liu has been running to his store every day these days, while Mom Liu has returned to Yuncheng to discuss things with their relatives there. Yi's father and mother also started to busy themselves with inviting relatives, and they went out for a meal with them to discuss Yi Chen's marriage. Yi Chen and Liu Yina also went with their children. However, these matters were left to the parents, because Yi Chen didn't understand these customs. That night after dinner, Yi Chen's second uncle Yi Zhengmin went home and directly drove Yi Chen's cousin Yi Hui out, and said, "Don't live at home anymore." Yi Hui was shocked. "Dad, I haven't done anything wrong recently. Why are you kicking me out?" "Yi Zhengmin, I will give you 20,000 yuan pocket money every month, and you can rent a house by yourself. Hurry up and find me a daughter-in-law. I also want to hold my grandchildren." Marvin Yi couldn't help but laugh. He said, "You can give me the money, but I won't have a daughter-in-law. Anyway, I still want to play for 2 more years." Yi Hui tried not to laugh. "Dad, I've never seen you so generous in my life. How can you just get a daughter-in-law like that?" Yi Zhengmin was also very angry. "You haven't seen your cousin Yi Chen. He even has a wife and children. Your cousin hasn't even graduated from college yet, but he already has 3 children. Your uncle got 3 grandchildren at once. Why don't you learn from others? You don't have triplets, but you can at least give me one to hug. I watch the videos your uncle posts in the group chat every day. When I see his 3 cute little grandchildren and your carefree look, I get angry. Yi Hui, just do it if you want. Your son don't even have a girlfriend." Yi Zhengmin was also very angry. "Then go find one, otherwise go on a blind date. Dad will raise the baby for you, just give birth to the baby." Yi Hui was helpless. "Dad, now it's not a matter of whether to have a baby or not. There has to be a woman willing to have a baby for me. You see, chasing women doesn't cost money, right? Just buy a brand name bag and a ring and tens of thousands of dollars will be gone. You give me 20,000 yuan. I use it to pay the rent and 3 meals a day. How much will be left? It's not enough to buy a girl a better bag. If you chase someone, you don't have to support her, right? Do you treat her as grass after you chase her? Do you have to give her a surprise from time to time? Don't girls nowadays like romance, like traveling and so on? Are you with you just for a day trip to Xiangcheng?" Yi Zhengmin also spent a lot of money. "Okay, I'll give you 100,000 a month for the next 6 months. If you don't find me a girlfriend, I'll break your legs." Yi Hui couldn't stop laughing in his heart. From 10,000 yuan of pocket money a month, it directly increased to 100,000 yuan. Now you have your favorite game console. Just thinking about it makes me so happy. Brother, you are awesome. After half a year, he would just find a woman to pretend to be his girlfriend or something, and his father might give him some pocket money every month. Then, after a few months, they would pretend to break up or something. When Yi Hui thought of this, he had made clear arrangements for his father in his mind. Yi Chen's second uncle, Yi Zhengmin, is also a businessman, but his business is not as big as Yi Chen's father's. He still has a fortune of several hundred million, so he can still give Yi Chen's cousin 100,000 a month. Yi Hui also understood this, so he thought of getting some money from his father to spend. Chapter 122, Eating a Big Meal with Good Sisters. Liu Yina was a little worried about Gu Yingying because she hadn't heard from her recently. She had been busy with her own things and had no time to send her messages. So Liu Yina asked Gu Yingying directly, "Yingying, there has been no news recently. What are you busy with?" Gu Yingying quickly replied, "Nana, sister, I need to make a living. I don't have a good husband like you to support you. If I don't work for a day, I feel like I'm going to starve to death." Liu Yina looked at the message on her phone and burst out laughing. "Isn't your family in business? Why don't you go back to help your family?" Gu Yingying quickly sent a message back. "My dad said that he would let me go out to hone my skills. I also want to make a name for myself without relying on my family. but this is really too difficult. Like Liu Yina, Gu Yingying is from the Department of Fine Arts. Fortunately, Gu Yingying also took a design course as a minor, so she is very familiar with design software. She currently works in a design company. Gu Yingying's complaints came quickly. Let me tell you, our boss is really perverted. He takes away your phone during work hours, and you can only get your phone back after get off work. I can't even watch a video or reply to a message. It's so depressing. I really don't want to do this anymore, but this job pays more than 20,000 yuan, so I think I can bear it. I'm working at Damingfa now, so I live here. For convenience, I rented an apartment here. It costs 5,000 to 6,000 yuan for just 30 square meters. If I change to another job, I'll probably make a little over 10,000 yuan a month. After rent, I'll have a few thousand yuan left, which is not enough for food. Liu Yina looked at the bunch of complaints from her friend, but she knew that Liu Yina was now at Daming's place, so she asked, "Where are you now?" "Gu Yingying, Damingfa, what's wrong?" Liu Yina remembered that she hadn't had her skin repaired for a few days, so she thought of going there to find her best friend to do some beauty and repair work together. "Are you free now? I'll come find you and we can go get a beauty treatment together." 1 second after the message was sent, Gu Yingying sent a reply. Okay. You don't know, I've been busy with work lately, and I only have 2 or 3 days off a month. If I have to work overtime, I really won't even have a day off. For the past 2 months, I have fallen asleep as soon as I got home from work. I don't even have time to take care of my skin. I am so exhausted. By the way, is there anyone doing massage over there? I really want to have a full body massage. Liu Yina looked at her phone and smiled. Yes. If you go, I can give you a full body beauty treatment. Gu Yingying. Okay, come quickly, I'll be waiting for you at Damingfa. Liu Yina. Well, see you at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Gu Yingying. Honey, how about we go out for dinner? It's a rare day for me to have a day off. Please treat me to a nice meal. She originally planned to have lunch at home before going out. After all, Yi Chen prepared a nutritious meal for her. Liu Yina. I need to ask my husband first. Gu Yingying. Liu Yina, you have changed. Have you become a husband's slave? You even have to ask your husband for something as trivial as going out to eat. Liu Yina explained. No, that's because he prepared a series of nutritious meals for me, saying they were to nourish my body, so I had to ask him. Gu Yingying rolled her eyes at Liu Yina. In fact, she is quite envious of Liu Yina. Now she has a husband and children, and her parents-in-law are so nice. The most important thing is that both her husband's family and her parents' family are very powerful and rich. She is really a winner in life. Although her family is somewhat wealthy, she still has to earn money to support herself. She doesn't know when this kind of life will end. She really wants to go back to the previous life where she doesn't have to worry about money. As expected, I lost my freedom as soon as I graduated, and now I have no control over my job. At this moment, she immediately put away her painful mood, quickly got up, washed her face, and prepared to go on a date with Liu Yina. Liu Yina also found Yi Chen, who was playing with the child at this time. Husband, come here for a moment, I have something to tell you. Yi Chen let Liu Yina pull him into the room and left the child in the care of the aunts. When Liu Yina pulled Yi Chen into the room, she whispered to Yi Chen, Husband, I have an appointment with Yingying to have lunch today. Can I not eat at home at noon? Seeing her shy look, Yi Chen couldn't help wanting to tease her. If you kiss me, I will agree to you, Yi Chen said with a smile. Liu Yina blushed, stood on tiptoe, and kissed Yi Chen on the face. Yi Chen locked the door with his backhand, picked up Liu Yina and kissed her directly. After a full meal, Yi Chen licked his lips and said cunningly, The food outside is very greasy. I don't know what kind of oil they use to cook the dishes, so you must do enough exercise. After I come back from eating today, I have to do some exercise. Liu Yina exclaimed, No, you big pervert. Yi Chen was playing dirty. I'm only lustful towards my wife, not towards others. Liu Yina couldn't argue with him, so she walked straight into the cloakroom and didn't want to pay any more attention to Yi Chen. Yi Chen also asked with a smile, Wife, do you want me to drive you? I'm free in the afternoon. Liu Yina replied loudly inside. No, Yingying and I will go for beauty treatments after dinner. It's not appropriate for you to listen to our conversation between girls, right? Yi Chen smiled and said, Okay, just have fun. If you encounter any problems, remember to call your husband. Liu Yina replied, I know, husband. After Liu Yina changed her clothes, she quickly called Gu Yingying and said, I'm ready to go out. Please wait for me at the main entrance of Damingfa. Gu Yingying, I've been prepared for a long time. I knew Yi Chen wasn't the kind of person who would hold you hostage. Liu Yina couldn't help but hum in her heart, I fought for this opportunity. After meeting her little sisters, Gu Yingying immediately took Liu Yina to have hot pot. After Liu Yina sat down, she whispered, "You know, I'm breastfeeding and can't eat spicy food." Gu Yingying took the menu and said, "Don't worry, we have a shabu-shabu hot pot here. I'll order the spicy one and you can have the traditional hot pot soup." Liu Yina nodded. After a while, Gu Yingying ordered more than 20 dishes, and they were served. There was no more room on the table, so the store provided them with 2 carts to hold all the food. Liu Yina looked at her friend in front of her, seeming a little bit unbelieving. "Dear, even if I'm the one treating you today, you don't have to be so aggressive, right? There are only 2 of us." As she said that, she spread her hands and looked at the things that Gu Yingying ordered. "Why did you order so much? Can we finish it?" Gu Yingying also cried and said, "I can't support myself after working. I dare not buy anything. I have to save money even on food. Although my salary is a little over 20,000 yuan now, I have to pay 6,000 yuan for rent. I dare not go to the beauty salon once a month. I miss the old days so much." Chapter 123, Nana is depressed. Listening to her good sister's various complaints, Liu Yina also found it funny. "You thought I had no worries, but all my worries come from my children." Gu Yingying also felt a little confused. In her eyes, anything that can be solved with money is not a problem. Moreover, Liu Yina's family already has 3 aunts helping to take care of the children. They don't have to do anything. Is there still any trouble? Liu Yina also sighed. "It may also be because this is my first time as a mother, and I am still too nervous about the child." Seeing her friend so depressed, Gu Yingying couldn't help but frowned. "Are you suffering from postpartum depression? Don't be. You have such a good husband, such a good baby, and such good parents-in-law and parents. Yi Chen listens to you in everything, and the child is growing up slowly now. What else do you have to worry about? I don't know how much I envy you." Liu Yina lowered her head and said, "You have never given birth, so you don't understand. I also know that this situation is probably postpartum depression, but the symptoms are not very serious. I just think I am a little too nervous about the child, and my hair loss is too severe." Seeing her friend become like this, Gu Yingying couldn't help but take out her cell phone and ask Beidou. Postpartum depression may be caused by the precipitous drop in hormone levels after giving birth. "Nana, I think you should get out more often. Are you still breastfeeding?" Liu Yina nodded. "Then do you want to try to stop breastfeeding?" Gu Yingying asked. Liu Yina was very resistant. "No, I don't want to stop breastfeeding, because I think only when I'm breastfeeding can I feel like a mother." Gu Yingying didn't dare to say anything. "Then don't stop breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is also good for the baby." How could she come up with such a stupid idea to ask Liu Yina to stop breastfeeding? You know, Liu Yina has just given birth to a child, so she is naturally most concerned about the child and is also nervous about the baby. Naturally, she can't talk about weaning or anything like that. Although Gu Yingying also couldn't understand it. Liu Yina had everything she wanted and lacked nothing. So why would she suffer from depression despite such favorable conditions? If there were other women who didn't have the same conditions as Liu Yina, or if they had a bad relationship with their parents-in-law or a bad husband, then I really couldn't imagine what it would be like. When Gu Yingying thought about this, she couldn't help but start to worry about Liu Yina. The only thing I can do now is to comfort her and tell her to relax and not be so nervous. Gu Yingying quickly comforted her friend. "Don't be too nervous now, just do whatever you like. If you feel unhappy, remember to talk to Yi Chen or talk to me. Don't suppress it in your heart, okay?" Liu Yina nodded and then began to tell Gu Yingying while eating. "Last time my child was frightened by 2 big dogs, and I was also frightened by the child, because after the child came home, he made a fuss for a few days before he got better. The eldest and second babies were better, but the little one was really scared. He had to be held in the arms when he slept day and night. I couldn't sleep for a few days because I was worried that something might happen. Although my mother-in-law and the aunts said that it was normal for babies to be frightened, I was still very worried." As he spoke, tears welled up in his eyes, and he seemed about to cry. Gu Yingying quickly patted Liu Yina on the back and comforted her. "Cry, it will feel better. How about we go to the private room and eat slowly? This way you can cry without worrying about other people's strange looks." Liu Yina also nodded. The 2 called the waiter and changed to a private room. About an hour and a half passed as they ate and talked to each other. Liu Yina then said to Gu Yingying, "Yingying, I feel much better after talking to you. I have to hang out with you more often in the future." Gu Yingying laughed. "Of course, I'll wait for your next big meal." After eating hot pot, the 2 went to the beauty salon for beauty treatments together. "Nana, I haven't had a beauty treatment in a long time. My face is all cracked." Gu Yingying lay flat and let the beautician massage her, while she shouted comfortably to Liu Yina, who was standing beside her. Liu Yina said, "Then you can come often in the future." Gu Yingying said, "Well, it's work demand. For the purpose of inspection, I have to wait for half a month before I can get a permanent job. However, even if I get a permanent job, I don't have so much money to spend here." When she was studying, the money her family gave her was about the same as what she earned, but at least she didn't have to pay rent, and the food at school wasn't expensive. Now that she's working, everything feels half as expensive, so she doesn't have that much spare money, so maybe once a month is fine. After all, it's cheaper here, at least 1 or 2,000 yuan less. Liu Yina turned to the staff and asked, "Hello, I would like to ask, can you let good friends come to consume here? I want my good sister to use my card, is that okay?" The staff member immediately replied politely, "Mrs. Yi, this is no problem. We can issue a girlfriend card here. Even in a situation like yours, you can set a limit." Liu Yina quickly said to the staff, "Then get me a ticket with no limit and let this lady spend money." The staff nodded. "After Mrs. Yi and Miss Gu have their cosmetic procedures completed, please go to the front desk and I will greet them. You can just fill in the information directly." Liu Yina, "Yeah, okay." Gu Yingying on the side exclaimed, "Ah, Nana, you are really good sisters, sharing happiness together." Seeing her best friend laughing so happily, Liu Yina also became happy. "Then if you have time in the future, you can also do beauty treatments yourself." Gu Yingying said excitedly, "Okay, Nana, I really love you." Liu Yina looked at Gu Yingying, who was so excited, and she also laughed happily, as if her depressed mood had improved a lot. Originally, Liu Yina wanted to send Gu Yingying back, but Gu Yingying said that she was nearby, so she drove away. After Liu Yina left, Gu Yingying sent a WeChat message to Yi Chen. "Yi Chen, Nana seems to be depressed. You should pay more attention to her and see if there is anything wrong with her." Yi Chen received the message very quickly. When he opened it, he felt terrible. Yi Chen quickly asked, "What did she tell you? Why is she depressed?" Gu Yingying also replied quickly. "She just said that she was too nervous about the child. It would be better if you asked her to relax a little." Yi Chen was also lost in thought as he looked at the message on his phone. At home, both himself and others obeyed her in everything. Yi Chen originally thought that she would not have such a problem, but unexpectedly, the problem he was most worried about still happened. However, this is Liu Yina's first time being a mother after all, so it is understandable that she is nervous about her child. Yi Chen quickly searched for information online and combined it with what he had learned before about postpartum care for mothers, etc., to prepare a response plan. Chapter 124, Yi Chen's Self-Blame. Yi Chen was also thinking about the reasons why Liu Yina might have suffered from postpartum depression recently. Apart from the last time when the child was frightened by a dog and Liu Yina acted a little nervous, Yi Chen really couldn't figure out why she suddenly became depressed. "Maybe I really don't care enough about her. I must pay more attention to my wife in the future." On the other hand, after Gu Yingying said goodbye to Liu Yina, she went straight home. Although it was a rare day of rest, she just wanted to stay at home, watching TV series and videos, and didn't want to go out. When she opened her phone, someone in the college student mutual aid group suddenly sent a message. "Who has time to play the role of my girlfriend? You don't have to do anything and I'll pay you well." Originally, many people in this group were just chatting, but today someone came to play the boyfriend. So Gu Yingying opened it and took a look. When Gu Yingying saw that avatar, oh my god, quite handsome, Gu Yingying clicked to add a friend without even thinking. This way, Liu Yina also drove back to her home at this time. After parking the car, she found that Yi Chen was already waiting for her in front of the gate. The first time Yi Chen saw Liu Yina, he went straight up and hugged her. "Nana, I'm sorry, I didn't care about you enough. Gu Yingying has already told me about you. Remember, if you have anything unhappy in the future, tell me. Don't keep it in your heart, okay?" Because Yi Chen was afraid that everyone would worry, he did not tell everyone that Liu Yina was suffering from mild depression. Liu Yina buried her head in Yi Chen's arms. "Well, I understand, husband." The two walked into the house together. When they reached the upstairs, Aunt Zhang said to Yi Chen, "Chen, Dabao seems to have not defecated for a week. We have done all kinds of massages and exhaust, but he just won't defecate. What's going on?" Aunt Chen said, "Babies these 2 or 3 months old sometimes have constipation, but it's also because they get a little irritated from eating milk powder. I think they should be fed some 7-star tea or probiotics. Generally, this will regulate the intestines and help the baby to have a bowel movement." Liu Yina also seemed a little nervous. "Is this really okay? I checked online before and it said that I could use a suppository to help him defecate first, otherwise his poop would become lumpy." Aunt Chen, "Well, that's fine, but you should still eat some of these 7-star teas, which contain probiotics." Children tend to get angry easily if they eat milk powder. Liu Yina said to Yi Chen. Yi Chen, hurry up and buy some enema and those probiotic 7-star teas. I haven't had a bowel movement for a week. I'm really worried. Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina, and then remembered what Gu Yingying said about being too nervous about the child. So he said to her softly, Nana, don't worry, I will buy these things. The child can eat and sleep well now. Maybe he is saving his stomach, as Aunt Chen said, so you just need to relax now. Liu Yina took a deep breath and said, I don't understand either. I just know that adults feel very uncomfortable if they don't go to the toilet for a few days, let alone children. Yi Chen said carefully, adults are different from children. Adults eat carbohydrates and fiber while children only drink milk. After absorbing the nutrients, they probably don't urinate twice. Now that the child can eat and sleep, he is so healthy, there is no need to worry so much, understand. Liu Yina thought about it, and it seemed true. A child drinks milk every day, so how could he excrete anything? Aunt Chen also said at this time, yes, if it is really a way to save stomach, it proves that the child is also absorbing well. At this time, Yi Chen also called the salesperson of June 1st baby. Hello, Mr. Yi. The salesperson on the other end answered the phone quickly. Yi Chen, excuse me, do you have 7-star tea, probiotics, and enema? Female salesperson, yes, do you want it now? Yi Chen, yes, can you send it now? Female salesperson, sure, Mr. Yi. Yi Chen turned around and asked Aunt Chen. Aunt Chen, how many boxes of milk powder are left? Aunt Chen, there's another box. Yi Chen, hey, according to the old rules here, I need a few boxes of milk powder and milk calcium. The saleswoman had delivered goods with Yi Chen many times, so she was familiar with him. Okay, Mr. Yi, it will be delivered in 20 minutes. Please pay attention to the phone. After Yi Chen finished the call, he took Liu Yina's hand and asked, it will be delivered soon, you don't have to worry. Liu Yina's eyes reddened and she nodded. Although she knew that Yi Chen liked her, she didn't expect that Yi Chen was such a considerate person and took such good care of her little emotions. Suddenly, Dabao suddenly burst into tears, and then he looked like he was taking a shit. His face turned red, his eyes widened, and his mouth was pursed as if he was trying hard. Aunt Chen was massaging the baby. She sniffed the baby's diaper and immediately said excitedly, look, the baby is pooping. Yi Chen, Liu Yina, and others also became excited. Looking at Liu Yina, Yi Chen said, wife, see, I told you not to be nervous, you can do it yourself now. Liu Yina nodded heavily. Yes, it's good that he pooped. I was worried that if the baby used too many suppositories, he wouldn't be able to poop on his own. I searched for it before and was scared, so I was very worried. Yi Chen patted her on the back and said, silly, it's okay to use it once or twice. You are really too nervous, kid. Don't worry, we will take care of everything. Yi Chen gently hugged Liu Yina in front of everyone, and Liu Yina's face turned red instantly. Aunt Chen and the others also smiled knowingly. Aunt Chen also said, in the past few days, I have also fed Dabao more water. The same goes for Erbao and Zioaguegui, because the weather is getting hotter and hotter, and babies are prone to getting angry due to lack of water. Yi Chen, thank you, Aunt Chen. Yi Chen thought to himself, fortunately there is an experienced nanny like Aunt Chen here to look after the children. It turned out that he made the right decision to hire the right person. After being counseled by Yi Chen and Gu Yingying, Liu Yina's emotions eased somewhat. However, raising children is never worry-free. Now she is a little depressed because of being overly nervous about her children. In the future, she should try not to be too nervous. All problems can be solved. However, after the vicious dog incident, Yi Chen was determined to move to a big villa as soon as possible. Because there is a garden of several hundred square meters, there is no need to worry about vicious dogs running in, and it is much more convenient to take a walk. If the baby grows up and runs around, it will be very dangerous here. Although there are green areas and places for children to play, Yi Chen feels that his own yard is safer, and he will build more entertainment facilities for children in the future. Chapter 125, Enlightening My Wife. Yi Chen looked at Dabao, who was pooping hard, and quickly walked over to cheer him up. Come on, baby. Baby, push harder. Get all the poop out that you haven't had these days. Aunt Chen and Aunt Zhang were also there to cheer for Dabao, and Erbao and Zioaguegui seemed to know that their big brother was pooping, and the two little kids were babbling there, as if they were cheering for their big brother. Liu Yina saw how funny everyone was, then looked at her own children and burst out laughing. Yi Chen was even happier when he saw that Liu Yina's frown had finally relaxed, and he raised his voice as well. Suddenly, a stinky fart sounded with a poof sound. It's coming out. Aunt Chen saw that Dabao's shit had already spurted out and his entire back was covered with shit. I couldn't help but cover my nose. Dabao, you. Don't believe any of that shit, Yi Chen chuckled. Let Daddy see how much shit you, a stinky boy, have accumulated in a week. You made your mom worry about you so much. Liu Yina also laughed and walked to Yi Chen's side, wanting to take a look. Aunt Chen said, "Don't look at him anymore, he'd better take a shower now, because his back is covered in shit." Yi Chen shook his head. Dabao, just poop if you want to, why do you have to get covered in poop? Liu Yina went forward and picked up Dabao. When she looked, she saw that Dabao's back was really covered with golden shit. Everyone looked disgusted. Oh, this sour smell. But Liu Yina didn't put Dabao down. Aunt Chen, go and run the water first. Yi Chen, go find Dabao's clothes. I'm going to give Dabao a bath. You have to wash off all the poop on your body before you can take a shower. Liu Yina really didn't expect that Dabao was really holding back his bowels and hadn't pooped for 7 days. If it happened next time, she would know what to do and she wouldn't be as nervous as she is now. Everyone hurriedly prepared things and quickly washed the poop off Dabao. At this time, the female salesperson from June 1st Baby also called. Yi Chen hurried downstairs to get something. After bringing all the stuff in, the saleswoman gave Yi Chen 3 walkers, 2 blue and 1 pink. Yi Chen brought the probiotics, 7-star tea, and enema upstairs. At this time, Liu Yina was feeding water to the babies. Aunt Chen also said, "It's too hot in July, so we need to give them more water. Yi Chen, here are the probiotics. This is 1 pack a day. It is usually drunk in the morning. Save it for tomorrow. This 7-star tea is in brewed form and is sweet. Now the babies are not yet 2 months old, so half a pack is enough." At this moment, Yi Chen's system rang. Beep, the host cares about the child. The system rewards 1 million yuan. Aunt Chen took the things from Yi Chen's hand, looked at them left and right, getting familiar with them, and then followed Yi Chen's instructions and made 7-star tea for all the babies. At this time, Mother Yi and Mother Liu also came back, holding a lot of shopping bags and towing a stroller with triplets. This stroller is very well designed, with 1 seat in the front and 2 in the back, which saves a lot of space and can be pushed by 1 person. Mother Liu and Mother Yi also like this stroller very much. In the family group, they also posted photos early in the morning, but Yi Chen and Liu Yi were too busy, so they didn't look at them. At this time, Mother Liu and her family pushed a cart upstairs, which was full of shopping bags. Mother Yi shouted to the people in the room, "Come and see how my in-laws and I fared today." Yi Chen and Liu Yina, each holding a child, walked into a small living room on the 2nd floor. Looking at the things in the 2 people's hands, they couldn't help but exclaimed. "Wow, Mom, are you going on a shopping spree today? You bought so many things," Yi Chen said. When Mother Yi saw that everyone had come out, she quickly took out everything in the cart, and Mother Liu also helped her to sort them out. After the stroller was sorted out, Mother Yi pointed at it and said, "Look, isn't this stroller very cool? The babies can use it when they are about 1 year old. I didn't want to buy it at first and I had already walked out of the store, but then I thought about it and kept thinking about it, so I went back and bought it." Mother Liu continued what Mother Yi said. "Yes, I like this stroller too. I don't have to push 3 strollers anymore. This stroller for triplets is hard to find in stores. You know, we don't know how to buy it online. We went to 2 big shopping malls and only saw 1 store selling it." Yi Chen also smiled and said, "Well, it's good. It's really practical for our family. We can wash the cart and seal it up first and then take it out when we need it." Liu Yina also said, "Yes, this car looks quite convenient. I made the right choice." Seeing that Yi Chen and Liu Yina liked their spoils so much, Yi's mother and Liu's mother were also very happy. Liu Yina also said to Liu's mother, "Mom, Dabao pooped today. I just cleaned it up for him." At this time, Dabao also babbled a few words, as if responding to his mother's words. Mother Liu looked at Dabao and quickly reached out to hug the child. "Let Grandma hug him. Look at this little naughty boy." Liu Yina placed Dabao in her mother's hands, looked at the pile of shopping bags and asked, "Mom, what did you 2 buy together? Why so much?" After holding the baby for a while, Mama Liu returned Dabao to Liu Yina. "Oh, look, I didn't even wash my hands before I held Dabao. Aren't all the things that Mom bought for children? These things for children are so expensive now. I'll go wash my hands first." While sorting, Mother Yi said, "My dear relatives, please take off the tags of these clothes and wash them in the washing machine. The sun is so bright now. I believe that when the weather is good, they will be completely dry in a few hours." Mother Liu stopped in her tracks. "That's fine. If we wash it now, we can take it out to dry in the sun tomorrow morning. Wash it now and dry it in the sun all day tomorrow. It will smell delicious." The 2 mothers did what they said. They opened the shopping bags one by one on the spot and showed the clothes to everyone. Yi Chen was still more concerned about Liu Yina. He felt relieved when he saw Liu Yina smiling happily. Perhaps it was because something happened to the babies that Liu Yina was overly nervous. If the babies were safe and sound, Liu Yina's anxiety would naturally be relieved. In a word, Yi Chen must always keep an eye on Liu Yina. Although her symptoms are mild, he cannot leave her alone, otherwise it would be easy for her to suddenly have bad thoughts. Chapter 126, Helping My Wife Get Out of Depression. Ever since Yi Chen learned that Liu Yina had emotional problems, he would not let Liu Yina leave his sight and followed her wherever she went. Yi Chen's abnormality was discovered by Yi's mother and Liu's mother. After Liu Yina fell asleep, the two mothers took Yi Chen downstairs to interrogate him. "Chen, what's going on? Is there something wrong with Nana?" Mother Liu was also a little nervous. "Yes, I noticed that you looked at Nana more closely than before. Is there anything wrong?" In fact, from Yi Chen's recent behavior, she had already guessed it, but she hadn't gotten Yi Chen's confirmation yet. Yi Chen also whispered to the two mothers, "Mom, I think I should pay more attention to Nana. Isn't it easy to get depression after giving birth? So I'm worried that she might get it accidentally. A few days ago, after Nana went to see her good friend Gu Yingying sent me a message saying that she thought Nana might be depressed, so I was so worried about her. After observing her for the past few days, I feel that Nana is in good condition." Mother Liu also quickly asked, "Then why is she depressed?" Yi Chen thought for a moment and said, "This should be related to the baby. After all, we are all so nice to her. It should be her first time as a mother. She is a little too nervous about the child, so even if it is a small matter, it is enough for her to think a lot." Mother Yi also nodded. "Yeah, I think so too, just like the last time when Xiaoguegu I was scared by the dog. That night Xiaoguegu I wanted to be held to sleep. When she came to feed at night, she also held me for a long time. It was only when I urged her to go back to sleep that she was willing to leave. No wonder. I'd better ask her to worry less about the child in the future." Mother Liu also said softly, "Well, Nana is just too sensitive, but after giving birth, she can't help but think too much and can't control it. All we can do is pay more attention to her and not let her worry too much." Yi Chen and Yi's mother also nodded. They just wanted to take good care of the child in the future, try to let Liu Yina worry less about the child, and pay more attention to her on weekdays. As a mother, everyone loves their children, and this is all I can do to help. However, fortunately, Liu Yina only had mild depression, which means it had just begun, and fortunately it was discovered in time. With the care of Yi Chen and his family, Liu Yina gradually got better and slept much better in the past few days. Liu Yina lay on the bed, quietly looking at Yi Chen's sleeping face and said softly, "Husband, you are so good." Suddenly, the system in Yi Chen's mind rang. Beep, the host cares about his wife, triggering a special order, rewarding the host with a family at the Tingli Hotel. Yi Chen was awakened by the system. He opened his eyes suddenly and saw Liu Yina looking at him tenderly. His eyes softened at once. He held Liu Yina in his arms. "Wife, why are you looking at your husband? Are you awakened by your husband's handsomeness?" Liu Yina laughed and punched Yi Chen. "Hateful." Yi Chen rested his chin on Liu Yina's head and rubbed it. "How can I hate you? I love you the most." Liu Yina broke free from Yi Chen's arms and kissed him on the face. Yi Chen took a deep breath and smiled evilly. "Woman, you are playing with fire." During this period of time, in order to take Liu Yina's feelings into consideration, Yi Chen did not have any in-depth communication with her. So at this moment, he really couldn't help it. The next morning, Yi Chen came downstairs in high spirits and saw Father Liu also having breakfast. So he asked Liu's father, "Dad, how is the progress of the restaurant's renovation recently?" Father Liu smiled and said to Yi Chen enthusiastically, "Not bad. Now all the water and electricity have been fixed. I think it should be completed around the 20th, but we have to wait until I come back from Yuncheng. Also, your classmate Anzi is very hardworking and willing to learn from his father. This kid is great. It would be great if I had another daughter." Yi Chen was also ashamed. Fortunately, I acted early. While eating breakfast, Father Liu said, "Yi Chen, are you interested in taking over Dad's restaurant?" Yi Chen also laughed. "Dad, look at what you said. If your restaurant encounters any problems, how can I not care? Besides, Nana is also my wife. Her business is my business, right?" Yi Chen also didn't want outsiders to think that he took over someone else's property just because he married someone else's daughter. What belonged to Liu Yina was Liu Yina's, and he only helped manage it. Mr. Liu probably understood what Yi Chen meant. This way, there would be someone to help Liu Yina manage the restaurant. If Liu Yina was not interested in the restaurant, there was still Yi Chen to help her. On this day, Yi Chen was feeding his child when he received a call from his roommate Li Lijai. "Oh my God, Yi Chen, do you know? Do you still remember Gu Ming? Didn't you ask me about him before? His family wants to open a branch for him, and then guess what?" Yi Chen naturally knew about Gu Ming's fate, so he was not overly surprised. "What happened to him?" Li Lijai seemed very excited. "Didn't our classmates envy him before? Now I feel really sad to hear the news about him. It wasn't long after he finished decorating it. It should have been open for about a week, but he received a notice to demolish it. You know, they've been saying about demolition for almost 10 years. I didn't expect that it would happen not long after he finished decorating it. Haha, it's hilarious. I've been to his restaurant. It's more luxurious than any other branch. And it's more than 1,000 square meters. I guess it would cost at least 2 or 3 million. Perhaps the worst thing is that he had to demolish the business before it even started. And his landlord was smart and didn't take into account any unexpected circumstances such as demolition. This time, he suffered a huge loss." Li Lijai said this while smiling. Yi Chen smiled and said, "He deserves it. Let's not talk about him for now. Have you found a job?" He had anticipated the Guo Ming incident, and even if it wasn't this incident, his shrewd elder brother still had a trick up his sleeve waiting for him. As for Li Lijai, Yi Chen still asked with concern. Li Lijai was also stunned by Yi Chen's question. "Didn't you want to know about Guo Ming before? I called you as soon as I received the news." After a pause, he said, "I have successfully obtained my diploma, but I'd better put my work aside for now." Yi Chen, "Oh, then you can do whatever you want. I'm feeding the baby now. Let's chat when you have time." Li Lijai laughed on the phone. "Ah, have you really become a slave to your wife and children?" Yi Chen just smiled and said, "You'll know when you have a wife and children." Li Lijai also said with a tusk, "I'm a single guy, why should I think so much? I'm hanging up, just take good care of your baby." Yi Chen just smiled and looked at Dabo, who was drinking milk from the bottle in his arms. "Such a cute little baby. I really want to give him a kiss." Chapter 127, Grandma Liu's birthday. August 15th soon arrived, and several aunts had already packed up their things and put them in the RV last night. Dad Liu drove the car with the 2 aunts. Yi Chen drove the RV with Liu Yina, Mom Yi, Mom Liu, Aunt Zhang, and others. Father Yi went to pick up several of his uncles and aunts, and his second uncle also went with several close relatives. Several uncles, aunts, and cousins from Mother Yi's family all had cars, and a dozen cars set off together. Seeing that her in-laws attached so much importance to her, Mother Liu felt very happy and relieved. For a big family, the key lies in whether it is united. A united big family can go further. Even if it is not so rich at the moment, if one person becomes rich, the whole family can benefit from it. It is obvious that Yi Chen's big family is a big collective and is very united. After driving for several hours, more than a dozen cars had gathered at Liu Fujai, the largest restaurant owned by Liu's father in Yuncheng, in about half an hour. At the gate of Liu Fujai, a group of Liu family's relatives had already gathered. Several of Liu Yina's uncles were standing at the door, greeting the Yi family's relatives warmly. "Oh, everyone must have worked hard to come this far. Thank you for your hard work." Yi Chen's second uncle, Yi Zhengmin, quickly waved his hand. "Everyone has worked hard." Yi Hui, however, was holding his cell phone, chatting as he followed his biological father, Yi Zhengmin, into the restaurant. Although the decoration of the entire restaurant cannot be said to be luxurious, it is also grand. The main reason is that the place is very large, with a total of 3 floors. The construction area of the first floor is nearly 1,000 square meters. Half of the basement floor is the kitchen, and the other half is the dining table for dining in the restaurant. The second floor is used for banquets, and the third floor is the private room. Yi Chen's family got out of the car holding their 3 babies, and 3 aunts carried down the car in which the children were sleeping. As soon as Yi's mother got out of the car, she sighed. "This place is quite big. If we rent it, it will cost a lot of money, right?" Mother Liu smiled and said, "It's nothing. We are our own landlords. We don't have to work for the landlord. All the properties under Liu's father Yuncheng's name are built on his own land." Mother Yu was also surprised when she heard what Mother Liu said. "Oh my God, this place is probably about 1,000 square meters, right? That must cost a lot of money." Mother Liu smiled and said, "It's nothing. Let's go in and eat. Everyone should be hungry." A group of more than 40 people walked into Liu Fuji, one after another. Only a dozen uncles and aunts from the Liu family came to the reception this time. No other relatives came, so there were only 7 or 8 tables of banquets. After the welcoming banquet, Mother Liu arranged for Yi's relatives to stay in the only 5-star hotel in the area, while Yi Chen and his friends stayed in Liu's villa. The old lady of the Liu family lives with Liu Yina's uncle. Originally, they lived with their two sons in turn. Now that Liu's father has gone to Xiangcheng, the old lady naturally doesn't want to travel so much to other cities. On the birthday of the old lady of the Liu family, the party was also held in Liu's father's restaurant. The entire restaurant is hung with festive longevity characters. As you enter the restaurant, you can see red congratulatory couplets all the way. The colorful chandeliers are also pasted with big red longevity characters, making the restaurant feel very lively. The old lady of the Liu family is a widower and has two sons. She now lives with her eldest son, but unfortunately the eldest son, Liu Jiangguo, only wants to be a doctor and knows nothing about business. Only the youngest son, Liu Yimin, took over the restaurant from her. The restaurant became famous in the catering industry of Yuncheng, and the Liu family became a well-known and prominent family in Yuncheng. Therefore, there was a constant stream of guests in the restaurant, all of whom came for Liu Yina's father's sake. Old Mrs. Liu was wearing a bright red cheongsam, looking dignified and elegant. Although she was over 70 years old, she was well maintained, her eyes were still bright, and she walked with energy, looking only in her 60s. At this time, she was surrounded by relatives and friends who were congratulating her on her birthday and giving her compliments. She responded with a smile, looked at her little son, and nodded with great satisfaction. If it weren't for her youngest son, Liu Yimin, she wouldn't be able to afford such a big birthday party today. Liu Yivi, Liu Yina's cousin, was wearing a pink dress, a high ponytail on her head, and heavy makeup on her face. At this moment, she looked at her cowardly parents with a resentful face. She was really angry in her heart. Obviously, her father is the eldest son of the Liu family, so why did she let her second uncle occupy the family restaurant? Now, Liu Yina has brought back a wealthy husband. She had heard that her brother-in-law, Yi Chen, was worth billions. Even her husband's family was rich in Xiangcheng, and they lived in a big villa and drove luxury cars. If her father worked harder, the Liu family restaurant would be hers, and today's limelight would belong to her, Liu Yivi, alone. In fact, Liu Yivi's family is not a poor family. Liu Yivi's father is a doctor after all, and the family is richer than ordinary families. The family does not live in a villa area, but lives in a wealthy community. Liu Yue looked up and saw her grandmother, old lady Liu, holding Liu Yina's child with a happy face. She was so angry that she ran out of the restaurant angrily. When she reached the main gate and saw the restaurant entrance, Liu Yivi saw the wealthy people from Yuncheng's upper class, all dressed in fancy clothes, holding gifts in their hands and signing autographs. The jealousy on his face could no longer be concealed. It is said that the Liu family has an eldest daughter, Liu Yina, who has a sweet appearance and is a real beauty. But who knew that the Liu family also has a daughter named Liu Yivi? She was so angry that her face was twisted. As she was turning around, she bumped into a tall figure. No matter how well she managed her expression, the other person saw it. The man was walking towards the restaurant. Liu Yivi only felt that his legs were as long as those of the male protagonists in comics. Under his neat short hair, his handsome features exuded a sense of nobility. It was her cousin-in-law, Yi Chen. When Yi Chen saw Liu Yivi, his brows slightly frowned. He knew this woman. She was the daughter of Liu Yina's uncle. But why is her expression so ferocious? Therefore, Yi Chen immediately used his skill of recognizing people with a discerning eye on her. The result is indeed White Lotus Money Worship Green Tea. When Liu Yivi saw her brother-in-law, she was stunned. She didn't expect to meet her brother-in-law here. When she was thinking about what to do, a plan suddenly flashed through her mind. Chapter 128, Liu Yue's Ambition. In fact, Liu Yivi and Liu Yina were born in the same year, and Liu Yivi is only 2 months younger than Liu Yina. They just went to a different university. She studied dance, and what she was most proud of was her slender waist like a water snake. She cherished her waist very much. Apart from the necessary daily exercises, she didn't have to do anything else. She was also very particular about her diet. She had a personal fitness trainer and meals cooked by someone to ensure that she would not consume too many calories in a day. Liu Yina has also publicly stated that what she envies most is her waist, so she has always taken good care of it and must not let herself become a fat woman. Looking around the entire Yuncheng, there is no man that Liu Yivi likes. Otherwise, with how beautiful she is, the people chasing after her would line up in circles around Yuncheng. And when she thought of the plan in her mind, the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. She twisted her waist and walked quickly in front of Yi Chen, blocking his way. Yi Chen was also blocked by her, so he stopped and stared at her with a frown. Liu Yue felt a little suffocated by his gaze, and she didn't dare to breathe. She didn't dare to look Yi Chen in the eye again. At this time, she was sure that she had been attracted by Yi Chen's handsomeness. "Are you here from the Liu family to attend the birthday party?" Yi Chen asked in a low voice. It was just that damn magnetic voice of his, filling Liu Yivi's eardrums, causing Liu Yivi to swallow her saliva involuntarily, and replied excitedly, "Yes." Yi Chen looked at her. Since he had just used his keen eye to judge her, he could be said to have no good impression of her. However, Liu Yivi saw Yi Chen looking her up and down without saying anything, and thought that Yi Chen was interested in her. Liu Yue looked at Yi Chen in surprise, her heart beating wildly. The two stared at each other for a long time before Liu Yue exhaled. "I am Liu Yina's cousin. She is my sister. Why? Did you come out here to get some fresh air?" Yi Chen shook the bottle in his hand. "I didn't come out to get some fresh air. I just came out to get the bottle. The baby is hungry, so he goes back to the RV to get the bottle." Liu Yivi was also stunned when she saw the bottle in Yi Chen's hand. "Oh, so that's how it is. Then let's go in together." Liu Yue stepped forward and wanted to take the bottle from Yi Chen, but Yi Chen lifted it up. "I can do this kind of small thing myself." After Yi Chen finished speaking, he ignored her and walked past her into the restaurant. Liu Yivi was also shameless. She followed Yi Chen directly and went in with him with a grin on her face. During this period, Liu Yivi wanted to take the bottle from Yi Chen's hand, but unfortunately she was blocked by Yi Chen. Along the way, many people who didn't know the two of them were attracted by their appearance, and everyone was talking about them. "Who are these two people? The man is quite handsome. Who is this woman?" "This woman is the daughter of old lady Liu's son, Liu Yue." "I don't know this man. Is he her boyfriend?" "What? That's Liu Yimin's son-in-law, the husband of our Yuncheng beauty Liu Yina." "Oh, this beautiful lady Liu Yina is really amazing. She gave birth to triplets in one go. She is really a blessing to her husband and children." "That's right. I heard that when Liu Yina gave birth to her child, her husband gave her a car and a villa, and also gave her jewelry worth 10 billion. This villa is 1,000 square meters, and it's all in Liu Yina's name. Oh my God, the 1 billion worth of jewelry alone is enough. This man's family is too rich. If you ask me, this man is so lucky. Don't you see that our Yuncheng beauty Liu Yina is so pretty and has a great figure?" "I take it you mean happiness." What? After hearing this, Liu Yue became even more jealous. Yi Chen also felt the envious looks from the people around him, but he just smiled and didn't pay much attention to them. She walked to Liu Yina's side with the bottle, put the bottle into her mother's hand, and gently hugged Liu Yina's waist, and whispered in Liu Yina's ear, "Do you want to go to the private room to breastfeed?" Liu Yina blushed, "Yeah." But all of this was heard by Liu Yivi, who was behind him. "Wai Wei is here?" Old Mrs. Liu stared at Liu Yivi and asked. Liu Yina finally realized what she was here for, and after adjusting her expression, she smiled and said to Old Lady Liu, "Grandma, happy birthday to you." Old Lady Liu smiled and said, "Okay, sit down." Mother Liu held the second child, Mother Yi held the first child, and Liu Yina held the little one. They all held bottles. Before leaving, Mother Liu smiled and said to Old Lady Liu, "Mom, let's go feed the children first, otherwise the babies will cry." Old Lady Liu smiled kindly. Okay. Go quickly, the baby is going to be hungry. There are so many people here to accompany me, you can rest assured." At this time, Mr. Yi and Mr. Liu were busy entertaining guests. Some guests also came to wish Old Lady Liu a happy birthday, so they took the child to the private room to feed him. Liu Yue also said to Old Lady Liu, "Grandma, I want to go too. I haven't seen this baby yet." Old Lady Liu smiled and said, "Go ahead. It would be nice if you could give me a grandchild as soon as possible." When she heard about giving birth, Liu Yivi's face turned red. She said to Old Lady Liu shyly, "Grandma, what are you talking about?" After saying that, she followed Yi Chen. Old Lady Liu just looked at them happily. Here, Yi Chen brought Liu's mother and her group into the private room. Unexpectedly, Liu Yivi also came along. Although she was somewhat reluctant, probably because Yi Chen had already seen through who Liu Yivi was and didn't like her very much. But after all, she was still Liu Yina's sister, so he didn't dare to do anything to her. Yi Chen protected Liu Yina on the side, because they were all women and there were not so many taboos, and he prepared to let Liu Yina breastfeed here. Liu Yivi was playing with the two babies at Liu's mother's side. Mother Liu also smiled and asked Liu Yue, "Wai Wei, you should find a boyfriend as soon as possible and then give birth to a child for Grandma to hold. We can't come back often and she also likes to be lively. It's up to you." Liu Yue's eyes darkened. Yes, your whole family has moved to the big city, so you naturally don't want us to develop in the big city like you did. Do I, Liu Yue, have to stay in this small city for the rest of my life? No, Liu Yue would never. Thinking of this, Liu Yue smiled and said, I also want to go to the big city with my sister to see the outside world. I also want to find a man as good as my brother-in-law like my sister did. Mother Liu was also stunned, probably because she didn't expect Liu Yivi to reply to her like this. Most people would just reply with words like, I'm still young, I don't have a boyfriend yet. But Liu Yivi's words fully expressed her inner desires. Mother Liu didn't say anything more. Young people should go out more often. Liu Yue was very contemptuous in her heart. Why don't you ask your daughter and son-in-law to help me? Humph, you are still selfish. Chapter 129, Old Lady Liu's Golden Birthday Peach. After about 20 minutes, the babies finished their feeding and fell asleep. So we asked the aunties to stay here and let the babies sleep for a while. The babies are exhausted from following them these days, so let them have a good sleep here. He returned to Old Lady Liu and sat down at the main table that could accommodate 20 people. Old Lady Liu asked Mother Liu, who was sitting next to her, Are the babies not back yet? Are they asleep? Mother Liu smiled and said, Yes, they are all sleepy, let them sleep for a while. Old Lady Liu also nodded with a smile. When we come out later, you have to remind me to give each of them a big red envelope. Mother Liu smiled and said, Okay, Mom, I remember everything. Seeing that Grandma Liu loved her 3 little grandchildren so much, she was also happy. It was almost noon, and the hall, which had 100 banquet tables and seated more than 1,000 people, was already full of people. At this time, a large lamp with the Chinese character Shu, longevity, was hung above the chairman's seat in the hall. The red light shining through was obviously particularly dazzling. The whole scene looked very spectacular and lively. Although the entire venue did not look too luxurious, all the people who came were wealthy people from Yuncheng, invited by the Liu family. Liu Yina's father, Liu Yimin, has never liked the crowds, and now his eyes are full of his 3 little grandchildren. Maybe he would have gone to social events in the past for the sake of business to build good relationships with these people. But now his focus is on his family, and it's time for him to let go and let the young people take over. He handed over the management of his stores in Yuncheng to several of his closest relatives. Over the past few months, he has been training the next generation who can help him. However, Cheng was handed over to his daughter Liu Yina and son-in-law Yi Chen to manage. No matter how many restaurants they opened, they would be their own. The first one in Cheng was his wedding gift to them. At this time, a relative at the table began to discuss. Why didn't I see Liu Yina's husband and his family giving gifts? Who knows, maybe someone gave it to him secretly. Didn't I say that Liu Yina's husband's family is worth billions? How could they not understand these etiquettes? Father Yu was also a little anxious. He had just asked Yi Chen to call and urge them. The father and son went to the jewelry store last night and bought a gift they wanted. The reason why they didn't dare to bring the gift back first was that they were worried that Liu's parents would say that they were spending money indiscriminately, so they asked the store to deliver it today. Father Yi quickly asked Yi Chen to go and urge them again. Yi Chen, what's going on? Why haven't the people from the gold shop come yet? Yi Chen whispered, When I went out to get the bottle just now, I had already called them. They said they had to wait for their security guards to come over and deliver it together. They have never delivered such a valuable item out of the house. Father Yi could only sigh. These people are really something. Didn't they agree to deliver it before 12 o'clock? It's already 12 o'clock now, and everyone is about to start eating. They won't wait until we finish eating before delivering it. Father Yu was also very worried. After all, it was his grandson-in-law's first birthday, and he didn't even get a decent gift. He was afraid that people would gossip about him. Although Mother Yi had already given some birds' nests, tea leaves, and supplements as gifts, they were given when they first met Old Lady Liu at her house, so they couldn't be considered birthday gifts. At this moment, the elevator door opened, and a 120 cm tall small safe was pushed out from inside by 6 bodyguards. Then someone asked the foreman at the door to help find someone. Everyone in the hall saw them, and everyone looked at them in confusion, and at the same time they were talking about it. Hey, isn't that manager Hong from Liushan Jewelry, the largest jewelry store in our area? Yeah, why is he here? Could it be that someone here wants to give a big gift to Old Lady Liu? Yes, looking at the way they protect the safe, this is a great gift. The wealthy people in Yuncheng naturally buy gold to preserve its value, and Liushan Jewelry Store is also the largest gold store in the area. However, the owner of that store is not a local and has returned to the head office instead of coming here on business. so no one knows what the gift is. Father Yi kept his eyes on the elevator door and saw the gold shop manager he met last night at first sight. He took Yi Chen with him and walked over. "Manager Hong, we are here." Manager Hong of the gold shop immediately smiled and stepped forward to shake hands with Yi's father and Yi Chen. "Sorry, we are late." Father Yi nodded quickly. "Fortunately, you didn't come after the banquet started, otherwise I would really complain to you." Manager Hong of the gold shop apologized repeatedly and quickly pushed the safe in front of Yi's father and Yi Chen. "The golden longevity peaches have been delivered. Please sign for them. As an apology, we give this safe to you. This is a golden birthday peach worth millions, so what's the big deal about giving a safe?" Yi Chen also nodded and wrote his name on the list. After the gift was delivered, Manager Hong cleared the password to the safe and left in the elevator with 6 bodyguards. Amid the discussion among the crowd, Yi Chen pushed the safe directly to the chairman's seat next to Old Lady Liu and said to her, "Grandma, I wish you good fortune as vast as the East Sea and a long life as long as the South Mountain. This is the first birthday gift from your grandson-in-law. I hope you like it." Old Lady Liu looked at her grandson-in-law and nodded repeatedly. "Okay, I'll like whatever you give me. This is love from the bottom of my heart." Yi Chen slowly opened the safe and showed the more than 20 kilograms of pure gold longevity peach inside to Old Lady Liu and the people present. Everyone looked at the golden longevity peach and were shocked because they knew that it was the largest pure gold longevity peach in Yuncheng. There are 23 kilograms of golden longevity peaches, with a total value of nearly 4 million yuan. And today, Yi Chen actually bought it and gave it to Old Lady Liu. At this point, everyone was certain that Yi Chen's family was indeed rich, and Liu Yiwei's angry eyes were about to overflow. Millions of gifts were given away in one go. How rich is the Yi family? Old Mrs. Liu looked at the golden longevity peach placed in the safe in front of her with a smile on her face. "Oh, Yi Chen, my in-laws, you are so polite. You have given me many expensive gifts and even gave me a big red envelope. This is really too polite. I'm sorry to have cost you so much money." Yi Chen also smiled and said to Old Lady Liu, "You're welcome. We, the younger generation, should be filial to you." Old Lady Liu quickly said, "Thank you so much." Mother Yi and Mother Liu were also very surprised. They didn't expect that Yi Chen and his men had this skill. Chapter 130 Money makes things easier. Old Mrs. Liu took Yi Chen's gift and asked Liu Yina's uncle Liu, Jiangguo, to push the safe to the private room reserved for her to put the gift there first. To be on the safe side, Mrs. Liu also went along because she wanted to reset her password. By the time she came back, it was already around 12:30. At this time, Liu Yina's uncle Liu Jiangguo said with a smile, "Mom, it's almost time for dinner now. Let the younger generation of the Liu family write a longevity character for you to wish you a happy birthday." It is a custom in Yuncheng for younger generations to write the word longevity at birthday banquets to show their filial piety. The more longevity characters there are, the more descendants there are. And old Mrs. Liu smiled and nodded. Old Mrs. Liu only has 2 granddaughters, Liu Yina and Liu Yivi, but her relatives include a lot of filial sons and grandchildren, so the people who came to the podium to sign filled up the entire stage. Old Lady Liu sat in the chair, looking at the stage full of descendants and the wealthy people of Yuncheng, and felt proud. Liu Yina was from the Department of Fine Arts, so she naturally designed a beautiful shoe character for Old Lady Liu. Liu Yina's 3 little ones also wrote the word shoe for each of them, put their handprints on it, and presented it to Grandma Liu, which made Grandma Liu very happy. Old Lady Liu prepared a big red envelope for each of the youngsters who came up to offer calligraphy, and gave each of Liu Yina's 3 little ones an extra red envelope, and said with a smile, "Bring your younger brothers and sisters in 2 years." Liu Yina blushed at this, but Mother Yi replied, "Yes, yes. In fact, it doesn't matter whether to have a second child or not. It depends on the 2 young people. If they say they want to have a second child, then she will help take care of the child." At this moment, Yi Chen's system rang. "Beep, happy birthday to the baby's grandpa." The system will return 3 times the total amount of the birthday gift to the host. Yi Chen never thought that buying birthday gifts for the elderly would actually result in a reward. This was truly a pleasant surprise. Now that I have written the word longevity, it's time to eat. The birthday banquet lasted until almost 3 in the afternoon. When we returned to the Liu family villa, it was already 4:30 in the afternoon. At this time, Yi Chen also received a call. "Hello, oh, where are you? Okay. Well, just locate yourself at Jing'an Community and we'll go out to look for you later." He turned around and said to Liu Yina, "Nana, come with me to meet some people later." Liu Yina asked in confusion, "What's wrong? Do you have any friends coming over?" Yi Chen smiled mysteriously. "I guess so, you will know if you go with me." Liu Yina was also half believing and half doubting. After feeding the baby, Liu Yina began to dress herself up. After all, she was going out to meet friends, so it was natural for her to put on some light makeup to show respect for Yi Chen's friends. After packing up everything, Liu Yina asked Yi Chen, "Husband, is your friend coming soon?" Yi Chen looked at the time. "It's almost time. There are still about 10 minutes left. They are quite far from here." Liu Yina nodded. "Okay." As she said that, she picked up her phone and sent a message to Gu Yingying. "Yingying, you must ask for leave on the 25th of this month to come. I have also asked a few classmates in the dormitory to come and be bridesmaids." Gu Yingying replied quickly, "No problem, I will definitely do what I promised you." Liu Yina sent a kiss, emoticon back to Gu Yingying. Gu Yingying was chatting with a person with the online name Meniuping when she saw a message from the other party. "Are you really not free to come on the 25th? My brother is getting married that day, and I want to bring you back to meet my parents." Gu Yingying replied, "That day is a great day. My sister is getting married on that day too. I'm going to be a bridesmaid. I'm really busy. Let's make another date." Meniuping, "Well, let's make an appointment next time. I've shown your photo to my parents and they are very satisfied with you. Don't try to cheat when the time comes or my parents will chop me with a knife." Gu Yingying gave a smirk and said, "As long as you have the money, everything is fine." She plays the role of a girlfriend and a gold digger at that, which is her forte. Moreover, she doesn't have to do anything and gets paid well. This is also one of the pleasures of her job. Who knows, as the two of them chat, they might even find love. As it stands, this boyfriend is quite reliable. At the end, he sent her a red envelope of 520 yuan, and Gu Yingying took it with a smile. The netizen named Menioping was the man she met in the college student mutual aid group, and Gu Yingying applied to be his girlfriend to deal with his family. Every time that Menioping sent a message, he would take a screenshot of the money he sent and send it to his father. After his father knew that he had found a girlfriend, he gave him a card with 200,000 yuan in it. He also sighed deeply behind his back. It turned out that having money really makes things easier. As soon as he increased his son's pocket money, he found a girlfriend that month. Fortunately, the family had some money, otherwise he really wouldn't be able to find a daughter-in-law. On the other side, after Liu Yina finished chatting with Gu Yingying, Yi Chen received a call saying that he had arrived at the gate of the community. Yi Chen drove out of the gate of the community and saw an RV parked at the gate of the community. After Yi Chen and the others arrived at the gate of the community, he took them directly into the community. Liu Yina watched them get out of the car with various photographic tools in their hands, and then saw a woman with a cosmetic bag across her waist. 3 men and 1 woman got out of the car, and the driver behind also got out. Liu Yina asked Yi Chen with a shocked look on her face, "What is this?" "Honey, this is a surprise I prepared for you." Yi Chen was also very moved. "I want to take our wedding photos in the city where you lived. When we are old and recall the past, you can talk to me endlessly about your childhood. Of course, you can also talk about it while taking the photos now." Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen with great excitement on her face, and for a moment she didn't know what to say. She never thought that Yi Chen would give her such a big surprise. Yi Chen smiled and said, "Wife, I hope you like it." "I like it, I really like it. This is such a surprise." Liu Yina hugged Yi Chen excitedly. "I love you, husband." At first, Liu Yina thought Yi Chen had forgotten. After all, the wedding was still about a week away. If he filmed it now, he probably couldn't wait. Of course, this is a professional team that Yi Chen spent more than 200,000 yuan to hire. Even the printing of the wedding photos requires extra money. So, if you take the photos on the same day, you can receive them in 2 days. Things are easier if you have money. Chapter 131, things are almost done. At this time, several people from the photography team smiled as they looked at Yi Chen and Liu Yina, who were hugging each other tightly. Because time was tight, the makeup artist saw that the two were almost done hugging each other, so she tentatively asked, "Well, are we going to try out the makeup first?" Yi Chen and Liu Yina separated from each other. Yi Chen nodded, "Let's start." Several photographers moved all the things out of the RV and set up a simple dressing room in the open space in front of the villa. They also hung all the wedding dresses and clothes they brought for the photo shoot inside. The makeup artist took Liu Yina to the RV and prepared to do her makeup. Boys only have a few sets of clothes to change into, but girls have relatively more choices of clothes. Yi Chen looked at the clothes and shook his head. He said to Liu Yina, "Nana, do you like all of these? I asked them to buy new ones and then left them to their store after we finished shooting. Because the clothes in the bridal shop are very dirty and have been worn countless times. I really can't stand it." Liu Yina said, No way did you buy all these." Liu Yina didn't expect that she would buy so many new clothes just for taking wedding photos, and then only wear them once and then throw them away. This is really a bit too wasteful. However, Yi Chen didn't think so. Taking wedding photos was the first time in his life, so he had to be clean. Yi Chen had already gone to the wedding shop to look at the clothes. Every white wedding dress was covered with black stains. Who knows how many people had worn them? And there was a sour smell. After these wedding dresses were worn by others, the store staff only sprayed them with disinfectant and didn't wash them at all, not once a year. Especially if you take wedding photos in the summer. The smell of the clothes can be so suffocating. And it just so happens that it's summer now. However, it didn't cost much to buy these clothes for taking photos. By the time Liu Yina returned to Xiangcheng, Yi Chen had already made an appointment with IV Courtesy to bring the formal dress and wedding gown to his house. The wedding dress will be the highlight at that time. Now it's just for taking photos. It only cost me tens of thousands of dollars to buy these clothes. From wedding dresses to red evening gowns, Liu Yina, with a delicate makeup on her face, carefully selected the wedding dress she would use for taking photos. Yi Chen was standing aside, watching with Liu Yina to see which suit would match the wedding dress and so on. Yi Chen suddenly hugged Liu Yina, and the makeup artist next to him quickly left the simple dressing room. Liu Yina pushed Yi Chen, pouted and said, "What are you doing? There are people here." Yi Chen whispered in Liu Yina's ear, "Aren't we all gone, honey? You are so beautiful." Liu Yina smiled. "I have always been beautiful." Yi Chen kissed Liu Yina. "How about we take pictures of all of this?" Liu Yina frowned. "But time doesn't allow it, right? I think we only have about 2 days and our family is waiting for us to move. Yes, Mother Yi has already set a date with the master. The move will be on the 22nd. Now it is the 19th, and we have to go home before the 22nd, so time is very tight." Yi Chen also sighed. "Okay, then let's pick out a few sets that we don't like and shoot the rest." Liu Yina couldn't do anything about him. This should be Yi Chen's biggest concession. Liu Yina first took them to the park where they often played when they were children, where there was a playground. Although the place is old and dilapidated, Liu Yina loved to come here to play when she was a child. The two sat on the stairs where Liu Yina sat, walked hand in hand along the path where Liu Yina walked, ran together, and lay on the green grass together. We also went to many places in Liu Yina's elementary school and middle school together. While filming, Liu Yina recalled the happy childhood with Yi Chen, which allowed Yi Chen to understand Liu Yina better. During the 2 days of shooting, both of them cherished this opportunity very much and were looking forward to the finished product. On the 20th, Yi Chen's family and Liu Yina's relatives had another banquet, explained the marriage to them, and then drove back to Xiangcheng in the afternoon. On the 21st, the whole family was packing up, and Yi Chen was helping Liu Yina clean up the cloakroom. The room at Yulong Bay was twice as big as the one here, and even this cloakroom was as big as this room. So Yi Chen thought that he should go buy some things and fill up the cloakroom first. As for the move, the Yi family did not invite everyone to dinner, because Yi Chen's wedding was on the 25th, so they didn't care about these details. On the 22nd, the Yi family had almost moved everything in the morning and spent the whole afternoon sorting things out. Yi Chen asked someone from IV Courtesy to bring the wedding dress and evening gown to the villa, and asked Liu Yina, Liu's parents, and his own parents to choose the evening gown together. Liu Yina picked out her wedding dress first, and everyone helped to look at it, because she was going to wear this wedding dress to take a wedding photo in her big villa. At this time, Liu's mother also asked Liu's father, "You said you would arrange your daughter's wedding. How are the preparations in Xindian going?" Father Liu also laughed and said, "Don't worry about me doing it. The new store was completed 10 days ago. The formaldehyde inspection was done and there are no problems. The manpower has been prepared. Fortunately, Huachang Building gave me a 3-month renovation period, and Yi Chen's father also worked overtime to decorate it for me, so the decoration was completed so quickly." He paused and continued, "I haven't told you before, Huachang Building also gave me the 3rd floor, about 1,000 square meters, and I turned those rooms into private rooms. How can a restaurant not have private rooms? So I rented the more than 1,000 square meters, and the manager only charged an extra 70,000 yuan a month. You see, I rented more than 3,000 square meters in Huachang Building for more than 200,000 yuan. It's really cheap." Father Liu was still feeling smug, thinking that he was really lucky this time to rent such a cheap place in a good location. Father Liu said excitedly, "Let's go to the restaurant tonight to try the dishes for the banquet. I've prepared everything. We're just waiting for Nana's wedding." Mother Yi said, Okay, let's go and try it together." After a pause, Mother Yi turned to look at Yi Chen. "Chen, did the wedding photographer you found say that they would include the wedding ceremony? What should we prepare?" Yi Chen immediately said, "Mom, no need, they will take care of it. They will take care of the wedding stage and the decoration of other cars. And they also gave us a set of family portraits. After we have the wedding, we can take a family portrait." Chapter 132, Wedding. What family portrait? Mother Yi was also a little surprised. Then why not take it now? You can show it at the wedding, how great that would be. You can also take pictures of your 3 little grandchildren. Yi Chen was also surprised. That's right, we can also take pictures of the 3 babies' 100-day photos. Let me see what time it is. It's already 3 p.m. I wonder if they are free to shoot. I'll give them a call now. After all, we were in a hurry, so I wasn't sure if we had time to take pictures. Yi Chen immediately called the person in charge of the wedding photography. Fortunately, there was a photographer who was free and could expedite the process for extra money. So Yi Chen paid tens of thousands more for the expedited fee and hired the best photographer and makeup artist to dress up his family members, and naturally brought the 3 little ones along as well. Liu Yina also happened to take a few more photos, wearing the wedding dress, an evening gown she had just bought from IV Courtesy. Everything was urgent, and the photographer worked overnight to edit the pictures of Yi Chen's family. We started printing it the next day, and the whole process was expedited. It was not until the day before the wedding that Yi Chen got the wedding photos. Smelling the strong smell of ink in his hand, Yi Chen also had mixed emotions. He said to Liu Yina with some guilt, "Nana, I'm so sorry that I didn't give you the best. Everything was in a hurry, so." Liu Yina also gently held Yi Chen's big hand. "Husband, you have done a great job. I am really happy to marry you. Even if there is no wedding, I am willing. After all, a wedding is just a formality, but happiness is something you can feel yourself." Yi Chen looked at the woman in front of him who was going to spend the rest of his life with him with eyes full of affection, and his eyes became moist. Liu Yina and Yi Chen hugged each other tightly. When the two were together before, they always felt a gap, but after they had intimate contact, they became more like an ordinary couple. Therefore, maintaining a relationship between the sexes still depends on intimate contact. Wedding photos and family photos are all taken care of. On the wedding day, Yi Chen did not ask for the makeup artist sent by the wedding photos, but asked the people from IV Etiquette to follow Liu Yina throughout the whole process. Gu Yingying and other sisters also gathered at the Tingli 5-star hotel, where Liu Yina was staying early in the morning. Liu Yina's cousin Liu Yivi also came. Originally, Liu Yina didn't ask Liu Yivi to be her sister, but Liu Yivi wanted to join in the fun, so she came to Liu Yina's room wearing a dress different from the bridesmaids. Liu Yina had no choice. She originally felt that Liu Yivi and she were not very close sisters, so she did not invite her. But now she came uninvited, and she could not lose face in front of her cousin, so she could only let her go. Liu Yina didn't have to worry about the entire wedding, as everything was arranged according to her preferences. As long as Liu Yina was content to be the bride, Yi Chen also got up early in the morning. The 3 little ones were probably very excited knowing that their parents were getting married today. Yi Chen also asked his cousin to be his best man, and several of his roommates also served as best men. The brothers came to Yi Chen's house and saw Yi Chen's large villa of more than 1,000 square meters. Their eyes were simply astonished. The brothers all joked, "Brother, you change houses quite frequently after getting married." Yi Chen just smiled and said, "If you work hard, you can have everything. You can do it too." Yi Hui did not expect that his cousin's family would move to such a big house. He had said before that the company was in crisis, and his father had lent a lot of money to Yi Chen's family. Later, for some reason, Yi Chen's father paid back the money very quickly, but Yi Hui did not think much about it, probably because he knew that Yi Chen's family was rich. Originally, they wanted to arrange for Liu Yina to get married in the previous 200-square-meter villa, but because they had to take care of relatives and also because they moved and the place was not decorated well, they simply got married in a hotel. The group drove more than a dozen cars to the Tingli Hotel. Yi Chen also brought the relatives from the Liu family to Xiangcheng and arranged for them to stay at the Tingli Hotel. The hotel manager knew that today was his CEO's wedding, so he waited at the hotel gate early. The entire hotel is covered with wedding characters, and hung with small, colorful flags. Yi Chen looked at the scene in front of him, nodded continuously, and smiled at the hotel manager. The hotel manager was delighted, knowing that Yi Chen had taken his conscience into consideration. In addition to a few brothers and best men, the wedding procession also included many relatives and friends. Among them were Yi Chen's second uncle, second aunt, and several uncles. The betrothal gifts had already been transferred to Liu's parents, and Liu's father had also prepared a dowry for Liu Yina, which was a cullinan. Yi Chen also stood in front of the hotel room door excitedly and knocked on the door. "Wife, I'm here to pick you up." Several brothers also cheered. "Sister-in-law, we are here, open the door quickly." The brothers were relatively civilized and just kept knocking on the door. Several bridesmaids shouted from inside, "Give me the red envelopes or I won't open the door." However, there was no way to stuff the red envelopes in the gap of the hotel door. Yihui also shouted inside, "This red envelope can't be stuffed in. How about you open a crack in the door so we can stuff the red envelope in?" After that, he looked at his brothers on both sides with a cunning look and silently said with his mouth, "Ready, charge." The bridesmaids were at a loss as they couldn't stuff the red envelope in, so they had to lock the door with the chain inside, then gently open a crack, thinking of getting the red envelope in first. However, the opposite happened. The moment they opened the door, the brothers and the best man rushed in and broke the chain. And the one rushing in the front was the best man Yi Hui, and the sister inside was Gu Yingying guarding the gate. When the brothers outside rushed in, Gu Yingying and her sisters were so scared that they stepped back and fell to the ground. Yi Hui rushed in and threw himself into a soft embrace. By the time he came to his senses, he had been slapped loudly in the face. "Rogue!" A crisp and powerful voice sounded beneath him. He looked carefully and suddenly felt that the figure looked a little familiar. And the woman under him was also looking at him at the same time. Suddenly, they both spoke in unison. "Many Yuping, Firefly." Yi Hui and Gu Yingying naturally went out to eat together and had a simple understanding of each other. After all, if Yi Hui asked someone to pretend to be his girlfriend, he would naturally have to get to know her briefly. It was impossible for him to bring her in front of his parents without knowing each other well. Although the two of them mentioned each other's online names, Yi Chen and his men were busy picking up the bride, so they walked past them and went straight to the bride, leaving them behind. Looking at Gu Yingying, who was pressed on him, Yi Hui quickly pulled her up and asked in a low voice, "Why are you here?" After Gu Yingying got up from the ground, she used her shawl to cover her chest. "Didn't I say that today is my best friend's wedding?" After saying that, both of them were stunned. "Is the bride your good sister?" "Your cousin is Yi Chen." At this time, a sister behind also came forward and asked Gu Yingying, "Yingying, are you okay?" He looked at the two of them with suspicion. Gu Yingying quickly put a large distance between herself and Yi Hui. Chapter 133, Yi Chen is a good man. Gu Yingying quickly replied, "No, it's okay, we just happened to get to know each other." The good sister didn't think much about it. After taking a look at the two of them, she quickly pulled Gu Yingying to the bride's side. Yi Hui's parents naturally saw Gu Yingying as they followed behind, but they just thought she looked familiar. They must have seen Gu Yingying's photos, but the photos were beautified to some extent, so they were only about 70% similar, so they did not recognize her. Yi Hui's parents pushed Yi Hui to Yi Chen's side. Yi Chen at this moment was different from his usual casual attire. He was now wearing a black suit, and his hair was neatly combed. His natural nobility made him stand out among the groomsmen. He had a groom's boutonniere on his chest and was kneeling on one knee in front of Liu Yina, who was wearing a white wedding dress and delicate makeup. "Honey, I'm here to pick you up." Liu Yina held a big red fan in her hand and covered her mouth with her hands while smiling. Yi Chen quickly signaled Yi Hui. "Yi Hui, take out all the red envelopes and share them among Nana's good sisters." Yi Chen also packed the red envelopes, which contained amounts ranging from 100, 200 to 1,000 yuan. He packed almost 100 of them in total. Yi Hui took out all the red envelopes from his bag and placed them in Gu Yingying's hand. Gu Yingying took the red envelope from Yi Hui and raised it up. "Don't fight over it, we will divide it equally later." The custom of welcoming the bride in Xiangcheng is that the red envelopes received by the bridesmaids must be opened and divided equally among the sisters. Gu Yingying continued, "Now we have to use our prepared tricks. We must not let the groom get the beauty so easily." Yi Chen also quickly begged for mercy. "Oh, my aunt, I finally got a wife, please forgive me." Gu Yingying also shouted loudly, "You can let us go if you want. We will pass the first level for 100,000 yuan each." When Yi Chen heard this, He thought that if money could solve the problem, it would naturally not be a problem. So Yi Chen sent 500,000 yuan to Gu Yingying without saying anything. Gu Yingying was so shocked that her eyes almost fell out. Originally, she said this just to scare Yi Chen, but she didn't expect that Yi Chen would transfer 100,000 yuan to everyone without saying a word just to get married. Gu Yingying looked at the money received on her phone and said excitedly, Okay, we can use money to pass the first level but not the second level. We have to leave something fun. Seeing Yi Chen being so generous, the bridesmaids naturally went easy on him and let them pass easily. Liu Yivi naturally took all of Yi Chen's actions into consideration and became more certain of her plan. Sometimes, certain actions would intentionally or unintentionally bring him closer to Yi Chen. However, Gu Yingying saw all of this, and she paid more attention to her cousin Liu Yina. As a cousin, she actually dared to covet her cousin's husband when her cousin was newly married. This is too outrageous. Even if it's not at a wedding, it shouldn't be. You know, this is my cousin's husband. Since Yi Chen knew that Liu Yivi was a green tea girl, he naturally didn't have much affection for her. He was also very disgusted with her intentionally approaching him. So when she wanted to get closer to him, Yi Chen moved towards Yi Hui to prevent her from getting closer and to avoid contact with her. When Gu Yingying saw Yi Chen's actions, she couldn't help but praise Yi Chen. In the face of beauty, he is unmoved. What a good man! At the same time, Yi Hui, as the best man, was naturally troubled by the sisters. One of the sisters seemed to be interested in Yi Hui, but Yi Hui, a straight man, was not interested in her and only thought she was a bit annoying. All of this was also seen by Gu Yingying. Although Gu Yingying usually appears careless, her observation ability is better than anyone else present. When Gu Yingying saw her sister Liao Minyi trying to get close to Yi Hui intentionally or unintentionally, she couldn't help but feel jealous. In fact, she didn't know why she cared so much about Yi Hui. But when she saw Yi Hui being flirted with by other girls, she just couldn't stand it. Therefore, she also walked to Yi Hui's side and whispered to Yi Hui, "Please pay attention to your words and actions." Yi Hui also came close to her and whispered, "There is nothing between us. You don't need to care about me. Are you jealous?" Gu Yingying was also very angry with him. She glared at him and walked away angrily. Yi Chen successfully married the beauty and took the Liu family's relatives back home. At the gate of the villa, Yi's parents and a group of relatives were waiting for Yi Chen and his family to come home. There were salutes and balloon firecrackers at the entrance of the villa. There's no other way. We are not allowed to set off firecrackers now, so we can only make some balloon firecrackers to suit the occasion. With Yi Chen's help, Liu Yina slowly got out of the car. The two of them walked hand in hand on the red carpet, with Yi Chen holding an umbrella, and slowly walked into the Yi family mansion. Along the way, there were constant applause, the sound of balloons and firecrackers, and the sound of salutes. Passing through the salute, we entered the big villa. At this point, the bride receiving ceremony is completed. Liu Yivi also followed the wedding procession to the gate of Yi Chen's big villa. As she looked at the 1,000 square meter villa in front of her, her fighting spirit became even stronger. Gu Yingying naturally didn't see it either. If she saw Liu Yivi like this, she would probably slap Liu Yivi 3 times. What she hates most is the third party. After Liu Yivi got off the car, the first thing she did was to get close to Yi Chen's mother. Liu Yue smiled and said, "Auntie, hello, I am Liu Yina's cousin, Liu Yue." Mother Yi also smiled and said, "Are you Nana's cousin? I know, I saw you when I was in Yuncheng." Liu Yivi was also very happy that Yi Chen's mother actually remembered her, so she thought about chatting with Yi's mother again. But Mother Yi didn't give her a chance. "I'm busy with you now, you can just walk around here and treat it as your own home. I have to go over there to greet Nana's other relatives. Excuse me." When Liu Yivi saw that Yi's mother had left, she walked away in boredom. And Yi Hui was being harassed by Liu Yina's good sister Liao Minyi. Like Liu Yina, Liao Minyi studied fine arts, so she was Liu Yina's roommate. Liao Minyi sat with Yi Hui and came close to him and said, "I just heard from your friends that you are good at playing King of Glory. I like playing it too. When are you free to play with me?" Yi Hui was playing with his phone. "Ah, no, I just play it occasionally. Don't listen to their nonsense. I'm just average at it. Women playing games." He never plays games with women because it's too deceptive. If Gu Yingying heard what he was thinking, she would probably fight him on the spot. Chapter 134, What Does This Woman Want to Do? Yi Hui quickly followed the team and slipped into the villa. Liu Yina was led into the master bedroom, and a large group followed in. According to the custom in Xiancheng, except for the wedding ring which is worn when picking up the bride, All other jewelry is kept at the man's side. There were nearly 50 pairs of gold bracelets on a large round table in the master bedroom, weighing at least 10 or 15 kilograms. If Liu Yina wears all of them, she will definitely feel very heavy. In addition to the more than 30 pairs of gold bracelets bought by Yi's mother, there were also some bought by Yi Chen's uncles and aunts. At this time, Mother Yi also came in, and with the help of several aunts, she strung together the gold bracelets and let Liu Yina wear them all. Mother Yi also took out a pair of jade bracelets for Liu Yina to wear. Liu Yina stretched out her hand and smiled and said to Mother Yi, "Thank you, Mom." Mother Yi also smiled and said, "From now on, Yi Chen and this family will be handed over to you." Liu Yina smiled and lowered her head. "Thank you, Mom." Mother Yi handed some of the jewelry she had bought to Liu Yina. Since she couldn't wear so many, she put them in the safe. She also took out the big diamond ring from the safe and put it on her own hand. When Liu Yivi saw Liu Yina's big pink diamond, she was completely shocked. "Isn't this the big pink diamond from You Are My Only One? That whole set of diamond jewelry is worth nearly 1 billion. It's actually in Liu Yina's hands." This is impossible. However, the facts were right in front of her. Even if Liu Yivi tried to convince herself not to believe it, it was already a fact. To the shock of Liu Yivi and everyone else, Liu Yina put on the pigeon egg that Yi Chen bought for her. Gu Yingying couldn't help but move closer to Liu Yina. "Oh my God, Nana, isn't this a diamond ring from the You Are My Only One series? You have to buy a whole set, and that whole set is worth 1 billion. 990 million is not much different from 1 billion. When did you buy it? Are you so rich?" Originally, Gu Yingying felt a little embarrassed about using Liu Yina's beauty card. But now that she saw Liu Yina was wearing a diamond series worth 10 billion, she no longer had to be polite to Liu Yina. Liu Yina smiled and said softly, "Yi Chen gave it to me when I just gave birth to the child. This house was also given to me by Yi Chen." Gu Yingying was shocked again. "Nana, you hit it too well. The villa you live in now is probably about 1,000 square meters, and it is within the first ring of Xiangcheng how many hundreds of millions. Oh my God. After you gave birth, Yi Chen directly gave you more than 1 billion. He is so rich." Liu Yina made a hush sound and asked her to speak more quietly. However, the conversation between the two was overheard by Liu Yivi, who was standing nearby. It turned out that Yi Chen's family was so rich that they gave more than 1 billion yuan to her after she gave birth to her child. Moreover, she also knew that they gave more than 5 million yuan as a betrothal gift, and also gave her second uncle and second aunt 10 million yuan in pocket money each. How could she not be jealous? However, now it seems that my situation is indeed very awkward. First, I have to find out Yi Chen's preferences and then conquer him step by step. Liu Yivi is now almost crazy. She even wants to snatch her cousin's husband. It really destroys one's worldview. Liu Yina and Gu Yingying were whispering to each other when Yi Chen came in with some dumplings in his hands. The custom in Xiangcheng is to eat glutinous rice balls on the wedding day, which symbolizes the reunion of the family. But here there is one bowl of raw food and one bowl of cooked food. The matchmaker brought a bowl and came to Liu Yina's bedside. She put a raw glutinous rice ball to Liu Yina's mouth and shouted, "Are you going to give birth?" Liu Yina naturally also knew the local customs from Mother Yi and said with a smile, "Give birth." Everyone followed suit and said, "Keep giving birth." Then everyone burst into laughter. Everyone present got to know each other because of the wedding, and they also got to know each other, so they all shouted in unison, "Let's have a second and third child, a whole football team." Yi Chen laughed and scolded them, "Don't make trouble." Mother Yi also smiled and stopped everyone, asking them to stop making trouble. After all, the bride Liu Yina was thin-skinned and couldn't stand their noise. After that, he picked up a bowl of cooked dumplings and sat next to Liu Yina. "Let's eat together." The two of them fed each other, taking one bite at a time and finishing the whole bowl of dumplings. Yi Chen said softly, "Thank you for your hard work, my wife. These gold ornaments are a bit heavy. If you don't want to wear them, put them away first." However, Liu Yina was thinking that since Mother Yi actually wore these gold ornaments on herself, this naturally represented the reputation of the Yi family. After all, if a family gets married now, the husband's family will give 3 or 5 golds as a gift, so it doesn't matter if she gets a little tired. If I don't wear any gold on my body, people will probably say that my in-laws are ignorant. Liu Yina didn't want to see these things. After all, marriage only happens once in a lifetime, so it doesn't matter if she is a little tired. Liu Yina is still a relatively traditional person, which is also related to her family education. Liu Yina replied to Yi Chen, "It's okay, I don't feel tired. I can still support it when I sit, it's okay." Liu Yina was thinking that she would put down the gold jewelry after she finished walking around the wedding scene, and it was time for the toast. She was now considering whether to bring the safe with her as well. After all, there would be many people in the restaurant, and it would be complicated. Yi Chen seemed to have noticed her concerns, so he said to Liu Yina, "Don't worry, when we are at Dad's restaurant later, I will ask the security company to send someone to look after these valuables, and I will also prepare a safe. You just need to put them away when the time comes, and I will never let anyone else touch them." Liu Yina smiled and said, "Hubby, how come you understand me so well? You even know what I'm thinking." Yi Chen also smiled and hugged Liu Yina into his arms. "Of course, you are my wife, how can I not understand?" The two of them hugged each other in front of everyone, and everyone dispersed without disturbing the two of them. Liu Yiwei looked at the two of them being so intimate and couldn't help cursing in her heart. "With me here, I don't see how good you can get." At this moment, Yi Chen noticed the change in Liu Yiwei's facial expression, and his eyes sank. What on earth does this woman want to do? Chapter 130, 5 How to Know If You Don't Try. Yi Chen has seen this woman show this unwilling expression many times, and he couldn't figure out what this woman wanted to do. It's just that Liu Yiwei is Liu Yina's cousin. Logically, she wouldn't do anything, but one should always be on guard against others. One still needs to be on guard against this woman. Thinking of this, Yi Chen became cautious. The wedding photographers invited the bride and groom to go outside to take photos together. They took Yi Chen's money and filmed the entire wedding process. There are 8 cameras covering all directions. Now what needs to be shot is the exterior scenes. Moreover, Yi Chen's villa is so big that a lot can be shot. As she was patting, Aunt Zhang came over and whispered in Liu Yina's ear, "The baby needs to be fed. Do you want to see if you want to?" Liu Yina nodded. "Okay, I'll go there later. I'll tell Yi Chen." She walked to Yi Chen's side and said softly, "Yi Chen, the baby is hungry. I want to feed him." Yi Chen nodded and said, "Yes, I haven't seen the babies for a long time. I must hug them when I see them later." If babies could run, they would definitely let the 3 little babies be their flower girls. Yi Chen smiled as he thought about it. The brothers and sisters all started to make a noise. "Yi Chen, when can we be as successful as you? We have a wife and children, and we have a house and a big villa without any hard work. We envy you so much." "Yes, even if I don't have a house or a car. Can you teach me how to pursue a beautiful girl like Sister Nana?" "Aren't you talking nonsense? Try it yourself without a house or a car and see which woman is willing to be with you." Yi Chen hasn't spoken yet. Gu Yingying disagreed. "What are you talking about? Our Nana is not a gold digger. Even if Yi Chen has no house or car, her family does. The most important thing is that Yi Chen is a good man. He gave her a house and a car. Look, this big villa is all in the name of our Nana. Can you do it?" But one sentence shows that Liu Yina's family is originally a wealthy family, so they don't care about these issues of money. What's important is to look at the people. Moreover, when Yi Chen buys a car or a house, he always uses Liu Yina's name, which is much better than those men who don't want to use the woman's name when buying a house. Now everyone stopped talking. Yi Hu then stood up and said, "Of course, this is our Yi family's tradition. Our Yi family is famous for its good men." Yi Hui seemed very proud of this, and this sentence made Gu Yingying look at him a few more times. Originally, she was somewhat disdainful of Yi Hui's finding an outsider to pretend to be his girlfriend, but after hearing this, she changed her mind about him. Maybe her family was pressuring her and she didn't want to compromise, so she just found someone to pretend. But Yi Hui hasn't even graduated from university yet, and his family is already urging him to find a girlfriend. But when she saw Yi Chen, she figured it out. Maybe it's because they saw Yi Chen's family had a grandson, so his parents also wanted to hold their grandson. At this time, Liao Mini, a good friend of Liu Yina, walked up to Yi Hui and said with a smile, "Really? I have always wanted to find a good man to have a relationship with." Yi Hui glanced at her and ran away quickly. "I have to pee urgently. I need to go to the toilet." He ran away, leaving Liao Mini alone, stamping her feet in anger. "Yi Hui, why are you running? Come back here." Everyone couldn't help but laugh like crazy. "Yi Chen, your cousin is really a hottie. Sister, you can consider me. I can do it too." Yi Chen's brother De Liu Ming said with a smile. Liao Mini just laughed and said, "We are not from the same channel. We are not suitable." Liu laughed and said, "If you don't try it, how do you know it's not suitable?" Liao Mini blushed and said, "Try your head." After saying that, he walked away angrily, cursing in his heart, "You hooligan." Liu, however, looked puzzled and asked the others, "I didn't say anything." "Yes. If we don't try it together, how do you know that we are not suitable?" The other brothers laughed and said, Maybe she is thinking the wrong thing. As he said this, he glanced into his crotch. But De Liu quickly blocked him. Go away, I'm not that perverted. Are all women nowadays so lewd? Li Lijia laughed. You are too naive. You look so wretched. It's like you have never touched a woman before. Liu felt wronged. I just haven't touched a woman. I swear, except for my mom and my sister's hands, I haven't touched any other female hands. The brothers on the side started to make a noise. Oh my God, you actually still have such a precious thing. Hey, do you want to go find one and try it? But Liu hesitated and said, No, I want to keep it for my girlfriend. In fact, he had thought about it, but the tradition in his bones did not allow him to be so presumptuous. Chen Zion's grandfather smiled and said, That's good. I'm afraid that once you get in touch with her, you'll probably think about her day and night. Everyone laughed. Yi Chen quickly stopped everyone. Okay, stop making fun of Liu De, you know your own worth. Why are you making fun of others? Among you two, there is someone who is the same as Liu De. Don't think I don't know. Masterin quickly waved his hands. This person is definitely not me. After that, he looked at Li Lijia with a shocked look. Li Lijia, you too, I really didn't see it. You usually tell dirty jokes so well I thought you had already done that. You're really good at hiding it. Before Li Lijia had time to speak, Yi Chen came out to smooth things over. Yi Chen, okay. I'm going to see my children now. Please keep your voice down and don't scare away my wife's sisters. After hearing Yi Chen's words, the men looked at Liu Yina's sisters together. After Yi Chen finished speaking, he followed Liu Yina to see the child. Liu Yivi did not say hello to anyone else and followed Yi Chen to see the child. To her, she did not take anyone else seriously at all. In her eyes, only Yi Chen was worthy of her attention. Gu Yingying also looked at Liu Yiwei, who left silently with a cold look in her eyes. This woman is not simple, and her goal is clear. She must find an opportunity to have a good chat with Nana. She will not allow anyone to destroy the marriage of her best sister and best friend. After she told others that she was going to see the child, she followed Liu Yivi. Just then her cell phone rang. It was from Yi Hui. Hey, my parents just asked me. They said they think you look like my girlfriend, but seeing that I didn't recognize you, they didn't dare to recognize you either. How about we just come clean, because that person named Liao Mini is too annoying. Gu Yingying took the phone and immediately replied. Didn't you say that all the men in your Yi family are good men? How could you just find a fake girlfriend online to deceive your parents? Isn't it good that you have a woman chasing you now? It took Yi Hui a long time before he reviewed Yingying's message. Chapter 136. All Yi family men are good men. Yi Hui was silent for a long time and did not read Yingying's message again. Gu Yingying ignored him. After sending the message, she followed Yi Chen upstairs. In the corner, Yi Hui's mother was heard pulling Yi Hui and talking to him. Yi Hui, the girl you sent to me, and your dad last time looked so much like the bride's sister to your dad and me. The camera used beauty filters, so I couldn't recognize her. Yi Hui's mother quickly took out her phone and opened the photo that Gu Yingying had sent to Yi Hui. She looked at it again and again. Look, the hair is the same color and length, but she is wearing glasses in this photo. Her face is a little sharper and her eyes are bigger. Yi Hui, if it is really her, don't hide it from me and your father. Yi Hui also didn't say anything. He was still looking at his phone and seemed to be typing. Yi Hui's mother quickly pushed him and said, What are you doing? Mom is talking to you. You are such a rude child. Yi Hui was also a little annoyed by his mother's pestering, but he had to reply to his mother. Oh, Mom, I'm chatting with my girlfriend. Let me reply first. Yi Hui's mother also became interested. Really? Let me see what she said. Why don't you send the photo of me and your dad to the girls? Maybe we can run into each other on the street. Yi Hui was somewhat speechless. Mom, are the streets you walk on the same as those that little girls walk on? Yi Hui's mother slapped Yi Hui on the back of his head. You little bastard! How dare you talk to your mother like that? I often go shopping in malls. Do you think I went to the vegetable market? Yi Hui touched his head and felt a little aggrieved. Mom, I've just started with her. Can you please stop being so impatient? What if you scare others away? Yi Hui's mother thought about it and nodded in agreement. Yeah, that's right. At the beginning, your feelings for each other weren't that deep yet. What if something really happened? Yi Hui also continued her words and said, Yes, you have to cultivate good feelings first. Don't tell her that you will bring her home as soon as you start dating. She hasn't even had a deep communication with your son yet, and you're bringing her home. You also know that girls nowadays, I don't know if they care about your son. Yi Hui's mother also sighed. Girls nowadays don't think that much. Logically speaking, our Yi Hui is so handsome. Why is it so difficult for him to find a girlfriend? She turned her head to look at Yi Hui and patted him on the back of his head again. Is it because you, a bad boy, don't understand romance and drive the girl away? Yi Hui also cried out in injustice. No way, I often give out red envelopes from time to time. How is it possible? Mother Yi slapped him on the head again. She is sincere to you. You give her money, so you should care about her and give her what she needs. If she is a gold digger, she will probably stick to you. When you look for a wife, you should naturally look for a woman like your mother who is frugal and has a positive outlook on life. Don't talk about frugality. The most important thing is character, don't you think? Yi Hui touched his head and was also afraid. Mom, if you beat your son again, he will become a fool. Forget about finding a wife. If no one is with your son, our family will be extinct. Mother Yi raised her hand to slap again, but after a moment's thought, she said, You're going to piss me off. Remember this later when you buy a gift for your girlfriend. I want to see the purchase record and the receipt for the gift she received. I'm going to force you. There's nothing we can do. The two old people are still waiting to have a grandchild. Looking at Gu Yingying's photo, she is also a good girl, and she looks pretty when she smiles. They are also very satisfied with the girlfriend Yi Hui found this time. Yi Hui also saw this point about Gu Yingying. He knew what kind of woman his parents liked as a daughter-in-law, so when he saw Gu Yingying for the first time, he had already decided to let Gu Yingying be his fake girlfriend in order to reassure his parents and get more pocket money. At this moment, Liao Minyi walked towards Yi Hui's mother. When Yi Hui's mother was scolding Yi Hui, Liao Minyi walked up to the two of them and said with a smile, Yi's mother, Yi Hui, hello. Yi Hui's mother looked at Liao Minyi with a puzzled look on her face, then looked at Yi Hui, then looked at her mobile phone, and suddenly her face was stunned. Yi Hui's mother asked, Who are you? Liao Minyi quickly stepped forward, took Yi Hui's hand and said, I am Yi Hui's female friend. Gu Yingying, who was hiding in the corner, was also stunned. She thought to herself, this Liao Minyi is really not giving up. She knows that Yi Hui has rejected her so obviously, but she still has the nerve to get close to him. She is so shameless. After hearing this, Yi Hui's mother showed some anger on her face and asked Yi Hui, Yi Hui, what's going on? Yi Hui had been frightened to death by Liao Minyi's behavior. You know, his mother hated third parties the most. Now that he had a girlfriend, if he still went out to have affairs with other women, his mother would definitely break his legs. He quickly shook off Liao Minyi's hand and ran to his mother's side to explain. Mom, I just met her today. She is my sister-in-law's sister. I don't even know her name. Liao Minyi's eyes darkened and she said, How could you do this? Didn't I tell you that my name is Liao Minyi? Yi Hui's mother then stood up and said, Didn't he tell you that he already has a girlfriend? When Liao Minyi heard this, her whole body froze and her tone was a little awkward. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you had a girlfriend? Really? After saying that, he stomped his feet, snorted, and walked away angrily. Seeing this, Yi Hui's mother immediately pulled Yi Hui's ears. You little bastard, you actually dared to mess around outside without telling Yingying, didn't you? Yi Hui felt the pain and begged for mercy. Mom, it hurts, be gentle. How would I know she was interested in me? She just said she wanted to play a game with me. Gu Yingying felt relieved when she saw Yi Hui being taught a lesson by his mother. But here, she also knew that Yi Hui's mother was at least a reasonable person, not the kind of person with distorted values. After all, some elderly people, seeing their sons being liked by women, think that their sons are charming and will be proud of it. Such people are destroying values. Hearing this, Yi Hui's mother also put down Yi Hui's ear. She knew it clearly in her heart that her silly son was like an idiot when it came to matters between men and women. They were already very happy that he suddenly had a girlfriend, so what Yi Hui said was not impossible. She also believed that her son was not the kind of person who messed around. She was just angry for a moment. Yi Hui's mother sighed and said, Anyway, don't say those stinky men are messing around outside. None of the men in our Yi family are like that. If you mess around, get out. We won't leave you a single cent of our family property. Yi Hui also felt very wronged. I know, Mom. Chapter 130, 7 Don't I Have Any Face. After Yi Hui's mother had finished teaching Yi Hui a lesson and saw that Yi Hui had a good attitude, she left contentedly. Yi Hui looked at his mother's back, touched his ears and head, and whispered, It's so unlucky to be beaten for no reason. When Gu Yingying saw this side of Yi Hui, in addition to thinking that the Yi family had a good family tradition, she also felt that Yi Hui was somewhat of a mama's boy. A man who is afraid of his mother is basically a mama's boy. But on second thought, if he was really a mama's boy, Yi Hui wouldn't have created a fake girlfriend to fool his parents. So obviously this is not true. Well, I don't know why Yi Hui did such a thing. Yi Hui, what other reasons do I have? I just want more pocket money to buy my favorite game console. Yi Hui was sitting on a stool nearby, typing something on his cell phone. After seeing Yi Hui's mother leave, Gu Yingying quickly took a detour to look for Liu Yina. Not long after, Gu Yingying received a message from Yi Hui. For now, I just don't want to spend time on a relationship. My dad said that if I can't find a girlfriend, he'll kick me out, and he won't give me any pocket money. But after I got a fake girlfriend like you, my dad gave me an apartment in the city center to live in and gave me tens of thousands more pocket money every month. He also said that I can live with my girlfriend when we're ready to live together. Gu Yingying immediately replied, "Oh my God, you won't ask me to pretend to live with you again, will you? I won't do such a thing. What if you do something to me?" Yi Hui was stunned when he heard Gu Yingying's words and immediately replied, "Oh, yes. Why didn't I think of this? Forget it. We'll talk about it later. We've just started now, and it will take at least half a year before we can talk about living together. Maybe by then we can just break up and don't have to live together anymore." Gu Yingying immediately responded, "What a scumbag." Yi Hui received Gu Yingying's message, scratched his head, and replied, "What the hell? I'm a good man, I just don't want to mess around. And with my looks, it's not easy to find a girlfriend. But I don't have any feelings for her, and I don't want to mess with her." When Gu Yingying saw this, her eyes changed. That's right, Yi Hui is not bad looking. Just now, Liao Mini was trying hard to flirt with him, but he didn't accept it. It seems that he is not a casual person. Forget it, I'll just pretend to be his girlfriend for now and help him. Gu Yingying immediately changed the subject. Several tens of thousands of pocket money a month. Yi Hui immediately sent another 520 red envelope to Gu Yingying. "Don't worry, you will be there for me for the whole month." Gu Yingying accepted the red envelope with a smile. "You are sensible. If you can help others and make money at the same time, then just go for it." However, she is not the kind of person who would just help a scumbag. Yi Hui also breathed a sigh of relief. After all, his parents had seen Gu Yingying's photo, and he couldn't just change it. Otherwise, he would be beaten to death by his mother. After Yi Hui finished speaking, he opened the game again. "It's not even night yet, and I've finished taking photos, so I have to play at least 2 games. At this time, Li Lij, I also found Yi Hui. So you are hiding here. Let's go and find Yi Chen together. There is nothing to do here." Yi Hui held up his phone and said, "I'm busy right now. I just started a game. Go enjoy the scenery here. The river view here is nice." That's right, Yi Chen's room has a river view. Even after moving here for so long, Yi Chen and his family haven't had time to appreciate the beautiful scenery here. They have been busy with the wedding. Li Lijai couldn't help but sit down with him. "Boy, how can you play games without calling me? I'm a professional jungler." Yi Hui pushed him with his elbow. "Get out of my way, I'm the Wild King." Li Lijai glanced at him and said, "No wonder you can't find a girlfriend. You hide away to play games. There are so many girls here, but you don't play with them." Yi Hui glanced in Liao Mini's direction and chuckled. "Playing games with a woman? Do you want to lose stars?" Li Lijai couldn't help but sigh and continued. "You never bring girls with you when you play games? Do you know that this can improve your relationship with girls? Maybe they will be attracted by your jungle skills and rush to be your girlfriend." Yi Hui couldn't help but glance at him. "Then why don't you have a girlfriend? Aren't you still single like me?" Li Lijai was instantly irritated and took a deep breath. Okay, now you can't even play games with us, right? Then I'm leaving." After saying that, Li Lijai just left. Yi Hui glanced in the direction he was going and laughed. While playing the game, he suddenly split the screen and sent a message to Gu Yingying. Playing games. Maybe he knew that Gu Yingying was very bored, so he thought of sending a message to Gu Yingying and inviting her to play games together. Gu Yingying was playing with the baby, so she ignored the message. Now that the baby has finished feeding, he seems very excited. After all, they hadn't seen so many people in the past few months, and they were all beautiful women. The babies never stopped talking to them and were babbling all the time. Gu Yingying smiled happily and said to Dabo in her arms, Dabo, is godmother beautiful?" Dabo was amused by Yingying and answered with pouting lips and babbling. Gu Yingying held the child to Liu Yina's side. "Look, Dabo said I'm beautiful." Liu Yina was also amused by her childish scene. "Look how beautiful you are." Gu Yingying also laughed. "Oh, your 3 babies are so cute, they make me want to give birth." Liu Yina also laughed at her. "You need someone to give birth with you." Gu Yingying, "Maybe one day I'll be like you and suddenly get married and have kids." Liu Yina also laughed. "I'm not saying anything bad about you. Although you seem careless at ordinary times, from what I know about you, you would never do such a crazy thing." Gu Yingying thought for a moment. "There are exceptions to everything. It depends on who the target is. Aren't you so crazy because you are attracted to Yi Chen?" Seeing Gu Yingying talking about her own affairs, Liu Yina blushed. Okay, stop talking, there are so many people here, don't I have any face? Gu Yingying also glanced at the people around her and continued to entertain the child. Chapter 138, I'm a little nervous. Liu Yina didn't care about her anymore. She took out her phone and sent a message to Yi Chen. Husband, what are you doing? When Yi Chen saw the message, he immediately replied, We just separated, why do you miss me so soon? I just met a relative, so we chatted for a while. Yi Chen did not go to breastfeed the child because today was a big wedding, so there were many relatives coming, and many people came to chat with Yi Chen, the groom, and congratulate him. At the same time, many people came into the bridal chamber to see the children. Everyone was very interested in Yi Chen and Liu Yina's triplets. Liu Yina looked at the message sent by Yi Chen and smiled. Yes, I haven't seen you for a quarter of an hour now. When Yi Chen received Liu Yina's message, he was delighted and immediately came to find Liu Yina. This is the first time that the two of them said they missed each other. Yi Chen trotted to the second floor and returned to his room. Several young ladies were playing with the baby, taking photos with the baby and posting them on social media. Everyone was having fun, except Liu Yina, who was holding her phone and laughing. Yi Chen suddenly appeared beside Liu Yina and gently embraced her in his arms. Given their current relationship, there was no need to hide anything anymore. They could just hug each other openly, and no one would say anything. When the sisters saw Yi Chen and Liu Yina hugging each other, they couldn't help but discuss in a low voice. How about we go out? There are so many people here, it doesn't seem good to be a hottie. I don't know if the two have anything to say. Then let's take the baby out to play. He just ate, so he can probably play for a while longer. Gu Yingying also nodded and said. So the young ladies took the three children out. Gu Yingying left Yi Chen and Liu Yina in the room, and considerately closed the door for them. However, this scene was seen by Liu Yue, who was standing outside the door. Her right hand was clenched into a fist, and the veins on her hand were bulging. When Gu Yingying turned around, she saw her tiny movements clearly. She couldn't help but wonder, what hatred does this green tea girl have with Nana? Why does she hate Nana so much? Why does she always look at Nana with eyes that wish Nana would die? Moreover, judging from her behavior before, it seems to be related to Yi Chen. This woman is really terrible. She couldn't figure it out either, because Liu Yina rarely told her about her family, and she didn't even know that Liu Yina had a cousin. But this is not Liu Yina's fault, because Liu Yina has rarely interacted with Liu Yivi. Although they both studied special subjects, one was art and the other was dance, one was active and the other was quiet, they had no common topics at all. At most, they had met a few times at family gatherings. Besides, Liu Yivi was more lively, while Liu Yina was relatively quiet, so the two of them could never play together. Yi Chen glanced in the direction of the door, felt it was unsafe, and walked over to lock the door. Only then did he walk to Liu Yina with peace of mind, hugged her and kissed her. He asked Liu Yina with concern, What's wrong? Are you getting anxious again? Yi Chen also knew that Liu Yina must have some problems, and that's why she came to him. Liu Yina nestled in Yi Chen's arms for a while, then slowly said, I am a little anxious, I don't know why, maybe I am nervous. Yes, I'm very nervous, so I want a hug. Of course, Liu Yina didn't say these words out loud. Yi Chen also smiled and hugged Liu Yina tightly again. Don't be nervous, your husband is here, let your husband handle anything. Liu Yina said slowly, because I am getting married with you, so I am nervous. Yi Chen smiled and shook his head. There was nothing he could do, his wife was just so shy. Even though they had been honest with each other, he couldn't cure his wife's introverted nature. It was just that he also liked Liu Yina's quiet and non-confrontational personality. After thinking about it, he hugged Liu Yina even tighter. And outside, looking at Liu Yivi's receding back, Gu Yingying held the child and walked aside to play with the child without thinking any more. During this time, I met Yi's mother and Liu's mother, both of whom asked, Why don't you go into the room? There are many people outside. Gu Yingying explained. Yi Chen and Liu Yina were inside, and we saw the children playing, so we brought them out to avoid disturbing them. After hearing this, Mother Yi and Mother Liu nodded and said, Okay, leave the children to us. It's time for them to go to bed. They got up with us early in the morning and haven't slept much. Now we have time, let's coax them to sleep for a while. You girls can play in the villa for a while. There are still a few hours before the banquet, so there's no rush. Gu Yingying and several other sisters handed their children to Mother Yi and the others, then went to the living room to chat and eat snacks. At this time, Gu Yingying picked up her mobile phone and saw that there were several messages from Yi Hui. Little guy, I see you're not online anymore. Are you playing games? Oh my God, there are more than 10,000 sessions and it's still in Xingyao. How bad are you? Come on, call me brother. Brother Yuang will take you flying. Oh, are you looking down on me? Don't worry today, Brother Yuang will help you become the king. You will be online in 5 minutes. Gu Yingying couldn't help but be angered by his words. You're still in star glory with more than 10,000 games. How bad are you? But she is really not a bad player. It's her teammates who are bad players. Moreover, she has always played solo and never likes to play in a duo with others or need others to carry her. And now, this Yi Hui actually dared to say that she was a wimp. It's okay to say that she has played a lot but hasn't reached the king level. But if you say that she is a bad player, she absolutely disagrees. How could she bear it? When Gu Yingying saw that the last message she received was 5 minutes ago, she immediately replied, "Just wait for me, I'll be online now." Yi Hui's message soon arrived. "Unfortunately, I just started a game." Less than 5 seconds later, Yi Hui sent another message. "But it can be reopened, you wait for me online. What you said is just like you took a shower and waited for me." Gu Yingying was somewhat displeased when she saw this, but the anger in her heart made her unable to care about so much. "Then I will let you see clearly the strength and skills of my master Wanba." Chapter 139, This is the correct way to retreat. When Gu Yingying came online, Yi Hui had not yet reopened. Looking at Yi Hui's profile picture, Gu Yingying got angry. "You actually said I'm a dish. I want to see how wild you are." Gu Yingying had already opened the game room and was waiting for Yi Hui. As soon as Yi Hui came out, she invited him directly. Gu Yingying turned on the microphone directly. "Where are you?" Yi Hui was confused. "I'm in the corridor downstairs, what's wrong?" Gu Yingying said angrily. "I'll go find you now. I'm too lazy to turn on the microphone to save some battery for my phone." In fact, she just wanted to feel good when scolding people. However, this time, Gu Yingying really underestimated Yi Hui. Yi Hui is really good at playing King of Glory. When they were in the dormitory, he often played with Yi Chen and others. He is the jungle king of this team, and they rely on him to lead the team. This time, the internet-addicted girl is probably going to call Daddy. Gu Yingying found Yi Hui sitting on the bench, and in a fit of anger, she pushed Yi Hui away. Yi Hui pursed his lips. "You are so domineering. If a woman is as domineering as you, she will never get married." Gu Yingying also snorted coldly. "HMPH, what do you care? What does it have to do with you whether she gets married or not?" Yi Hui saw that Gu Yingying seemed angry, but he didn't know why she was angry, so he simply stopped talking to avoid saying something wrong and making her angry. You can't mess with an angry woman. She's just like his mother. She hits people when she's angry. She's very scary. Yi Hui only has about 5 stars in the King of Glory. In fact, he is not a fan of the King of Glory game. He only plays a game or two when he has more free time. After all, it is quite convenient to play games on mobile phones. However, his favorite is still the PC games. I won't talk about anything else. Gu Yingying had already started the game, and they were matched with strangers in less than a second. Gu Yingying was on the 4th floor, counterattacking position, while Yi Hui was on the 1st floor. Then he said to Yi Hui, "Grab a mage position for me later, did you hear me? The only skill I can play is mage." Yi Hui glanced at him and said, "No problem." However, after banning all the heroes, the 2nd floor pre-selected the hero Dio Chan. Yi Hui glanced at Gu Yingying, who was cursing. "Oh, what bad luck, this is the first round for me, so I can only be the shooter." In fact, she was already furious in her heart. Damn it. If I hadn't played with Yi Hui, I would have wanted 2 mages. Gu Yingying's mage needs to be played a little better, but the shooter is barely playable. If the cooperation is good, it is still playable. So Gu Yingying immediately pre-selected Marco. Yi Hui uses Lanling King as a jungler. In the early stage, he killed the opponent's Xiao Lubin in one go, and Gu Yingying also changed her opinion of him. At least a jungler can still catch people and set the pace, which is considered good. She has also encountered some junglers who really don't catch people in the jungle, allowing the opponent's shooter to develop, and then they can't play the whole game. After playing for nearly 10 minutes, Yi Hui said to Gu Yingying, "What's going on in your bottom lane? I helped you catch the little boiled egg a few times, why haven't you pushed yet?" Gu Yingying replied, "Don't you know that the opposing mage is also here to capture me? Why don't you capture the opposing mage first?" Yi Hui also shook his head. "Sister, I can only catch one at a time. Every time I catch all the ones, she comes and I am already low on health. I can't do anything." Yi Hui sent a voice message. "Mid lane, can you please suppress the opposing mage? Let the bottom lane push first." Dio Chan typed OK and sent it. However, Dio Chan had already used purification in a team fight in the top lane, so she didn't dare to go up rashly this time. Dio Chan sent a signal to retreat and marked a location on the bottom lane. However, Gu Yingying and Yi Hui had just tried to catch the little boiled egg, but unfortunately they failed to catch him. Instead, Gu Yingying's Marco lost half of his health. Yi Hui also realized the seriousness of the problem at this time, and said to Gu Yingying, "The middle lane is reminding you to retreat, so retreat quickly and go back to the city at the second tower, okay?" Gu Yingying, "I don't want to, can't we just go back to the city under the tower? Why make it so troublesome?" Yi Hui was fighting for the red buff at this time, so he sent a message in the game. "Shooter, come and get the red buff." Gu Yingying was delighted, but she said in a very calm tone, "Okay." Gu Yingying immediately came to the red zone to find Yi Hui. As soon as Gu Yingying's Marco's second skill moved away, the opposing mage Daji flashed and used her skill directly. Gu Yingying couldn't help but be shocked. OMG. Luckily I walked fast, otherwise I would have been caught again. At the beginning of this game, her Marco had died twice and had only 3 assists. It's really embarrassing. Yi Hui laughed at the